Definitely adding that to my Summer Jam playlist.
Summer Jam's a good way to put that song. It takes us into the end of the show. That's all we have time for.
Thanks for having me, guys. It's been good to be back. Hopefully I can get a few shows while Sarah's doing Sarah Tings. But if you missed the show or want to listen to The Magic again, it'll be replayed on Friday, 2 p.m. PNG time. Or you can find all our episodes on the Radio Australia website or wherever you listen to your podcasts.
If you want more sport, you can check out That Pacific Sports Show on Wednesday night or catch up on ABC Australia iView. It's all kia.
Ka kite anō. Bye!
Can You Be More Pacific? An ABC Sport production for ABC Radio Australia.
This program has been funded by the Department of Foreign Affairs.
ABC News, good evening. I'm Christian Silva. Work-from-home recommendations have been dropped by the Victorian Government as the state's COVID cases creep down. The recommendation, which was not enforceable like previous stay-at-home orders, was brought in when cases started to surge in July. The government says it hopes to boost business in places like the Melbourne CBD as more people return. Today, there were 2,645 new cases of COVID and a further 18 people with the virus died in Victoria. The first day of the Jobs and Skills Summit has wrapped up, with the government announcing it'll begin work on industrial relations legislation that could allow for sector-wide pay deals. Political reporter Stephanie Dalzell has more.
Consultation on legislation to allow workers and their union representatives to strike pay deals with multiple employers at the same time will begin next week. Business groups told the summit they're open to talks with unions on the issue, as Treasurer Jim Chalmers declared the day had been a success.
The progress that we've made today gives me great heart and great encouragement.
But Shadow Treasurer Angus Taylor says no tangible action has yet been taken.
What we saw today was an agreement on principles.
The summit will continue tomorrow.
The boss of packaging giant Visy, Anthony Pratt, is at the summit. He says manufacturers need to look at ways to add value to their products.
Wheat sells for $100 a tonne. If you turn it into flour, it sells for $500 a tonne. If you manufacture it into bread, it sells for $5,000 a tonne. And then exporting that into the huge middle-class boom in Asia, I think that's a fantastic added value manufacturing sector that leads to well-paying green-collar manufacturing jobs.
The wife of Malaysia's former Prime Minister Najib Razak has been convicted of corruption and faces a likely jail term. Southeast Asia correspondent Anne Barker reports.
A week after Najib Razak was jailed for 12 years after losing his final appeal on corruption charges, his 70-year-old wife, Rosma Mansour, has also been found guilty, in her case soliciting and receiving 3 bribes worth about $1.5 million over a lucrative government contract to supply solar power in schools on the island of Borneo. A High Court judge said she'd received the money as a reward for herself and that her defence was a bare denial. She's expected to remain on bail while she appeals to the higher courts.
Uyghur human rights advocates have hailed a new UN report outlining allegations of torture and abuse in China. After attempting to block the release of the report, China has dismissed the findings as a farce planned by the UN and Western countries. Peter Irwin from the Uyghur Human Rights Project says it's an important step in holding Beijing accountable.
I think what it does in particular is that it really pierces this Chinese government facade that there is nothing to see in the Uyghur region. Well, there is something to see, and it has been confirmed by the UN. And what they say is that it may be crimes against humanity. So these are no longer allegations. This is a confirmation of horrendous human rights abuses in the region at the moment.
The state government has announced ongoing funding for Victoria's neighbourhood houses, ending uncertainty about their future. The network of 400-odd neighbourhood houses will receive $39 million over the next 3 years. It comes after Victoria's neighbourhood houses ran a public campaign because about half of them in the state feared they'd have to shut. Disability, Ageing and Carers Minister Colin Brooks says the new funding will provide certainty.
We're really proud to have provided extra funding to the neighbourhood houses and their sector in 2018, and we've listened really carefully to the neighbourhood house sector who said they wanted to ensure that was ongoing funding, and that's what we've delivered.
In about 15 minutes, Richmond will go up against the Brisbane Lions in the first match of the AFL Final Series. Reporter Michael Rennie is at the Gabba.
Tonight's game is a sellout, and we're starting to see the fans rolling in now. It looks like Dustin Martin will definitely be playing for the Richmond Tigers tonight. They're in fantastic form at the moment, the Tigers. They're aiming for a fourth flag in 6 years, which shows how dominant this side has been in recent times. Tom Lynch, the big forward, is in career best form. So it is definitely a tough task for the Lions here at the Gabba.
To the weather tomorrow, morning frost in the state's northeast with cool conditions and isolated showers around southern and mountain districts. For Melbourne, a few showers tomorrow, most likely in the early morning, a top of 13 degrees. Saturday, a few showers and 14. Sunday, a possible shower and 13. Monday, partly cloudy, 15. And Tuesday, mostly sunny and 17. It's 12 degrees now. ABC News.
Lend us your ears and experience a world of audio content with ABC Listen.
A world of sound.
Like Expanse, Pink Diamond Heist.
How millions of dollars of diamonds were stolen in the middle of the bush and somehow smuggled to Europe.
And dive deep beneath the surface of three crooked cops, known as the Rat Pack, in Dig, Sirens Are Coming.
Dorothy handed Hallahan the money, and when he walked off, the undercovers swooped.
The ABC Listen app.
Lend me your ears.
Download it now from your app store.
ABC Sport.
We begin this broadcast by acknowledging the traditional custodians of the land on which this match will be played today and pay our respects to their elders past, present and emerging. We extend that respect to Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples listening.
Qualify for finals, it's such a tough environment to be in.
Playing the best at this time of the year, you have to be at your best. And that's exciting.
Feel the pressure rising.
We're just really excited to be in this position where we can have a crack at it and have a crack.
Here it comes again.
A new season begins, and a challenging season will be challenging.
Feels like now or never.
To be able to play finals footy is such a privilege.
Blood running in your veins.
Tell our players to live in the moment.
This is our time. This is our destiny. This is when all the stars align and we make history.
For Melbourne tonight, there is a brand new flag. For the first time since 1964, the Demons are premiers.
This is our time. This is our destiny. This is when all the stars align and we make history.
Sometimes it all seems lost, but we've hung in there and here we are.
Reality now, we're in the top four. You win one game, you're in a prelim. You win two, you're in a grand final. You win three, you're the premiers. That's how close we are now.
Welcome to the 2022 AFL Finals Series.
It's gonna be kids.
It's Bruno Elliott. Of course it's Elliott on the run. It's happening again. Gandalf snaps around the body. What a goal that is for Freeman.
Heaney gets there first. This would be absolutely extraordinary.
These are the moments you play footy for. I guess playing the finals and big moments.
Long towards Hawkins. Gathers and goal.
How much do you want it? How much do you need it? How much do you want this? We're gonna be kids.
Hard against the boundary. No. He kicks the goal. To Mundy, 40 out. He's a crosser. Oliver steadies. Oliver goals.
High expectation, but high pressure. This is an execution.
A beautiful play and mark to Danaher.
Launches high. Bontempelli.
This is just getting good at the G.
The master to the apprentice. Nick Dacos goes back.
We'll see you in September.
Certainly is exciting.
From the pocket, he's hit it pretty well. Jack Rebo, superstar.
How much do you need it? How much do you want this? We're gonna be kids.
Grandstand AFL.
The elimination final, live from the Gabba.
He loves this day. He loves this day.
On ABC Radio and on ABC Sport Digital.
Who knows what can happen? Dream big.
Welcome to the first day of spring, the first day of September, the first day of finals for 2022. And a glorious scene it is at the Brisbane Cricket Ground. The Gabatoir becomes football Thunderdome, where two teams enter and one team leaves. Will it be the hosts, Brisbane, playing their fourth consecutive finals series, or the best team of recent times who didn't make the finals last year, Richmond? They're back in September footy It's a familiar scene over the last couple of years. 3 of the last 4 final series, these two teams have faced off at the Gabba. What a perfect way to start September in 2022. Quentin Hull and the team in place for the first game of the month that decides it all. After the 6 months of football that we've had, we have 8 teams left, and the first of the elimination finals will be played in pristine conditions tonight. Great to have you on board, Quentin Hull, to be joined by Matt Clinch, Jason Ackermanis, Matt Primus and Zane Bojack for Brisbane versus Richmond. There are no late changes. Brisbane's injury sub is Calamarchi. Richmond's injury sub is the man who may not be a Richmond AFL footballer after tonight if the Tigers can't win, Shane Edwards. Does he get another go tonight? If the Tigers don't win, he's done with his career. There are so many storylines around this game, but of course it's about 2 sets of supporters. It's about 2 footy clubs hoping that they can move on to week 2 and the rest of the competition just getting their first taste of finals. It's been a gorgeous spring day in the Queensland capital. The teams are out warming up on a Gabba surface which looks absolutely fantastic. And we've got a pretty short run in with the bounce, only about 10 minutes away. So let's introduce you to the panel. Great that Matt Clinch has got on the bird from Melbourne to come up and join me for the broadcast. Clinch, it's been a while since we've shared the microphone together, and what a great way to welcome you back to Brisbane.
Thank you, Q. Good evening to you. Good evening to everyone. It's great to be back in Brisbane. My flight was chock-a-block full of Richmond fans who are making the trip north. So we're expecting a sellout. We're expecting a great final. It's not that long ago, round 20, where the Tigers were able to see off the Brisbane Lions. Brisbane showcased their best in the first half. The Tigers reeled them back in the second and ended up winning and were victorious there. But for 18 rounds, the Lions are in the top 4. They fell out. They find themselves in the bottom half of the 8, and they're probably facing the team who you wouldn't want to face, Richmond, who are chasing a 4th premiership in 6 years. So who knows what will happen tonight. We've got a debutant. We've got a superstar returning in Dustin Martin. There's been all sorts of focus on him today. But what we're going to have is a great contest, and it's hard to predict what's going to happen, which makes it always intriguing.
And Richmond hasn't played a final since they lifted their 3rd cup of recent times. The last time they played a final was the 2020 grand final at this venue against Geelong. Matthew Primus, 2-time All-Australian, former Port Adelaide captain and coach. Matty, it's always great to have your thoughts. Welcome to September.
Well, yeah, 1st of September, wasn't it a beautiful day? It certainly felt like spring was in the air. Coming up here, beautiful sunny day, massive crowd walking around. A lot of Richmond fans have made the trek up here, or they live here in Brisbane or the Goldie or wherever it is, to come to the ground. And look, hopefully it's a game like they played a few weeks ago where, Brizzy dominated them in the first half, but as Brizzy have done over the last month, they've been pretty poor in the second halves, and Richmond came storming home and clinched a really good win. So, look, just a terrific game. Obviously nothing on the end of it if you lose, and I just love Richmond's the way they've gone about their footy the last 4 weeks. They've built into this beautifully after having a couple of crazy weeks where they were playing on from goal squares and losing games against North and Freo. They're building really well into this, and Brizzy have earned the opportunity, and they need to improve a little bit what they've done the last month.
Looking forward to Matt Primus and his thoughts. Jason Ackermanis, a man who's played many finals, 3-time premiership player for the Brisbane Lions, 2001 Brownlow medalist, always has a thought or two. Acker, welcome to September. How are you?
Oh, I'm good. Yeah, I think I hold the finals record at this ground for the Lions.
How many?
I think it was about 20.
Well, you played in an era where they didn't lose finals here.
I'll have to check that up.
They were 12-0 until Chris Fagan came, and now at this venue, they're 1 from 5.
Yeah, it's been strange. I mean, there was a 1-point loss to the Bulldogs last year, of course, so it's a bit unlucky. But I tell you what, I actually wouldn't mind playing Richmond if I was Brisbane. They were terrible 2 weeks ago. But Richmond always give you a chance. Their game plan, they are all duck and no dinner sometimes. They don't have always the defensive setup as good as, say, a Melbourne at the moment. You've always got a chance. You're never out of the game if you can play pretty aggressive footy through the centre, and that's what I like to see. At Brisbane, oh my goodness, they have to turn it around big time from 2 weeks ago.
So Dustin Martin is playing his first game for a while. He played round 1, then missed a block between rounds 2 and 7, and then basically hasn't played since round 16. So
11
huge.
11 best on grounds in finals.
He is an unbelievable player who's been in the headlines for the wrong reasons today, although we're not going to go down that road right now. And we've got a debutant, as Clinchy was talking about. Darcy Wilmot becomes the 34th player to debut in a VFL/AFL final. The most recent is playing in the opposition tonight.
On the bench, you need
Marlon Pickett for the Richmond Tigers, but you look across the history of some names, some decent ones. Dermot Brereton, great Len Thompson, even Charlie Spargo's dad, Paul Spargo, made his debut in a final. So it's an elite list that Darcy Wilmot, picked 16 from the national draft last year from the Northern Knights, is in tonight. We'll get to Zane Bojack down on the boundary in a moment, but the players have assembled for the official pre-game ceremony. It's that time of year where we get to the anthems, and let's join our MC, Ben Davis.
The Yagara and Turrbal people, the traditional owners of the land in which we meet tonight, and we pay respects to their elders past, present and emerging. Now, the AFL acknowledges playing this great game on this land. They respect the cultures of all First Peoples, their contribution to our nation and their contribution to Aussie rules football. Can I get you all to please turn your attentions to the big screen for the Welcome to Country.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Shannon Ruska. I am the Managing Director of Tribal Experiences, and we are the Yagara Turrbal Aboriginal Dancers of Brisbane City. We'd like to welcome you here to our country, to the place which we call Wollongabba, which means the whirling water holes, or also fighting talk. It's where the teams will come to battle the final series. As they take the finals, we welcome you to our land. We welcome you to the Gabba.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you can I ask you to please rise, join with the coaches, the players and the umpires for the Australian National Anthem to be sung by Trent Bell.
A former X Factor and The Voice competitor from Townsville, Trent Bell, to sing the Australian National Anthem at the Gabba to set us on our way on Grandstand AFL and ABC Sport for the finals in 2022, with Brisbane to host Richmond in an eliminator.
Australians, oh, let us rejoice, for we are one and free. We've golden souls and wealth for all. Our home is goodbye seas. Our land abounds in nature's gifts. Our beauty rich and rare. In history's page, let every stage advance Australia fair. In joyful strains, and let us sing advance Australia
Well, that set a high note for the rest of the anthem singers to live up to for the rest of the finals series. Man out of North Queensland, Trent Bell on the microphone. Our man out of North Queensland is down on the boundary. Zane Bojack, welcome to you.
Yeah, didn't he do a great job there, Q? Well done, Trent. Look, that's what the finals are about. You get the anthems, you can see both sides. They are pumped up. Richmond coming into a huddle just in front of their forward 50, and looking forward to this one, Q. Look, I know Richmond are the favourites, and they deserve to be. They won their last four, and they beat the Lions at the MCG in that massive comeback a few weeks ago. But remember, the Lions have won 18 of their last 21 here. They play good on their home turf. And this turf looks sensational. There's not much dew. It's 18 degrees. There's a lot of yellow and black in the crowd. This is going to be a ripper queue.
Matt Primus and Jason Ackermanis will get your thoughts throughout, but what's at the top of your mind before we see the opening bounce?
Where Dusty's going to play. After being so long out, more forward, bit of on ball, slide forward, see how he goes. And also the 1v1s. Brisbane second worst, back 50, 1v1. Richmond second best, 1v1s in their forward 50. Great contest.
Who are you tipping?
Richmond by 3 goals.
Yeah,
no, very good. Dusty will play forward, but then they have a rule for Dusty, which is go up and do what you want, which he will when he wants to. I think Richmond will win. I never really back against Brisbane, but Richmond are just in the right, although you can't tell 2 weeks is a long time in footy. But the Lions bring some heat, and they're fast starters. We heard it last week how Melbourne wanted to chop that down. If the Tigers get a fast start, it could be a long night for Brisbane.
And the place is absolutely packed. There'll be around 35,000 fans here. It'll be the biggest attendance at the Gabba for the season as the countdown has been completed and the teams break. And we're about to see the opening bounce. It's the 8th finals campaign in 13 years for Richmond under Damien Hardwick, their best era of recent times. Of course, 3 flags in that. And the much talked about Lions' inability to perform in September despite their consistency during home and away football over the last 4 years. Just 1 win from their 5 Gabba finals in the last 3 seasons. But that 1 win was against Richmond back in 2020. If you want to get in touch throughout the broadcast, the SMS is going 0437 774 774. Let's do September. Matt Clinch.
It's the 2022 final series. It all comes down to this. For Brisbane and Richmond, we're underway. McInerney wins the opening tap. Dev Robinson's tackled. Got a little hand pass away. McInerney with a toe poke to Mitch Robinson. He gives a hand pass out to Coleman. Ran into Morris Rioli Jr. Big tackle laid as Mitch Robinson came charging in. Dustin started at full forward. The Tigers heading to the western end in the opening term.
Gardner's got him, and it's Lynch on Andrews, as expected, down there as well. From the ball up, Cochin got half a kick to it, stolen by the opposite 9, Neil of Brisbane. Hand pass to McCluggage at half-back, kicks to the wing, marked by Charlie Cameron. Presenting and marking on his chest, defensive side of the wing near the interchange gates, out on the southern side of the ground. Cameron kicks along the boundary to half-back. McInerney the target, but Ross got in the way. In his first final after being such a fixture for Richmond over the years, finally getting a game in the finals, Ross, as he kicks towards half-forward for Richmond. Kicked out of the air by Revolt in towards attacking 50. In fact, out of bounds on the full. The volley from the veteran Tiger, and a free kick for Brisbane in the right back pocket to be taken by Daniel Rich.
Good luck finding space. It's going to be tight all game, I reckon.
Dan Rich veers out to the left, sends it long down the wing. No mark claim for the Brisbane Lions. Nick Floston for Richmond. Hand pass to Broad, kicks to half forward. Nobody's there. Charlie Cameron dropped the chest mark. He gathered and his kick was smothered by Prestia. It goes out of play for a boundary throw in. Left half forward for the Tigers. No score after 90 seconds.
Oh, that's better from Cameron. He's up the ground, or he got a couple of touches. Not the best one there, but this is good signs for the forward line for Brisbane.
Gibcus on Hipwood, who's the deepest. Bolter's got Danaher at high half forward. Throw in 100-gamer McInerney taps back towards the boundary. Dan Rioli roves. Hand passes to Nankervis. Rush kick inside 50 for Richmond. Gathered on the bounce by Brisbane's Payne, who kicks the Lions from defensive 50 towards the wing, but straight to Broad, who takes the mark for the Tigers. Hard on the boundary, right on halfway out in the southern side of the field. And there's a concern for Shea Bolton, who's down with the trainer early on.
So Broad kicks long around the wing. Mark not claimed. A chance for Ross at left half for the Tigers. Inside 50, Cochin takes the mark. He wants to square it up. McIntosh almost slipped over, but slipping in front of him, Dan Rioli takes the mark.
Now Bolton's up and moving.
Big O's in trouble down there, a big contest.
As Dan Rioli's lining up, let's go down to Zane Bojack.
Yeah, Shea Bolton looked like he had a problem with his eye. Looked like he might have got a finger in it from Brandon Starchevich. And Big O, he's gone into a contest and he's come out looking like he's been winded. He's still lying on the ground trying to get oxygen into those lungs right in front of the boundary gates.
Thanks, Zane. 9 goals for Dan Rioli.
That's a head clash.
I think he's out of the game.
Yeah. Having career best season across halfback. Rioli comes in, sets fly from 50. and kicks the opening goal of the match.
Oh, the irony of Oscar McInerney. Will keep across it, but the Lions were criticised for having Darcy Ford as their sub late in the season. Well. Matt Primus, Jason Ackermanis.
Well, when I saw him go up there, he laid down for about 3 seconds, didn't move, which shows you he was pretty hurt there. So, yeah, we'll see when he gets off. But normally, if you're on the ground for a bit of time and the docs have a look at it, he might be in some trouble. But we'll see how that one plays out. Dev Robinson's got a massive job tagging Dion Prestia, who's probably, no offence to Dustin Martin, but probably Richmond's most important player. So a really big matchup, that one.
Zane on the boundary.
Blood pouring out of Oscar McInerney's nose. I can't see how he comes back, guys.
Yeah, I think his
Joey in the ruck.
His nose went into the back of the head of a Richmond opponent.
I heard.
Ball.
And has dazed himself, so Danaher straight into the ruck.
Oh, they're throwing the magnets around already, finally. But they have to. They've got no choice.
The 100-gamer Oscar McInerney in trouble on the bench. Richmond with the first goal. Centre bounce favoured Nankervis. Won the ruck contest. Hand pass to Prestia. Lost it, got it back. Hand pass to McIntosh. Tigers with the clearance. Kicks towards half forward. Revolt one-on-one with Payne. Payne makes the spoil for Brisbane. Tries to bat it to the boundary and gets it there for a throw-in. 45 metres around from the Tigers' goal.
I saw early in the game too, you got Cochin, who was actually on Lockie Neal, and they look like a couple of old, very experienced players on each other. That'd be an interesting one.
Ball to be tossed in. Right half forward for Richmond, who are attacking the western end. Nankervis got over the top of McStay, who's rucking at the moment. Bolton's in that contest, so he's okay. Free kick going to Brisbane there. It's Starcevic to receive at left half back. Tigers won straight. Brisbane yet to go inside 50.
He's got the company of Shea Bolton as he kicks long around the wing in the pack. Hipwood couldn't take the mark. It spills down to Berry. Hand pass to McCluggage. Cuts through traffic. Looks inside 50. Kicking for Charlie. And Cameron slipped over and allowed Broad to take a comfortable mark. 40 metres out from his offensive goal. Back to the left back pocket for Ross. He advances it up to short. He plays on and cuts past a couple of Lions. Long kick up to the wing. They're on the run, the Tigers, as Sonsi takes the mark. He can feed a hand pass forward. Dan Rioli kept running. The opening goal of the match. Kicks inside 50. Morris Rioli Jr. all on his own in the left forward pocket. Takes the mark 40 metres out from goal.
Very, very early in the game, but there's Brisbane's Achilles heel, the run and spread. We've seen that the last 4 or 5 weeks. Teams just get outside Brisbane and they can't slow them down at all. It's far too easy.
You'd say it was a bad kick from McCluggage, but the running pattern of Charlie, that's not where you run. You come back the other way. You're going to the open field. He went to the skinny side. He's just got to be smarter than that, Charlie.
So the opening goal of the match came through Dan Rioli. Here's Morris Rioli Jr., famous name at Richmond, to give them the perfect start. Out to the left. Morris Rioli Jr.'s kick, it's coming back, it hits the right goalpost. And the first minor score of the match. The Tigers are doing all the attacking. They're 1-1-7. The Brisbane Lions yet to score through 6 minutes.
And I think McInerney stayed on the bench. We'll get to Zane in a moment as to whether he has to undergo head injury assessment. Kick-out's good. Went through Coleman, who won it at half-back. Kicks to Starcevic. Marks on the wing. Quick transfer to half-forward and open space. It rolls out of play on attacking 50 for Brisbane. Just down to Zane on the boundary is, what's the latest with the big O?
Yeah, they're still trying to stop the blood from his nose, Q. He's got the like a patch on his nose at the moment, trying to slow it down, but you'll have to go undergo a head assessment. You would understand. I just can't see how he comes straight back on.
Boundary thrown at left half forward for Brisbane. Richmond 1-1. Lions yet to score. Nankervis tap down, went straight to Neal of the Lions. Hand pass to Berry from 70. Kicks Brisbane to full forward in a pack. Floston with a massive right knuckle to thump it away in a pack of 5 and see it over the boundary line for a throw in the right forward pocket for Brisbane.
We also saw Zorko do the kick-ins, which actually freed up the great Kitty Coleman out there. So this is interesting. They are doing some things different tonight, Q.
Brisbane deep in attack at the school end. McStay to do the ruck against Nankervis. Nankervis wins down the tap to Prestia, shrugs the tackle. Hand pass to Ross and now to Baker. Hand pass to Gibcus under pressure. Feeds the hand pass into the corridor. Sonsi gathers over his shoulder. Missed Floston. Archie couldn't take it. And here's a chance for the Brisbane Lions as Berry squeezes a kick. McCluggage. Is that 15? It is. He marks directly in front.
That's 20. By real estate of these umpires, but that was a good... What about Archie, though, and Zach Bailey, just very clean below his knees, quick handball, set up that ability to have a shot.
Brisbane's style of footy, isn't it? Like pressure in their forward 50 creates a lot of their turnovers. Terrific work rate.
At entry.
So you feel like with no Jared Lyons, A big opportunity for Hugh McCluggage to lead in the midfield alongside Lockie Neal. Looking to strike here. McCluggage comes in, kicks it straight through the middle. And the Lions are on the board after 8 minutes. They're 1 straight 6 to the Tigers 1-1-7. Zane Bojack on the boundary for ABC Sport.
Yeah, you just mentioned Archie. He's the Medi sub, so he's been activated. He's out there, boys.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah, well, that's it. He's in red, there we go. So that's a big loss for Brisbane. Here we are laughing at Darcy Fort as a sub be handy tonight.
Jason, your Brisbane history of a game that you played in where a ruckman went down.
Yeah, Big
2002 grand final.
Big Bo McDonald.
Bo McDonald went down early and Clark Keating became the sole ruckman hero of that day. There's no second ruckman, though.
No, they're sort of bits players. I mean, there you got McStay is going to have to do it most of the night because you can't see Joey doing it. He might fall over and hurt himself.
And a crucial loss. They've been the best centre bounce team the last 4 weeks, where the Tigers have conceded the second most goals from centre bounce.
Oh,
so
no,
it's a big outlet there.
Dramatic start at the Gabba. Centre bounce. Well, good work from McStay in ruck. Kicked off the ground, though, by the Tigers. Inside 50, but Gardner's there for Brisbane to win the bouncing ball. Hand pass to Payne, who beat a tackler and then kicks the ball out on the full. Evaded Cochin, but then his kick was errant, which allows McIntosh to take the free kick for Richmond forward of the wing.
Big blokes.
Camden McIntosh with his right boot kicks the Tigers back into attack. 2-on-2 contest. Payne with the knuckle for Brisbane. It's roved by Bailey near the boundary and kept in for the Lions. At half back, he kicks high to the wing. Broad is falling away from Matheson. Ball to ground level. Tarrant and Danaher after it. Danaher kicks it off the deck. Sockers at 30 metres upfield to half forward. Dan Rioli pushed off it by Hipwood, who tries to go again. Rioli keeps his feet and eventually Foston runs it out. And the umpire says throw it in at left half forward. Repeating that news that Oscar McInerney is out and Callum Archie has already been subbed into the game for Brisbane. What a terrible turn of events for the big fella in his 100th game tonight.
Tigers by a point, thrown back in. Now Curvis takes front position at half back against McStay, knocks it down, gets it to Precious advantage, curled around Neal and kicks long up to the wing. Lynch in a 2-on-1. Andrews couldn't take the mark, lost his footing. Lynch back onto it, slaps it to the advantage of Shea Bolton. He runs to 50, takes a bounce, has Morris Rioli Jr. He spots him, hand pass to Dusty, top of the goal square, he sockers it through. Dusty's on the board. And Richmond extend their lead back to a 7-point margin. 2-1-13 to the Brisbane Lions, 1 straight 6. He may have been a little rusty, Dusty, but he got through the major opening.
Oh, and I think the contest down here, they came out, you've got the ruckman who's inexperienced compared to the big man Curvis. But then that contest with Starcevic and of course, Harris Andrews, and they couldn't work it out. 2-on-1 against Lynch, gets over the back. Lynch, nice tap on. Shea Bolton running through. And a whole foil, and he had 4 choices.
That's Richmond's style of footy. They don't overpossess the ball. It's knock-ons. It's just surge the ball forward. So far, 22-10 uncontested possession. So they're getting outside Brizzy and making them pay on the scoreboard early.
8 inside 50s to 3 early on for Richmond. 2-1 to 1 straight. The Tigers in front in perfect conditions at the Gabba for the start of the finals on Grandstand AFL through ABC Sport. The bounce is wobbly, a favoured Mither. Ump said play on. Miller tapped it down to McStay. Roved his hand pass straight to Cochin though. Tackled, got a kick to it. Still in the middle. First touch for Wilmot, the first gamer. A 1-2 hand pass exchange. Got it to McStay. Hand pass to Pryor. Tackled by Morris Jr. And the umpire says no Pryor. Reading in the 9 press this morning, our Morris Rioli Jr. His favourite part of the game, Clinchy, is the run-down tackles. There's another one for him.
And he brings the crowd to life by doing so. Cochin couldn't get a clearance. A chance for Neal of the Lions. Hand pass to Archie. Standing start. He misses to the left-hand side. Their first miss of the night. They're 1-1-7 to the Tigers. 2-1-13. 12 minutes gone. Opening term.
Well, that was slick there from Lockie Neal. Archie, he was coming at 100 miles an hour. Got a chance to turn and have a kick. Just pulled it left. Hard to do that when you're running the other way, to turn around and kick it from 40.
Now, Nick Loston, one of the 9/10 three-time premiership players playing. 10 if you count Edwards, who's the sub. As Floston kicks long towards Revolt on the wing, fisted away by Payne. Revolt follows up though, taps to Pickett. Hand pass through Ross. Got it to Shorten from half back. Kicks Richmond back to the centre of the ground. 2-on-1 against Cochin, able to spoil away from Rich. Roved though by Gibcus. Hand pass. Got it to a teammate there who was Cumberland. Kicked it towards the half-forward flank and out of play. Noah Cumberland back on this ground, having been a a member of the Lions' Neefle grand final winning team a couple of years ago. Boy from the Sunshine Coast. Ball to be tossed in at right half forward for the Tigers. Miller over the top of mixed at ruck, time but row by Neil of Brisbane. Hand pass to Starcevic, kicks it into row 4. Out of bounds on the full, and Richmond will inbound through Ross.
In front of our commentary position on the Vulture Street side, Ross comes inboard and Robbie Tarrant takes the mark. It's been a while between finals for Robbie Tarrant. Played in 4, an elimination final for North Melbourne all those years ago. Inside 50, Lynch the marking target. Can't take the mark. McCluggage front and centre. Kicks to half back for the Lions where Danaher can take the mark. They'll have to push up the ground with no Oscar McInerney for the rest of the match. Goes short to Pryor at left half back. He can run the boundary line and looks up towards half forward. Needs Hipwood to present. Boston in from the side. He does that so well, an intercepting mark for the Tigers.
Infield on the 45 to the corridor, and it's space for the ball to bounce away from Koch and picked up by Wilmot. The first gamer for Brisbane kicks the half forward. McStay marks, turns from 60, kicks to the pocket, and Archie Markle front on contact. Free kick for the ladder.
Free kick, and that transfer of play there, where they went long. Danny Rich was in the middle, screaming for it. The Tigers get it, go back through the middle, albeit a horrible kick missed Cochin, which caused the turnover. But that's the way Brisbane are wanting to play, and they're not even looking.
Cal Archie subbed in very early due to the issue with Oscar McInerney. He's been a bit of a hole filler since making the move from the Gold Coast Suns. Hard in the right forward pocket, only 20 metres out. Archie leaves it near side for a behind. Richmond's lead is 5 points at 2-1-13 to 1-2-8. 14 minutes travelled on Grandstand AFL in the second elimination final.
Because I like Wilmot too, his first game. Jeez, he looks good, he looks sharp. Yeah, Nigel Lappin's old number, 44.
Last 2 scores in the match, Callum Archie, both behinds having been subbed in. Vlosten hugs the boundary line with his kick to the right back pocket, and Jaden Short takes the mark. Can work it back over the top to Vlosten, who kept running. He's outside the defensive 50 now. Sends it long up the wing on the Vulture Street side. Miller got rid of Danaher, but dropped the mark. Pickett front and centre. Hand pass forward to Lynch. He's tackled by Andrews. The ball spills out of play. He's penalised holding the footy. And a win early for Harris Andrews on Tom Lynch.
All umpires have hair tonight, boys. No Bruce Willis. Bad news for Bruce Willis fans.
Bit of a different scene to the early engaging battles between these two, Andrews and Lynch. A lot of cue clashes before they added a new chapter in this Brisbane-Richmond rivalry. Lynch on the mark as Andrews kicks the half forward. Cleared though by the Tigers. High kick from Vlosten to the middle of the ground on the contest. Won at ground level by Payne of the Lions. Hand pass to Gardner. Hand pass to Neal. Under pressure weaves a path to beat a tackle. Handed to Starcevic. Too slow. Pickett with the rundown tackle for the Tigers. And he wins a free kick right on halfway at the edge of the centre square members' side. Pickett kicks wide for Martin. Takes the mark, 2 kicks from goal. Plays on quickly, kicking to Revolt. Too good, 1-on-1 for Pryor.
What about the kick?
Sticky hands as well as Jack Revolt takes the mark. Man on the mark, 40 from goal.
Well, he had 2 guys in the middle too, Dusty, and he's just put that one up. Saw a mismatch. Yep. Although he's a bit lucky not to get away. He got away with the free kick there probably. He did grab a jumper there, Jack, but too smart, too big, too strong there when he's got that position.
He'll take one of his better kicks. Will have to kick 50. Jack Revolt in his 16th final. 45 degrees to the right of centre. Hits it with his right boot. It's across the face. Will it have the distance? Yep, it's a point. Richmond back to a neat goal the diff. 2-2 to 1-2. Tigers in front through 17 minutes.
They're bringing great heat, Q. Richmond's forwards. It's 10-5 inside 50s. A lot of that by their pressure.
Coleman straight down the middle, found McCluggage, hand pass to Mitch Robinson, works it over the top, Starcevic back to Mitch Robinson, through the corridor, Matheson, back to Mitch Robinson, dribbles it forward to McCluggage, they've rounded the Cortland, they've got through almost, as McCluggage kicks inside 50, Sorko from behind, can't rip the mark away, in fact it was Link McCarthy against Baker. The Tigers will clear through Dan Rioli. Kicks up to the wing. Down low for Jack Revolt. He tapped it out to Shea Bolton. Over the top to Pickett. The Tigers just keeping the ball in motion. Hand pass turned it over though. McCluggage for the Lions to Hipwood. Out to Charlie Cameron. Was he held? No whistle as Ford had a tug of the jumper. The ball goes out of play. Left forward pocket for the Brisbane Lions. Tigers by 6.
Could have had 5 free kicks then, but Lincoln McCarthy a little bit ambitious thinking to claim that mark is definitely touched.
Baker had a massive piece of it before Link was trying to Seduced the umpires into a mark. Boundary throw in. 40 from the goal. The Lions are attacking at the school end. Miller won the tap away from Hipwood. Sonsi at ground level. Hand pass to Ross. Tackled off it. Ball spills free. Holding the ball. Cameron gets the free kick.
Fantastic, Charlie. Fantastic. He got frustrated with Broad's antics, but he kept on going at the ball and got rewarded with a great tackle.
Beyond Cameron's best kick, though. Man on the mark. 55 out. So Cameron kicks it to the top of the goal mouth. Through the hands of Gibcus, who flew, could have marked, couldn't, dropped it to ground level. McCarthy's tackled by Morris Jr., turned it over, picked up by the Tigers' Sonsi. Rush clearing kick to the outer wing, no Tiger there. Picked up by Wilmot of Brisbane. His kick, went into the back of McIntyre, so Wilmot followed it up, socketed it out of the air, marked by Miller. Going in front of Archie to take the grab. Dangerous kick across the face of goal. Marked at full back by Pickett, and now they run the gauntlet down the corridor. Kicked in the middle of the ground. Payne makes a spoil on Revolt. Ball to deck, and Matheson's got it for Brisbane.
Now pass to Sarcevic, and now to Zorko. Looks to reload inside 50. Archie all on his own again. Takes the mark pretty much directly in front. He'll shoot from 35 metres out.
Oh, nice. Don't you love those ones coming back inside 50? Like the ball in the great Zorko's hands. But the pressure, they're taking it on Richmond through the middle.
And Brizzy, credit to Brizzy, they brought great pressure back at him, didn't they? And they were able to force a turnover.
This is no pawns on a chessboard at the moment, is it?
No, it's on.
He's had 2 shots on goal. Callum Archie, having been subbed into the match early, but finally he strikes gold as he delivers a crucial goal for the Brisbane Lions. That ties things up at 2-2, 14 apiece. 19 minutes gone, opening term on ABC Sport. Let's head down to the boundary with Zane Bojack.
I hope that this crowd noise is coming through the speakers at home because, wowee, this is such a great atmosphere. Both sides trying to take on the corridor. This is unbelievable footy.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? I don't know whether it's foolhardy or otherwise, but gee, it's entertaining.
It'll be like this all night. That's the way they play, both teams. That's the exciting bit of it. Brisbane play the same. It's pressure, turnover, inside 450, shot on goal.
Well, it's the way Richmond play. They keep surging, and as Aka said, they give you opportunities. If you can remain committed to putting pressure on the oppo, you drop off, they'll make you pay. Can they keep up this intensity, both teams? Great start.
And the good ball users just stand out, don't they, under this pressure?
Massive.
So
Matt Primus and Jason Ackermanis with you on Grandstand AFL. 2-2 apiece through 20 minutes. Oscar McInerney subbed out in the opening couple of minutes, having got a head knock. Centre bounce. Danaher clean possession over Nankervis. High kick for Brisbane to half forward. Spoiled away by the punch of Gibcus. Kicked off the ground though inside 50 for Brisbane. Half a chance for Bailey. Picks up. Monstered in a tackle by Flossie. No Pryor. Ball up.
He's been good, Bailey, below his knees. He's such a good player, I tell you. In these greasy conditions, he stands out.
Umple tossed it in the air. 40 metres from Brisbane's goal. Danaher wins the ruck contest against Nankervis. Hand pass, though, up high. Spiked out of the contest by McCarthy, but stolen by Short of Richmond. His kick pinched by Rich, 60 out. Defensive hand pass to Zorko. Flares wide to Payne. Payne's a big kick. Unloads from 60. Near side. Made the distance easily. But it's a point from Jack Payne that puts Brisbane in front. 2-3 to 2-2 through 21 minutes.
First time the Lions have led tonight. Richmond quickly bring it back into play. Broad to Pickett, works it up to Cumberland, who marks it right half back. Up the wing to Miller, who's able to take the mark on the shorter Kitty Coleman. And he has it just attacking side of halfway. Around the back to Short. Kicks up towards Prestia, dropped the mark. Allowed Coleman to gather, kept it alive against the boundary. Good sideways movement. Kicks up to Bailey, spoiled by Gibcus. The Tigers take it back through Short. His kick hugs the boundary line. Sonsi up takes the mark. Just in front of Zorko at right half forward. Into the pocket for Martin. Gardner spoils, lost his footing. Martin kept his. Outside of the boot, he couldn't, could he? Not this time for Dustin Martin. He misses to the right-hand side. And scores a level at 15 apiece.
Called him greedy too. One of the boys there just into him, so they should.
Was there anyone inside, Akka?
No.
Okay.
He didn't have much choice. Oh, he could have played on, I suppose.
He kicks them with games under his belt, doesn't he?
He does, yeah. He's just a bit rusty.
Yeah, Banana near side as Rich with a conservative kick in short to Andrews. Andrews kick marked by Wilmot. No, half volleyed. Under pressure, he put the kid. So he gave it back to Andrews, got tackled. Ump says, ball up.
Oh.
No Pryor there.
Oh, that was Pryor.
As Revolt was able to jump in and make the tackle. Oh, and Andrews took him on. He was probably very lucky not to be penalised. Ball up. Nankervis taps down, but stolen by Pryor of Brisbane. Rushed exit from defensive 50 to the outer wing. Rove by Bolter, though, of Richmond. Boom booming 60-metre kick back to full forward. Andrews, though, read it well and takes a fingertip control mark in the last line of defence for Brisbane. 2-3 apiece, 23 minutes played.
He's had a couple of wins on Tom Lynch. He's just had the one disposal so far in this match. Andrews kicks long towards half-back. Bolter flies, almost juggled the mark. I think he's going to be paid it. Oh, left half forward, wants to move it inboard. Cochin's all on his own. He marks just inside 50, which might be slightly beyond the 32-year-old. He gets all his momentum going and strikes it from 50 right to the goal line. It gets there. Harris Andrews on the goal line couldn't get a touch onto it. And the former captain in his 15th season strikes from long range. The Tigers back in front by a goal. 3-3-21 to the Brisbane Lions. 2-3-15. 23 minutes gone. Opening term on ABC Sport.
Been in good form, the skipper, with Prestia and Martin out and the injuries throughout the year. His last 6-7 weeks as a pure midfielder has been outstanding, and wound back the clock a little bit he has over the last 6 weeks, and continue that form there with his leg.
Well, put your coaching hat on, Matt. Is that something that you think Damien Hardwick's been designing throughout the year? Realise he can't get all that engine work out of him for a full season anymore.
Oh, no, definitely not. But he's got to have contributors as he has for the last 4 years. He hasn't always been in there every single time. It's been great. He's had a different role each year, but he's certainly managing his age, and he's terrific tonight.
Well, it's the thing about Richmond. Someone always bobs up. It's amazing to think they've got 6 first-time finalists tonight for a team that's been so good of recent times. Centre bounce. Free kick going to Prestia. It was against Lockie Neal, so it should be good to see those two go at it for a while if that's the case. But Dion Prestia will play on for Richmond. The hand pass to Broad, who ran from defence. A bit of a wobbling kick towards half forward. Sat on the head of Revolt. Spoiled away by Wilmot. Roved, though, by Pickett, who avoids a tackle, and there's a line down. Pickett kicks to the pocket. A couple against Lynch. Has it spoiled away from him. Pryor sees it over the boundary line. And that line, who slow to pick himself up, as nearly looks okay. Ball to be tossed in the left forward pocket for the Tigers, who lead it by a goal.
It's got a bit of a high shot there. Just missed tackle with Pickett. It's not much fun when you miss those.
Tigers deep in attack, thrown back in. McStay and Nankervis spills down under pressure. Hand pass came out from Starcevic and then straight towards the boundary line. This is going to be deliberate.
Oh, I don't know about that. He thought a man was there. I don't know, he called deliberate when it was deliberately not trying to take it out of bounds, but to a teammate. But anyway, that's another soft free kick down there in the forward pocket. But this is the man you want with the ball in his hands.
The footy in the hand of Shea Bolton in the left forward pocket, 25 metres out, steps out, snaps around his body and finishes with absolute class. You can't give Shea Bolton those sort of looks in any of the pockets, on any of the grounds. The Tigers all of a sudden skip out by 12 points. 4-3-27 to the Brisbane Lions, 2-3-15. A hefty price for Brandon Starcevic to pay.
It is hefty, but I like the intensity of the Lions. Both teams, you'd imagine, they're going to give it everything anyway, but geez, it's been good so far for the Lions.
Zane Bojak on the boundary.
Yeah, Trainer's gone out to Lockie Neal a couple of times since that incident, but he's refusing to come off the field. Let's hope that he's not seriously hurt, but he did look like he was dazed.
On the SMS, 0437 774774. G'day to Peter Tiger Tambo. He goes, hey, grandstand team, can feel the exhilarating excitement of the game pouring through the airwaves. So exciting. Yeah, it's been a great start. Thanks for your thoughts wherever you're listening, around the country, around the world. Everyone tuning in at September time. And it's the Tigers by 2 points. Centre bounce, Nankervis got first hand, but Mitch Robinson does the roving for Brisbane. Doesn't create with his hand. Pass went to Cochin. He got tackled. Pinched by Gardner of Brisbane. Rush kick towards half forward. Baker engaged with McCluggage. Held on to him. McCluggage gets the free kick for the Lions beyond his scoring range. 65 out at right half forward. McCluggage spears a pass to the pocket for the leading Hipwood. Spoiled away by Floston. Out of play.
Free kick.
Oh, chop of the arms, was it, Acker?
Yeah, chop of the arms. Very obvious. He had a good look at it too, Eric. He normally would gobble them up. You'll see in the replay here. Floston, he got plenty of arm there. I don't know if Richmond people are upset about. That is a chop.
Well,
and a ball chop as
well. It was interesting. Hipwood seemed to misread the kick, and he didn't get a fingernail to it. And the chop of the arms came after the ball went past him.
Hey, don't ever try to understand umpires.
Anyway, it's the right forward pocket for the left-footed Eric Hipwood, who missed the finals last year due to his knee injury. This would be a real gabba lifter If Eric could thread the needle from the tight angle, 40 metres out, left foot strike, he's done it! He has done it! Just what the Lions needed in a dramatic first term to start the finals in 2022. A fine set shot finish from Eric Hipwood. Richmond 4-3-27, Brisbane 3-3-21. 28 minutes first term.
The odd part of the last two goals, free kick for a deliberate out of bounds and then chopping the arms. Both very dubious free kicks, but both unbelievable goals. Shea Bolton and then, of course, Eric on the left side as favourite side.
Great game of momentum. Whichever team sort of dominates territory is getting lots of shots on goals. Early, Richmond were dominating. Brisbane fought back, then Richmond, and now it's fought back the other way. 15 to 14 inside 50s each way. Whichever team can dominate territory, he's been able to generate scores.
The voice of Matt Primus and Jason Ackermanis with you on ABC Sport. Didn't kick a goal, Eric Hipwood, in round 23 against the Demons. Just the 6 disposals, so that'll do his confidence the world of good. Back in the middle of the ground. Nankervis one down the tap against McStay. Prestia in hard. It ricochets back to Nankervis. Reloads, sends it towards 50. Miller and Coleman. Coleman couldn't take the mark. Morris Rioli Jr. lurking. Starcevic gathers. Retreats back to Andrews. 25 metres out from his defensive goal. Jams it on the boot and finds Bailey. Hand pass inboard to Lockie Neal. Through the middle of the Gabba. Sends it inside 50. Cameron up. Can't take the mark. Broad spoiled it down. It spills to Baker. He squeezes the kick out to McIntosh, who marks it left half back for the Tigers, who lead by 6 points.
Both teams really taking the game on. It's been an exhilarating first term, although on that occasion McIntosh a little conservative to Dan Rioli at left half back. Then the long kick towards half forward. In the pack, that's a mark to Lynch at the front. Great grab to Tom Lynch, who was the superstar in the second half of the MCG comeback a couple of weeks ago. Long kick towards full forward. Out the back of the pack, Bolton rose, beats a tackle in traffic, took too long. Starcevic tackled him. Holding the ball, advantage taken. Brisbane's kick, though, not great. McIntosh comes up with it. 50 from goal. His hand pass to a teammate who's tackled and dispossessed.
Out in the full.
And what did it come off the boot?
Yep.
Out there.
Very fortuitous.
And that's a bit unlucky for Short. Oh, no, it wasn't. It was off the boot of a Brisbane player, Acker.
Yeah. Sorry, Richmond free kick off.
Oh, off the back of the heel.
That should be just throw in. Fair dinkum.
Well, it's going to be a free kick to McIntosh. Hard in the pocket.
Another one. Another free kick.
Yep.
Big concentration. A minute and a half to go. They don't want to concede here, Brizzy.
Got the 60 sign board up there on the bench, I can see.
Camden McIntosh, part of the group that tasted premiership success here in Richmond's last final.
Having a shot at
on the right boot. Tough angle from McIntosh. It's across the face. Spiked into the field of play and kept alive for a moment. Then across the face, Bolton keeps it in. His snap-on goal smothered well by Starcevic. Still alive and the Tigers attacking 50. Dan Rioli picks up on 50. Hand pass to Baker. Baker's chip to the pocket. Is a Brisbane mark or free kick. Starcevic is there to win the ball for the Lions.
Cumberland coming late to try and spoil. It would have been a mark or a free kick either way. And Starcevic in the right back pocket. As we're approaching quarter time, sends Brisbane long down the Stanley Street wing. Nankervis in the pack, punches it to the front. Beautifully rowed by Neal. Hand pass inboard to Coleman. Bailey run down. Morris Rioli Jr. He brushes the tackle. Hand pass to McStay. Back to Bailey. He tries to tap it on. A soccer straight into the chest of Dan Rioli. Ricochets out to Ross. Hand pass to Morris Rioli. Missed Dan Rioli on the Vulture Street wing. They have time to regather. Pickett looks up towards half forward. He tries to draw Rich. Hand pass to Dan Rioli. Hugs the boundary line. Great kick. Cumberland dropped the mark. Had a couple of metres on Gardner. He fumbles it over the boundary line for a throw-in.
And off that last tackle, Kadeem Coleman nailed Morris Rioli Jr.
Absolutely got him good. I think
he's hurt his arm.
His arm or his ankle. I think it might be his.
But he's up and moving now.
Yeah,
I just think he pushed his arm out, Jace, to brace himself for the tackle and may have just wrenched it a little, but he's okay. Throw in right half forward for Richmond. Nankervis won the tap, though, rove by Mitch Robinson of Brisbane. High kick back towards halfway. Pryor flew, flossed and spoiled. Punch taken by Pickett. He's wrapped up immediately by Danaher. And we'll see a ball up. Dramatic opening term. Russian roulette type of footy from both teams taking on the corridor. Highly entertaining stuff. A goal that if Richmond in front from the bounce on the wing. Neil tried to palm it to Mitch Robinson, tackled off it by Prestia, picked up by Richard Brisbane, kicked a half forward, Fluston in front, Hipwood came from behind, and Hipwood's going to get a free kick on the quarter-time siren. He was pushed into the pack. The hooter will sound, and Hipwood will have a chance to bang from 55 to level the scores at quarter-time.
Well, they've been doing that all night, the Richmond defenders, and getting away with it, holding jumpers and making sure they can't get much run. But there was a 2-1 there. It wasn't actually that bad for Richmond, but Hipwood, and deservedly so, the umpire saw it. He's going to have a shot on goal. You can kick this.
He had a great first half in that round 20 loss where Brisbane established the big lead.
Got the assistance cue, has he?
Yep.
Yep.
It'll be absolutely pure and straight through all the way, or a slight leak.
Could go anywhere.
But he's in form, having kicked a goal already. Gabba fans riding every moment as Hipwood approaches on the quarter-time siren from 52. Yes! Quarter-time siren goal for Eric Hipwood to level the scores after the best 30 minutes you'd want to start September in 2022.
What a game, Matty Primus.
Scintillating football, 2 for Hipwood, and we are locked at 4-3-27 apiece at quarter time. 2 for Hipwood, singles for McCluggage and RT for the locals, while for Richmond, Dan Rioli, Martin, Cochin and Bolton have kicked goals. All that after Oscar McInerney was subbed out of the game, having had a facial knock to the back of the head of an opponent, blood, nose, concussion. We'll get more from Zane in a moment, but the Big O out in his 100th game after a couple of minutes, and Cal Archie subbed in. The Tigers did get 2 goals in front with back-to-back goals to Cochin and Bolton, but then 2 in a row to Eric Hipwood has got us back at par at quarter time. Brisbane 4-3-27, Richmond 4-3-27. Hope you're enjoying it all through ABC Sport on Grandstand AFL.
We are one, but we are many, and from all the lands on earth we come. We share a dream, as big with one voice.
90 years of the ABC.
You are Australian.
90 years yours. The 2022 AFL Finals.
Grandstand AFL.
On ABC Radio and ABC Sport Digital.
Andrews couldn't take the mark. Rossi's putting Lynch back onto it. Slaps it to the advantage of Shea Bolton. He runs to 50, takes the bounce, has Morris Rioli Jr. He spots him. Hand pass to Dusty. Top of the goal square. He suckers it through. Dusty's on the board. Hand pass to Starcevic and now to Zorko. Looks to reload inside 50. Archie all on his own again. Takes the mark pretty much directly in front. Callum Archie having been subbed into the match early, but finally he strikes gold as he delivers a crucial goal for the Brisbane Lions.
Neil tried to palm it to Mitch Robinson, tackled off it by Prestia, picked up by Richard Brisbane, kicked a half forward, Fluston in front, Hipwood came from behind, and Hipwood's going to get a free kick on the quarter-time siren. He was pushed into the pack as Hipwood approaches on the quarter-time siren from 52. Yes! Quarter-time siren goal for Eric Hipwood to level the scores.
The 2022 AFL Finals.
On ABC Radio and ABC Sport Digital.
Welcome to September, if you don't mind. Brisbane 4-3-27, Richmond 4-3-27. Matthew Primus and Jason Ackermanis. How's the pulse rate after that first quarter of finals footy?
It's up, but it should be up. If you can't get excited by that type of footy, Matty, yeah, there's something wrong with you. Fair dinkum.
That was outstanding. I thought Brizzy were a little bit slow out of the box. Looked a little bit scary for them early, didn't they? But, geez, they settled really well. Playing their game style pretty well, winning stoppages, winning contested ball. But what I liked, and you called it a few times, Q and Clinchy, they're playing faster off half-back. Normally they're a slow kick mark until they get in the front. But they won't be able to score if they do that. So they're taking some risks, which is biting them on the backside a few times, but it's also giving them great opportunities when they go forward, and they're scoring really efficiency when they go inside 50. So a ripping start, and the intensity and the attack on the ball and the speed of the movement is brilliant to watch from both teams.
Yeah, and I think if you're ever to watch an AFL game of footy at its best, that would be it. Two teams taking it on, coming through the corridor, playing on,
Yep.
handball receives, inside forward 50 one-on-ones. It's really good to watch.
Stats in a moment, but for those late to the broadcast, Zane Bojack, the latest, and just to recap on what happened to Oscar McInerney at the start of the game.
Yeah, Oscar McInerney went up to try and take a mark, but he's actually hammered into the back of a Richmond player right on the boundary line near the interchange gates, and he lied there for, I don't know, Q, at least 2 or 3 minutes. He just didn't get up while the play ensued. He, of course, come off the field and they tried to stop the bleeding. They just couldn't. He was totally dazed. They completely ruled him out straight away, and Kalachi came straight onto the field within probably the first 7 minutes of the game. So he was involved in, I think, Lions' first scoring opportunity. So at the moment, he's like a big praying mantis there, Oscar, at the back of the huddle as they have a chat to Chris Fagan at quarter time. He looks okay, but just completely forlorn that he can't be part of this contest.
And not a story for now, because it may not be a story if Brisbane don't win tonight. But if he has been concussed, we wait to see whether or not he can front up for another cutthroat final next week. On the stats board, well, scoreboards level, 4-3-27 apiece. So we'll start with the home team. Lockie Neal with 10 disposals, 8 for Brandon Starcevic, 8 for Hugh McCluggage. For Richmond, 4 players have 7 touches. Marlon Pickett, Nick Floston, Tyler Sonzi and Jack Ross. Overall, Brisbane 6 more possessions at 95 to 89. Contested ball +2 to Brisbane. The tackling +2 to Richmond. Inside 50s +4 to Richmond. As you'd expect, gentlemen, not much in it across the board. And Matt, just your thoughts on the longer this game goes, how Brisbane manage the fill-in ruck role, which at the moment seems Danaher and McStay are going to do the job.
Well, they need to, especially with Danaher. He's an athlete, so he needs to move around the ground and become a midfielder and use his marking prowess around the ground, because Nankervis is a lumbering ruck. It's got to be an advantage. You've got to take advantage of Danaher's athleticism as the game goes on.
27 apiece after the first quarter. Let's get underway with the second term, Matt Clinch.
Nankervis and McStay in the middle of the ground. Nankervis sets himself, wins down the tap to Prestia. The umpire slipped over. Dev Robinson for the Lions. Back to McStay. Hand pass ricochets off a few sets of hands. Neal back to Dev Robinson. Tackled and brought down in the middle of the Gabba. A few players on top of the footy. And the umpire will throw it up.
Too many handballs. Just got to get on the boot, Brizzy. Bridgeman's pressure too good.
Get it out.
Scores level after the last 2 goals to Eric Hipwood. Neal bangs it towards half forward underneath the Dan Rioli and Matheson. Dan Rioli can't take the mark. Baker tackled and brought down by McCarthy. So another chance for Dan Rioli. Hand pass inboard, miss Sonzi. A chance for Nankervis over the footy. Matheson for the Lions to McStay. A laser pass that finds Bailey just outside 50. He looks into the pocket. Here comes Charlie. Clears the fingertips of Baker and he marks on his chest in the left forward pocket.
That was a much better running pattern. If you could see the replay, Charlie's sort of coming back on a 45 towards goals. He's ducked around, got a little bit of a shepherd. He's in the open field, coming on a 45-degree angle to the kicker, which made it a much easier kick to get to him.
He's got to do that against Broad, doesn't he? Otherwise, Broad will manhandle him all night.
Way better from Charlie.
Right forward pocket for the Lions live wire. He starts his approach, comes in, fires it at the right goalpost, and it's the wrong side. A minor score. Enough to put Brisbane in front by that point. A minute and a half into the third term on ABC Sport.
I was waiting for the song cue.
I don't know whether during the finals they get the regular home ground advantage.
Yes.
No country roads for you. You've got to kick it through to get any chance of that, as Broad chips short. And it's marked by Baker, still in the right back pocket for Richmond. Long right foot drop punt sends the yellow share into the skies, and then Curvis clutches it with a strong mark on the southern wing and a pack. Plays on, left boot, high towards half forward for the Tigers. Martin in front of Gardner, couldn't mark but got the ball. Hand pass to Rioli running by, couldn't gather out of play. And we'll see it thrown in. It's been a pretty handy return from Martin so far. Playing deep forward as predicted and told to us by the coach Damien Hardwick. Throw in 55 from the Tigers goal at right half forward.
4 disposals and 1-1 for Dusty. Chris Fagan would also be happy with Tom Lynch, just the 1 disposal. Shea Bolton trying to run on the footy at right half forward, overran it, and McCluggage picks it up for the Brisbane Lions, bangs it back up the wing. Floston spoils it down. Prestia gathered, couldn't get boots the ball as he was tackled. A chance for Berry. And now Dev Robinson, who's tackled and brought down. Umpire circles, holding the footy. And it's going to be a Richmond free kick at right half forward. Swansea to take the free kick at right half forward. Still 2 kicks out from goal. Lions by a point. This impressive youngster for the Tigers kicks to the pocket. Up goes Cumberland, can't take the mark. Bolton keeps it alive, right forward pocket, gets to the goal square just to finish with his left. How quick was that? Jammed it in reverse. He was able to sidestep and kick his second, only from a matter of metres out. And the Tigers lead by 5 points. 5-3-33 to the Brisbane Lions, 4-4-28.
Well, how did they get that goal? McStay's sitting under the ball. All he had to do was mark it. Gets over the back, the little finger tip over, and then Shea Bolton. You can't give him any space.
Jace, that's the kind of goal that you will kick. What's the key there not to panic and actually take them on?
Well, when you've got that much momentum, you generally know that the bloke who's about to tackle you can't hold the tackle. So you've got the calmness to know that he's about to fall off. I've just got to hang on just for that split second, as you'll see Shea here, and then just chucked on the left slipper. And his speed and his ability to accelerate here is what does the trick. And that would have been probably a high shot anyway. So, but yeah, just got to use it, duck under the big fella. You know you're going to break the tackle. Let's get it on. Let's have a go.
The lunging tackle was from Harris Andrews, but he couldn't stop Shea Bolton at full flight.
A man who was probably as dynamic at his best. Jason Ackermanis with you on Grandstand AFL. Centre bounce. Tigers in front by 5 points. Brisbane get the clearance. Hand pass out the back to Rich. Rush kick towards half forward. McCarthy has it spoiled away by Baker. Ball on the deck picked up by Dan Rioli. Kicks it back to the middle of the ground for Richmond. On the head of Starcevic. Couldn't mark under pressure. Ball to ground level. McStay somehow got it to Wilmot. High kick from Wilmot towards the pocket. Out the back. Hipwood tried to nudge his opponent Sonsey under the drop, couldn't mark, and it ricochets out of play for a boundary throw in the left forward pocket for Brisbane. Richmond 5-3-33 lead Brisbane 4-4-28, 4.5 played, second term on Grandstand AFL.
Lions are clean tonight, really clean, look sharp.
Going back into play, Danaher doing the ruck work against Nankervis, but Nankervis does the roving, squeeze the kick out towards the boundary. McIntosh kept it alive. Kept it alive. My voice is going to stay alive, hopefully. The kick up towards the wing. Beautifully crumbed by Revolt. Tackled and brought down, and Payne with a kick back around the wing, only as far as Sonsey for the Tigers.
Got it to Cumberland by hand, given back to Sonsey. Little kick on the bounce, hoping for Prestia. Couldn't control, but knuckles it forward. Not to a teammate, though. Payne steals it at half back for Brisbane. Hand pass to Devon Robertson. Went backward, found a dead end. Turns and kicks to the wing. Looking for McStay. Spoiled away by McIntosh. Arriving Matheson for Brisbane. He tapped it to Hipwood. Hipwood tackled over the line by Rioli in front of a heap of Richmond supporters. Not far away from Zane Bojack. How's the feeling down there, Zane?
Oh, it's great seeing Rioli go head-to-head there with Hipwood. They were into each other, and Shea Bolton's getting a few push and shoves. This is what you want to see in finals, Q.
There are yellow and black supporters everywhere around you, Zana.
Who's selling him these tickets?
On the southern wing. Boundary throw-in. Nankervis got first hand, but rode by McStay of Brisbane. Hand pass to Berry. Burst clear, advantage side of the pack. Deep kick to Cameron out the back. Got a hand, late arriving spoil from Broad, but Cameron runs home crumb and snaps a goal to put Brisbane back in front. Cameron with his first. It was 2-on-1 against him. He was able to bring the ball to his advantage at the drop zone. And we do get country roads, even during the finals. John Denver on that occasion. Brisbane 5-4-34. Richmond 5-3-33. 6.5 played, second term.
What about the handball from McStay to Berry? And Charlie's out the back, and Tua coming at him. He did have the sit. He just couldn't quite grab it the first one, but decides to get the crumb. And what a wonderful snap. And he's pretty happy with that, so he should be, Charlie, as he takes a rest, Matty.
Both teams are really struggling with the pressure inside the forward 50 of each team.
Shea Bolton at one end, Charlie Cameron at the other. Get your popcorn ready. Zorko gets the clearance for the Lions, kicks inside 50. Boston's able to take the mark for the Tigers. Out to right half back. McIntosh gathers. Mitch Robinson was given a bump. And a chance for Dan Rioli. Bangs it long towards half forward. Underneath it, Cumberland couldn't take the mark. Lynch tries to soccer it forward. Looking for Morris Rioli Jr. Rich could have been taken high. And threw the head back, hoping the umpire If he didn't see it the first time, he certainly would have the second. He'll get the free kick in the left back pocket. Brisbane by a point.
Across the face of goal with a kick from Rich, marked by Payne. No one near him. Back inside on the 45. Chops off the gambling kick. Great work, Rioli, to get in front of the target, Wilmot. Made the spoil, wins the crumb. Morris Jr. from 60. Mongrel kick to the pocket. Bounces for Lynch. Gathers. Hand pass back for Revolt. Too hot for him on attacking 50. But Rioli gathers. Tigers have still got it. Hand pass out the back to Short. From 60 near the boundary. Centering kick. Prestia's got the field to beat. Did enough to bring it to ground level. Coming through Dev Robertson for Brisbane. Rushed handball gets to Gardner. Under pressure at half back. Hand pass to Payne. Payne's kicks a mongrel clearance, but it worked. A floating sack which went to the hands of Link McCarthy, who marked it right half back.
Brisbane by a point, comes inboard to Matheson, hand pass to Coleman. This is where they've run the game through the middle of the ground. Zorko, hand pass to Rich, ran into a dead end in Boston. Hand pass forward to Danaher. He's brought down by Tarrant. Zorko, little toe poke inside the 50. But McIntosh is there for the Tigers. Hand pass to Baker, kicks out to Pickett. He marks it left half back for the Tigers. Can work it over the top to Short. He's all on his own on the Vulture Street wing. Takes a bounce and looks up further afield. Cochin's free. He marks it left half forward. Lynch on a lead inside 50. Laser pass down low. And Tom Lynch is finally able to get some space on Harris Andrews. And takes the mark slightly left of centre, 40 metres out from goal.
It's really all that. Sorry, Manny.
I was just saying, they can't get discouraged, Brisbane, playing that way. They've got to play that way. It was just the last handball which just set Danaher up, but they've got to keep taking Richmond on.
Yeah, and good defence from Richmond. But that's exactly what, you like you said, play on, get it done, get it in there. It's going to work more times than it's not.
And I love Jack Revolt there. In the pocket, told Short to go to Cochin, opened the corridor for the Lynch lead.
Just his third kick of the game, Tom Lynch. Looking to try and make his presence known. He comes in from just inside 50. Beautiful strike. Tigers back in front. Richmond by 5 points. 6-3-39 to the Brisbane Lions 5-4-34. 9 minutes gone, second term on ABC Sport.
I think you might have said it before early in the game, Q, about Rioli, how he said he just loves chase down tackles. Well, he has done 5 or 6 tonight that are as good as you'll see, and he's done another 10 more when he's nearly got to him and made Brisbane go, oh, gee, someone's around me, and get rid of the ball quickly. His pressure is elite just by himself.
Yeah, and that's what you want from him as his small forward. Craig McRae used to do that role for us. Obviously now Collingwood coach with his selfless role, makes 7-8 tackles a game, but he's getting a bit of the footy too. That's the beauty of this game. You're going to get turnovers.
Don't give Fly too much of a rap. He was never that quick.
Oh, no, he wasn't that quick. You'd like to think he was that quick. He certainly had a bigger kick on him, but that's about it.
Jason Ackermanis and Matt Primus, your experts. Richmond 6-3-39, Brisbane 5-4-34. 10.5 played it in the second term. Both teams just really playing attacking footy. Great start to the finals as Miller at the ruck for Richmond. Got the tap it straight to Neil of Brisbane. Clearing kick towards half forward. A tumbler stolen by Bolter of Richmond. Kicks wide to the wing, marked by Ross. Ross kicks it over the man on the mark. Shortish kick marked by Bolton. Between wing and half forward, and Bolton holds up for a moment. Feigns the handball and then got tackled by Bailey, holding the ball. Bailey will pick up and roll on. Kicks Brisbane to half forward. Archie 1-on-1. Spoiled away by the Lions, the Tigers defence in Gibcus. Knocked it down, picked up by Bolter. Gives it on to Floston. Clearing kick from half back to the edge of the centre square, marked by Short. Plays on, has a bounce, kicks to the pocket, and the lead of Cumberland. The man that the Lions had first pick of. And the Sunny Coast boy, NEFL Premiership player for Brisbane, but here, as a Tiger, is a chance.
Again, rebound footy, taking the game on.
Their forward line operate so well, Richard, don't they? They're two talls and Martin down there, and then they're smalls. They operate so well with so much space and timing of the leads.
Let's get that 2-on-1 on the half forward line. That's what's doing the trick at the moment.
Yep.
He kicked 5 goals in the big comeback in round 20, Noah Cumberland. This a tough assignment. 10 in from the boundary at right half forward, 50 metres out. Left foot strike is low across the face and punched through for a point by Harris Andrews to make it a neat goal, the diff. Richmond 6-4, Brisbane 5-4, 12-minute second term.
Yeah, so Brisbane are putting an extra up between the arcs there to help them with their handball game and play quicker. Richmond is sitting back, so that decision when Brisbane get the ball through the middle of the ground, it's got to be great. Otherwise, going to kick to Richmond spare all night.
Good point. Matt Primus with you on ABC Sport. Rich with a long kick in to Danaher, who's impeded. He'll take the free kick at left half back. No Oscar McInerney, so we'll have to spend some time in the ruck alongside Dan McStay. Danaher at left half-back. Kicks long around the Stanley Street wing. Towards Hipwood, who got rid of his opponent. Little shove on Bolter. And he takes the mark at left half forward. He's got Link McCarthy deep. Archie as well. He kicks to the pocket where he's looking for Archie. Can't take the mark. Charlie Cameron keeps it alive against the boundary. Veers out. Little kick looking for McCluggage. Unable to take the mark. Miller gets the hand pass back from Gibcus. He's tackled by Zorko. The ball up 40 metres out from the Brisbane Lions goal. It's the Tigers by 6 points in the second term.
Eric could have gone just a little bit quicker then, I reckon.
Ball tossed in the air. Miller with the tap down boundary side for Richmond, but rode by Neal. Hand pass, well, set a task of Mitch Robinson. It was buffeted over the line under pressure from Baker. Boundary throw-in. Zane?
Yeah, Cumberland took a long time to get Dusty's message. He's saying, get off. I wanted to get on there. The great man, he's back on the turf now.
Don't worry about that.
Boundary throw-in, left half forward for Brisbane. Miller and McStain either a telling tap, rode by Rioli. That's Dan of Richmond, got a hand pass. Kick towards the wing, marked by Martin. And Martin is going to chip it over the man on the mark. Ross takes the grab. Just forward of the wing, kicks infield, looking for McIntosh, spoiled away by Matheson of Brisbane. He punches it out of play.
Free kick.
Oh, hold on. Matheson.
He got hit high.
So, it was just a loose, spoiling hand from Cameron McIntosh, which allows Matheson to take the free kick, just defensive side of the wing for Brisbane. 14 minutes played second term. Richmond 6-4-40, Brisbane 5-4-34.
Matheson looks up towards half forward, sends it in the direction of Hipwood, arms outstretched, can't take the mark. Gibcus spoils it down. Ross onto it, broke the tackle of Zorko. Hand pass to Prestia around the boundary line, drives a long kick towards half forward, revolt up against Payne, keeps it in play, gathered by Martin, looks inside 50, Lynch and Coleman got back. Kitty Coleman was able to get a hand to it. Morris Rioli Jr. swerves in, gathers, hand pass back to Martin, outside of the boot. His kick is intercepted, and Lockie Neal working in the back half. Takes the mark in the left back pocket for the Lions,
50.
and will get 50. Leading clearance player on the ground, Lockie Neal with 8.
And coming up for disposal 16, which is 5 better than the next most prolific ball winner to this point of the game. So Neal marched to the centre of the Gabba, kicks Brisbane wide to half forward and space for McStay to have a juggle and take a mark 60 from goal. A prolific kick, but probably beyond his range. Dan McStay here. He plays on though, now slices a pass to the pocket, and Hipwood presents and takes the mark. Only 30 metres out, tight angle, but Eric's got his range about him. He's kicked 2 straight so far tonight.
Well, he has, and I tell you though, that 50 metre, I don't know what it was for. It was a bit soft, but Lockie Neal out wide found McStay, but he just pulled the kick beautifully there, McStay, and just found a little bit of a spot there, and great lead, great teamwork that is.
Well, has he got more space to move with Danaher being asked to move upfield?
Absolutely, he'll be enjoying it. Plus, he's been hanging out in the play finals for all this year. Don't worry about that.
Eric Hipwood to try and level the scores, as he did on the quarter time siren. Tough angle, left forward pocket, 35 out. Nearly missed everything. There was a chat between boundary and goal ump. It's a behind. 5 points the lead to Richmond, 16 minutes second term.
What does blue mean here?
Getting checked by the docs with physio.
Yeah, Dan Rioli on the bench. We'll get to Zane in a moment. Well picked up, Acker, looking at the stats board.
Yeah. So Nick Vlauston brings the Tigers back into play towards half back, but Jared Berry's able to take the intercepting mark for the Lions. Back inside 50. Where are the tall timber? Hipwood tried to fly. He might have caught one in the eye. And it's spoiled out of play by Gibcus for a boundary throw-in. Can you see anything, Zane, for Dan Rioli?
Yeah, they looked at his ankle for what seriously looked like 30 seconds, and then they walked away. So I don't think it's serious at all.
We'll keep an eye on it as the boundary ump sets himself 30 metres from the goal that the Lions are attacking. Then Curvis too good for Danaher in that run contest. Clean possession, rush to the wing. Went to the boots of Miller, couldn't pick up. Near the boundary line, Baker creates for Richmond. Was it taking the advantage, was he? Hold on, I'm looking at one umpire saying...
deliberate.
Well, there was a free kick. Baker took the advantage, didn't know, and then has given away a 50-metre penalty to the first gamer, Wilmot.
Kick it, son. What a way to have a shot at your first.
Well, Baker was confused there. I think the umpire had called advantage.
I'm sure Damien Hardwick agrees. He's going bonkers in the box.
Just trying to work out how that all transpired, but the result is Darcy Wilmot, the 18-year-old in his first game, a debut in a final and a set shot to put his team in front in a ripping first half. Slight angle to the left. The teenager on debut, Darcy Wilmot, rises to the occasion to put the Lions back in front. He will not care how that free kick when he tells the story. Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Kicked the first goal in a final against Richmond. Brisbane, 5-5, 6-5, 41 to Richmond, 6-4, 40. And he gets a huge cheer as he goes to the bench.
He's looked composed too tonight, hasn't he? In a final, he's been under the pump a few times, but looked composed. But, geez, I'm not sure on the free kick. I know Baker took it. Then he just ran into a Brisbane opponent and got bumped out of bounds. And I think the umpire paid it, if we look at the replay here, as if you didn't have sufficient intent to try and keep the ball alive. So he stops.
Yeah, he's got some wheels too.
That's
why did he stop?
That's a poor decision by the umpire. The 50, no worries arguing, but geez.
So Liam Baker wouldn't give him back the footy. He was arguing the point. The umpire gave the 50.
Yep, that's there.
And a moment to savour for Darcy Wilmot. And the bounce is going to be recalled. 6 lead changes in this opening half. Certainly brought out the best of both sides in this elimination final. Straight to the bench for Darcy Wilmot to try and compose himself. Danaher in the ruck, wins down the tap. Cochin over the top of the footy. Got the hand pass away from Dev Robinson, but Zorko slides in. Wins it for Brisbane. Wobbling kick inside 50. Hipwood underneath it. Bailey runs onto it. It opens up in front of him. Into the goal mouth and bangs it through. The Lions by 7 points. That's how you make your centre clearances count. 6-4-40. The Tigers, all of a sudden the Brisbane Lions 7-5-47. 20 minutes gone, second term on ABC Sport.
I was going to say, Matty Primus, you can see Brisbane's forward line's got 2 deep, 4 up. Well, that 4 up, as it came out of the middle, albeit it was bouncing around there, as Zorko gets it, throws a pretty average-looking floating kick in, but they're streaming back towards goal, and that's got over the back. And Zach Bailey with it. I told you I love his wheels, but, man, can't give him space like that.
Well, that's their weakness, Richmond. Their centre bounce scores against, second most the last month. And their backs are great when they got slow play and they can all drop off and support each other. But when it's one-on-one, balls coming in from the centre bounce, they really struggle, and Brisbane made them pay then.
They say style makes fights. How about these two going at each other? Absolutely ripping entertainment. And Brisbane gets a little bit of a break. Centre bounce, Nankervis got the tap down and spiked out of the air, kicked out of the air, volleyed by Prestia, straight to half forward, and Revolt takes the mark on 50.
15 all.
He would have liked the timing with the boot on that. We've got the Matildas playing in Brisbane in a couple of days' time. Beautiful soccer volley from Dion Prestia. And now Jack Revolt. Set shot. Not much of an angle to speak of. Man on the mark is 49 out. He's already had 1 try for a point at the opposite end. This for Estedia after Brisbane's kicked the last 2. Beautiful strike from Rewalt. That is pure. What a right foot drop punt that is. From the ageing superstar, that is Jack Revolt.
Yeah, luck's a fortune.
1 point the difference yet again. Brisbane 7-5, Richmond 7-4. That was half post height from 52 metres out from Jack Revolt.
Beautiful strike.
And, and always, when you coach, forward's always in front.
There it is.
Look what happens. Volley comes out. You have his shot, very fortuitous shot from 50, but that's a beautiful strike. Lovely conditions. It's like when you play golf and it's a bit warmer. The ball travels further. He'd be loving it.
Goal number 753 for Jack Revolt. Trying to keep his career going. His 16th season in the yellow and black. And Brisbane's lead all of a sudden cut back to a point straight away. Back in the middle of the ground. Nankervis to McStay. Bounce favoured Nankervis. Wins down the tap towards Prestia. Dev Robinson slides in. Tackled by Prestia. Didn't get a hand pass away. Cochin shovels a hand pass forward. Starcevic trying to link up with Pryor. It went through his legs. Prestia puts the pressure on. Coleman slides in. Hand pass under pressure. A whistle for the non-officiating umpire. And a Brisbane free kick going the way of Coleman.
Well done,
Take it on left half back.
Yeah, absorbed Richmond's pressure. Won the ball.
And a moment of composure in what's been a hectic first half as Coleman chips over the man on the mark and Zorko gets some booze. Not bad for a bloke that's won 5 best and fairest and 2 leading goal kickers here. Zorko kicks down the wing looking for Pryor. Spilled the chest mark. Turnover could be costly. Bolton for the Tigers gathers. Hands to Prestia. Kick inside 50. Lynch went down. Andrews makes the spoil. Play on says the ump. Gardner's clearing. Kick stolen by Cumberland. He runs to the pocket. He puts the Tigers back in front with a left foot snap from 10 metres out. This is almost unfair for the rest of September. There's no way the rest of the finals can live up to this.
Keep this standard.
Richmond, 8 goals 4, 52. Brisbane, 7 goals 5, 47. 23 minutes. Second term. How many lead changes are we up to now, Clinchy? Anyway, hits the Tigers back in front.
They are, and certainly the clearing kick there from, I think it was Harris Andrews, just not good enough. I mean, they saw Lynch just go down like a sack of potatoes trying to get the free kick. And he brought the big Harris Andrews down, but just the pressure.
Gardner's kick, is it?
Oh, it's a Gardner?
Yes.
Yeah, Gardner's kick. Tried to be too cute.
You've got to take care of the ball. Pryor dropped that chest mark. That caused the turnover, which then caused Gardner's turnover there. Just got to be a little bit more discipline with ball in hand there, Brizzy.
I think we're up to 7 lead changes and the scores have been level 3 times.
That's what I got as well. Nankervis wins down the tap. Berry for the Brisbane Lions. Hand pass to McStay to McCluggage. Under pressure. Starcevic can't get a hand pass away. Swansea beautiful under traffic and under pressure. Hand pass to Precious. Hand pass out wide for Shea Bolton. Looks inside 50. Kick just wide of the lunging Cumberland. And now Gardner tries to lay a tackle using his leg to try and lock up Noah Cumberland. The umpire will throw it up in the left forward pocket. 45 metres out from the Tigers' goal.
On alert here, Brizzy. You've got to be on alert.
Richmond by 5 points. Nankervis tries to tap it down and then has a second go at it. Punches it into space. A chance for Pryor of the Lions up to the wing. Hipwood outmanoeuvred and Noah Bolter takes the mark and plays on.
Hand pass to Dan Rioli, 60 out, chips to Dusty. No, it's Ross, my apologies. Ross taking the mark, 50 out. Kicks long and kicks another goal for Richmond. 3 in a row for the Tigers.
What a mark from Bolter, though.
In his first final, Jack Ross kicks a goal. That's 3 in a row for Richmond, and they're out by 11 points at 9 goals 4, 58 to 7-5, 47.
How quickly as it just swung there, and you're right, Bolter, just a great one-on-one win. Read the ball in the air. Rioli, and then in Rioli's decision, he had nothing. If he had banged along, would have gone to a contest. Change his angle, look in his eyes, and just a short little kick there, roll on a nice shot on goal. But yeah, they've got to see if they get a centre bounce win here. Brizzy, get it down there into the ground.
Yeah, this will be an interesting last period in this second quarter. We've only got just under 5 minutes, boys, and I think Brisbane, they'd want to get a couple of scores here. At least look like they're going to score.
Round 20 was 15 goals to 14 at the MCG. It's 9 goals to 7 before half-time. This is an all-out shootout. Nankervis does the ruck work and the roving. Hand pass to Ross. Got it to Pickett at half-forward. Sidestepped around Wilmot. Great smother Berry. It ricochets inside the 50 for the Tigers. Bailey brought down. Revolt got him. Turns to the umpire. He'll ball it up. He did the big wind-up for a second, which got the Gabba crowd nervous.
Didn't he?
Had the sense of theatre then, the ump.
Yes. 3 goals in a row for Richmond after scores were level at quarter time. Tigers currently by 11 points. Ball up in Richmond's attacking zone. Prestia hand passes backwards. Left foot kick towards an open goal mouth from Swansea. Bounces through for a point. Neat 2 goals the diff at 9-5 to 7-5. 26 minutes played in the second term. You're hearing it all through ABC Sport on Grandstand AFL with Quentin Hull, Matt Promise, Jason Ackermanis, Zane Bojack and Matt Clinch.
Need some more flow here, Brisbane. Handball receives and kick mark and get on with it.
Rich brings the Brisbane Lions back into play. Long to the wing. Danaher flew. Can't take the mark. Zorko tried to, in fact, it was McCarthy who tried to throw a boot at it. Couldn't clear the congestion. And now Neal kicks up the wing. Hipwood can't keep it alive. He's got Noah Bolter right there with him. And a throw in just in front of the Brisbane bench on the Stanley Street side. The Tigers leading by 12 points. This is Fagan on the bench with the headphones on. Damien Hardwick up in the box.
Bit of an arm wrestle going on here. Hopefully the coaches are all over it. This will be a cracker last part of the quarter.
Thrown back in, McStay and Nankervis. Nankervis taps it to the front, trying to link up with Shea Bolton. Can't get a disposal away. Neil's hand pass picked off by Bolton. Got the hand pass away to Prestia. Outside of the boot, inside 50. Dusty's there, can't take the mark. Payne gathers. Backwards by hand to Andrews. He kicks it straight back towards left half back. Big rise from Shea Bolton. Can't take the mark. On the top of Berry. He scraps forward at ground level. A chance for the Lions through McStay to Neil. Now away to Bailey. And McCarthy just bangs it inside 50. It's a high ball to Hipwood one-on-one. It clears he and Bolter. Here's Charlie Cameron. Taps it beautifully to Hipwood. He runs towards goal and gets it through. Despite the desperate chase from Noah Bolter. All credit to Charlie Cameron there. The deft touch to set up Eric Hipwood for his third. The margin back to 6 points Richmond's way. 9-5-59 the Tigers to the Brisbane Lions. 8-5-53.
He's having some game, Eric, but the tap from Charlie, we'll be talking about that one for a while, but I was happy with the ball movement. It came through, it came in quick. There was one-on-ones. Eric and his opponent and Charlie and his opponent.
But no doubt that's what Brisbane are trying to do, aren't they? They know if they play slow, they won't score against Richmond, but playing quick, 2-on-2, and they've got some dangerous forwards, as we've seen all year. First and second highest scoring teams, both these teams, so get it inside to your forwards quickly and fast as you can, and you're going to score.
Good point.
Hipwood deep, and Danaher, well, part-time rucking with the absence of McInerney, and gee, that space there for Hipwood and Cameron to work their magic, and it's back to a goal that if Tigers in front, and that bounce has almost gone to the end of Mitch Johnson's run-up.
We've had a couple of them tonight.
That was a bit of a wobbly one. Anyway, thrown up in the middle. Nankervis over the top of McStay. Taps down to Prestia. Rush kick forward for Richmond. Revolt palms it to the advantage of Morris Jr. He's over it. He's hassled. He got the ball. He dropped the ball under the tackle of Neil. Let them play. Dived in. Does Revolt and others. And it's going to be a ball up.
Wilmot again.
Wilmot was there. He's a goer.
He's got some wheels too. He took
stoppage 55 from the goal for the Tigers.
Almost half an hour gone in this second term. Nankervis trying to link up with Cochin. Wilmot tackle, dispossessed, no whistle. The Lions through Neil, gets the hand pass out to Pryor at right half back. Kicks up towards McCarthy, he juggles the mark. Between wing and half forward, he looks inside 50, looking to try and get it to Bailey. He gathers on the skidding turf. Open goalmouth, he misses to the left. And it bounces wide of the left behind post and out of play for a throw-in. Not a bad result, but he had an unmarked goalmouth. Richmond by 6.
McCarthy didn't want to actually get it and then went, I'm here, and put the arm out, got it, and then played on. 3-on-2 then. That's a chance gone missing for the Lions.
About 2.5 minutes of playing time left in the second term. The energy has stayed up. Scores were level at quarter time. Now a goal at F to the Tigers. Boundary throw in, Brisbane in attack. Clean possession, McStay under pressure. Stolen by Richmond. Kicked clear by Sonsi from the pocket. No one really for him at right half back. It pitches and goes out of play, not far away from Zane Bojack.
Yeah, Dion Prestia is just being inspected by the doctor, waiting to see whether or not Shane Edwards has been getting up and warming up, but just waiting to see what that's going to mean.
Okay, thanks Zane. Throw in left half forward for Brisbane. Nankervis unencumbered as he gets to the tap. Taps down, looking for Cochin, tackled off it. Ball still on the deck, picked up by Brisbane. Zorko. 1-2 hand pass exchange with Berry. Zorko rushes a kick inside 50 off hands. Dan Rioli had it tackled by Hipwood. Spillage to Matheson of Brisbane. Illegal tackle from Hipwood. And Dan Rioli will get the free kick.
Oh, that's lucky. That looked pure. Got him flush too. Might have been a bit of an ear massage there, was it? No, that's a good tackle.
Oh, dear. I'll tell you what, if Cam Rayner gets time for doing that to Ben Brown, Eric Hipwood might be in a bit of strife.
There's not much in that.
But you know what I'm saying.
But look at him.
I agree with you, Jason, but you know what I'm saying. We can only work on precedents.
Oh, dear.
Dan Rioli gets to his feet. He's okay to take the kick. Long up the wing. Pack crashed. Lynch tries to knock it on to Shea Bolton. Rich gathers. He jams it on the boot. Hard against the boundary. Towards half forward, but it's too wide. And out of bounds on the full in front of Charlie Cameron and Nathan Broad. So the Tigers with 5-4 in this second quarter. After both sides booted 4-3 in the opening term. It has been an electric contest. As Broad takes the free kick at right half back. Kicks long down the Stanley Street wing. Harris Andrews reaches over, punches it away from Tom Lynch, and it goes out of play not far from where Zane Bojack's watching on.
Yeah, Shane Edwards has taken off the bib, boys. He's got his jersey on ready to go, sitting on the bench.
Yeah, I've just had the binoculars on the bench there, and Dion Prestia does look very forlorn, sitting in the back of the bench there with the doctors talking to him. So, had a lot of soft tissues this year.
At least it's a bit of a like for like. Anyway, boundary throw in Nankervis, clean possession on the wing. Hand pass to no one in particular. Stolen by Neil of Brisbane, hands it to McCluggage, gives it to Matheson, all in tight, still on the southern wing. Kick now from Matheson to half forward. Through the fingernails of Bailey of Brisbane, out the back, picked up by Short of Richmond. Hand pass to Dan Rioli, hands it to Tarrant, go back to Dan Rioli, dropped it. Tarrant cleaned up the mess and rumbled it out of play for a boundary throw in.
The pressure was hot then, boys. Whoa.
60 metres from Brisbane's goal at left half forward. A goal the difference. We've got about 75 seconds left of playing time in this first half, which has set September alight. Highly entertaining start to the final series. Nankervis wins the boundary throw-in, tap down, can't find a rover. Cameron is picked up and dumped in a solid tackle by Pickett. Oh, he meant that. Locked up and another stoppage.
No love lost there.
So Oscar McInerney out of the match. It looks like Dean Prestia is about to be as well. McStay, hand pass towards the boundary line. Pickett tries to keep it alive on half back. Got it back to Broad. Jams it on the boot. High kick around the wing. Lynch is there. Cochin as well. And it's touched over the boundary line. A throw in front of the two benches.
Zane, just to clarify the issue for Dion Prestia.
Yeah, we're still trying to work it out, Q. I don't think it's a head injury assessment. I think there is a problem. We just can't work out what exactly it is. But Edwards is on now.
So Shane Edwards, in what may be his last game of football, runs out onto the Gabba as the medi-sub for the Tigers. Throw in on the wing. Nankervis again first hand. Ground level. Men pile in. Berry among it for Brisbane. Got it out to no great effect. McCarthy has a go. Toes it to attacking 50. Bolter tries to spike it clear off the deck. Has another go. Eventually Dan Rioli picks it up. Hand pass to Ross. Tackled by McCluggage. Dropped it. Holding the ball. Free kick Hugh McCluggage. 55 out for Brisbane. Plays on quickly. Kick to Hipwood. Flew in a contest with three against him. Couldn't mark. Fisted to ground level. Zorko hand pass. Snapped on the boot towards the goal mouth. Broad there to take the mark and smash off the post as well. To take the grab.
13 seconds to go. They could have done with that one, the Lions.
So Broad from full back will kick Richmond long towards right half back. McStay spoils it away from Nankervis. Now a kick into attack. It's fielded away by Tarrant anyway. So whether or not Zorko would kick that before the siren becomes inconsequential. And we get to half-time. And Richmond lead by a goal after two scintillating quarters of attacking football at the Gabba as two teams fight for survival in 2022. Just a shot on the big... Zeno, down to you. It looks like Dion Prestia's moving okay down there as he runs to the rooms.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Q. I can't work out what, apart from maybe him being for a head injury assessment, I'm not sure, but he did come off and he just sat in the back and you thought straight away... he's off, he's done. So I can't quite give you an assessment of what it is, but he's moving okay. He just didn't look too good at the back. I just can't give you a proper description of what's wrong with him.
Well, get the news when it comes to hand. That's half-time. Repeating that scoreline, Richmond 9-5, 59 to Brisbane's 8-5, 53. After scores were locked at 4-3-27 apiece at quarter-time. Richmond kicking 5 goals to Brisbane's 4 goals to. The goal kickers for the Tigers, Bolton has 2. Singles to Martin, Ross, Revolt, Cochin, Dan Rioli, Lynch and Cumberland. While for Brisbane, Eric Hipwood has 3 goals. So as he did in the round 20 class at the MCG, Hipwood's had a very good first half against the Tigers. We wait to see what he does after half-time. But 3 for Eric, singles for Archie, McCluggage, Cameron, Bailey and Darcy Wilmot making his debut in a final, has a goal as well. And just getting official word on the Richmond social media feed, that is a hamstring injury for Dion Prestia. So he certainly ran to the race. It didn't look like his gait was overly hampered, but we've just seen a tweet from Richmond which indicates a hamstring injury has seen Dion Prestia be subbed out. A goal the diff, Matt Primus and Jason Ackermanis. Welcome to September football.
It's great to watch, isn't it, Acker? It's Brizzy have come for the fight. They've been terrific. One, or as we mentioned at quarter time, winning the contested ball, going well in stoppages, but they're playing a bit quicker. Their forwards are winning enough one-on-ones to give them good shots on goal. They're defending really hard. They're not getting opened up like they were over the last 4, 5, 6 weeks of footy, where Richmond, just as you mentioned, Acker, pre-game, the way they play, they keep giving you opportunities if you switched on. And the big question will come in the second half is, Brizzy's second halves have been horrible the last 6 weeks, second or third worst with scores against. Can they maintain the rage? Because Richmond will just keep playing the same way all game.
They will. They'll take the game on. I couldn't have said it better myself, Matty. I mean, in the end, the assessment is the tackling pressure from both teams is amazing. Like, if you ever want to see, people don't often rate the tackling ability of an Aussie rules player, but if you could see how hard and how fast they have to hit here, it's been exceptional. I think Brisbane are going well, considering Nankervis is getting his hands on the ball a lot, and the midfielders are on both teams are playing outstanding footy. Lockie Neal a bit loved not getting tagged. Their main guys are getting looks at it. Eric looks like he's up and about finally, because he's had a few really, really poor weeks. And now Joey's got to do a bit more work. Charlie looks good. They're just going to leave, and as they should, as we always expect, they're going to leave nothing else out there, both teams. It should be a cracker.
We feel like this is high scoring, and Max Lachlan, who's one of the statisticians for Fox Sports, says 17-10, 112 is the equal highest AFL finals game since Carlton-Sydney 2010 elimination final, Adelaide Bulldogs 2015. So rarely do we see coaches allow kind of this style of game, Matty, but it feels like both are happy to let's showcase our best.
Well, Richmond, they're a great team to watch because they play a unique brand of footy compared to anybody else in the competition, the way they move the ball and they just keep going at it. So Fags would have looked at it and said, okay, yeah, we're going to be strong in our certain areas, but we've actually got to take a bit of what they do, and they're trying to play quick too, which is Richmond keep on scoring, and Brizzy are going, we have to score. We can't win a 8v7 goal game. That's not going to work against Richmond. So they're opening themselves up on occasions, but they're also creating some great opportunities for them.
I was coached by a guy called Rodney Eade, and Rodney Eade would say, I don't care if we kick 151 points and they kick 150, we win. So get on with it. Play the game. Let's score. Yep. And tonight is like both coaches, let's score.
Half-time here. Richmond by a goal, 9-5-59 to Brisbane's 8-5-53. It's half-time in the National Rugby League tonight.
Yeah.
Big game between Parramatta and Melbourne.
Yep.
Eels lead the Storm 8-0. Matty, I can see you're interested in that one.
Well, I've got into my rugby since living up here. And
Rugby League. Rugby is the 15-man code.
Sorry, Rugby League. And big ramifications this, who gets a double chance wins this game. So
Yep, so that's Parramatta 8 leading Melbourne 0 at halftime. This is the last round of home and away fixtures before the National Rugby League finals start next weekend. Thanks for your messages. It's just been so frenetic. Haven't had a chance to get to your text, but we'll do our best. The number is 0437 774 774. That's 0437 774 774. G'day to Kim in Sale. This is top draw entertainment coming from the Gabba. May the strongest feline endure this final. Yeah, the big cat's going at it hard here. And speaking of cats, here's a text that says, listening to the call as I walk my dog. Great game. Looking forward to the Saturday afternoon game. Go Cats.
Where do they live? In WA? Who'd be walking their dog at this time of night? Surely they're not down the coast.
Yeah.
No chance. That would just be simple. I've actually just noticed these kids in front of us are waving at me. They're actually my mate's kids, our daughters. So Rob Brown, if you're out there, he's a comedian, funny guy, Rob Brown. Obviously the world's simplest name, Rob Brown. You couldn't stuff that up. And a great fella. Great fella.
It's only 6:40 in Perth. They're a couple of hours behind us.
I know that. That's the only place you'd be walking your dog, surely. You would not be out here in the middle of the night walking your dog.
Well, anyway, it's a nice picture to paint. Let's take a break on that. It's the Tigers by 6 points at half-time, 9-5 to 8-5. Richmond just in front of Brisbane in what's been a scintillating start to the 2022 final series. Hope you're enjoying it through ABC Sport on Grandstand AFL. We'll be back after the latest from the newsroom.
ABC News with Glenn Lauder. The Federal Treasurer says it's not feasible to bring forward proposed changes to childcare subsidies. Under the proposal, families earning less than $80,000 a year would receive a 90% subsidy for their first child from next July. The subsidy will decline as income increases Every family earning up to $530,000 would be eligible for some level of support. The government's been facing demands to bring the measure forward to help women return to work, but Jim Chalmers says it would be too much of a hit to the budget.
What's being discussed here is the difference between 1 January and 1 July. We did have a good look at bringing it in 1 January, but I've got to be conscious of the fiscal situation. My commitment to your viewers is to always be upfront about that, and that means doing what we can afford to do amongst all of the good ideas that are pitched up to us.
The Foreign Minister's calling on China to allow access to Xinjiang after a UN report found it's committing serious human rights violations. Here's Foreign Affairs reporter Stephen Jedgetz.
The long-awaited report from the UN's Human Rights Office found China's arbitrary detention of Uyghurs and other minorities and the deprivation of fundamental human rights could constitute crimes against humanity. The opposition says the government should consider imposing Magnitsky sanctions on those responsible. The Foreign Minister, Penny Wong, has called the UN report concerning and says China should grant meaningful and unfettered access to Xinjiang for experts and independent observers.
A property buyer's agent says clients are being more discerning as the latest data shows property values have declined across most capital cities and regional areas. According to CoreLogic, prices dropped 1.6% nationally in August, the biggest drop since 1983. Henry Steer works for buyers in Sydney and says she's seeing prices drop most for lower quality properties.
There's definitely a huge reduction in price compared to last year. But where we are seeing properties being hurt the most in terms of price is when they have multiple problems with the property. Negative flaws where buyers are now just not prepared to compromise and buy that property.
Victoria's government's dropped its work from home recommendation, which came into place during the COVID peak this winter. The recommendation was put in place to reduce transmission and help the public health system. The Victorian government says with case numbers now dropping, it wants to encourage people to return to workplaces. There have been 2,645 new cases in the state. Another 18 people have died. A statewide nurses' strike is continuing in New South Wales, while some nurses have returned to work to help care for patients, especially in the state's regional areas. Here's Danuta Kazaki.
Nurses from across New South Wales have walked off the job for 24 hours until tomorrow morning. Rallies were held across the state today, with one nurse in Sydney's West saying patients are suffering from a lack of staff.
Nurses are having to prioritise things that we normally wouldn't or shouldn't need to, such as, do you shower someone or do you help feed them?
A nurses' union spokeswoman says some nurses are back at work as they're committed to their patients. New South Wales Health says there are plans in place to minimise delays to patients.
Hundreds of teachers have taken part in strike action across the Northern Territory, calling on the Labor government to end a public service wage freeze. Territory Labor says the 4-year freeze is necessary to save public service jobs and prevent massive growth in the Territory's significant debt levels. The Education Union and Catherine teacher Andre Retro says the Territory needs to offer real wages growth in order to attract enough teachers from other jurisdictions.
We need a proper pay rise, and we need a pay rise that recognises that teaching the Territory is one of the hardest places to teach in Australia for various reasons, and that recognises that 90% of our teachers do come from outside of the Territory.
Heading overseas now, and a Malaysian court has found that the wife of the former Prime Minister Najib Razak is guilty of taking bribes, a week after he was jailed for 12 years for corruption. Here's Southeast Asia correspondent Anne Barker.
Malaysia's High Court has found Rosmah Mansour guilty of soliciting and receiving 3 bribes worth about $1.5 million in exchange for the granting of government contracts for a solar power project in rural schools. The contract was granted while her husband was in power. Rosmah Mansour pleaded not guilty. The charges carry penalties of up to 20 years in jail and a fine of at least 5 times the amount of the bribe, though she could seek a stay on sentencing and remain on bail until she's exhausted appeals to the higher courts.
You've been listening to the latest ABC News.
The current has drawn her home.
Clean slate, as far as I'm concerned.
But in new ABC drama, Savage River...
Do you think coming here's a good idea?
It runs deeper than she imagined.
You took my door from me.
Who are you going to kill next, huh?
Has anyone seen my dad since yesterday?
Starring Golden Globe nominee Catherine Langford.
I just want to live my life like everyone else, that's all.
And you shouldn't let anyone take that away from you.
Savage River.
What kind of evil are you?
Starts Sunday, September 4 on ABC TV and streaming on ABC iView.
The 2022 AFL Finals.
Grandstand AFL.
On ABC Radio and ABC Sport Digital.
Swansea to take the free kick at right half forward, still 2 kicks out from goal. This impressive youngster for the Tigers kicks to the pocket. Up goes Cumberland, can't take the mark. Bolton kicks it alive, right forward pocket, gets to the goal square just to finish with his left. How quick was that?
Nankervis got first hand, but rode by McStay of Brisbane. Hand pass to Berry. Burst clear, advantage side of the pack. Deep kick to Cameron out the back. Got a hand, late arriving spoil from Brewer, but Cameron runs home front and snaps a goal to put Brisbane back in front.
Cotchin over the top of the footy. Got the hand pass away from Dev Robinson, but Zorko slides in. Wins it for Brisbane. Wobbling kick inside 50. Hipwood underneath it. Bailey runs onto it. It opens up in front of him. Into the goal mouth and bangs it through. Bailey and McCarthy just bangs it inside 50. It's a high ball to Hipwood one-on-one. It clears he and Bolter. Here's Charlie Cameron. Pats it beautifully to Hipwood. He runs towards goal and gets it through.
The 2022 AFL Finals.
On ABC Radio and ABC Sport Digital.
A stunning day in the Queensland capital to welcome spring, welcome September, welcome the finals, and the two teams have certainly played their part in the first half. Welcome back to the Brisbane Cricket Ground. My name is Quentin Hull. You're listening to the national broadcaster ABC Sport for the first game of the AFL Finals in 2022, and Richmond lead Brisbane by a goal, 9-5-59 to 8-5-53. We're at half-time. At quarter-time, scores were locked at 4-3-27 apiece. Both teams have already had to use their injury sub, with Oscar McInerney taking a facial knock in the opening minutes of the game. So Calamar Cheese basically played all bar the first 5 minutes of the game. And a concerning sight for Tigers fans right on half-time. Dion Prestia jogging down the race. He looked okay with his movement, but has been subbed out with a hamstring injury. So the veteran, retiring veteran at that, Shane Edwards, has been injected into the game for the Tigers. Shea Bolton with a couple of goals for Richmond. Eric Hipwood with 3 goals for Brisbane. It's been a very attacking game, and the fans, packed at a sold-out Gabba, have been, no doubt, entertained through the first half of it. We'd love to hear from you throughout the rest of the broadcast. The text line number to get in touch is 0437 774 774. That's 0437 774 774. G'day to Peter, who texts, not walking the dog in Ballarat. He says, Prestia out a big blow for the Tigers. He dragged them back into it as Brisbane were getting on top. Martin on the bench a lot. If they're nursing him through, then Brisbane might have the legs late. Great game. Text Peter. Yeah, we agree wholeheartedly. 0437 774 774 on the scoreboard. It's a goal to diff. Let's break down the stats with Matt Clinch.
Well, Lockie Neal leads the way with 21 disposals in the match. He's had 9 clearances and a couple of tackles. Dan McStay with 13, Hugh McCluggage with 13 and Dane Zorko with 12. Tyler Sonsi leads the way for the Tigers with 15 disposals. Dan Riello with 13, Ross with 13 and Prestia subbed out of the match with 12 disposals and 6 clearances. The disposals the way of the Brisbane Lions, 186 to 173. The marks the way of the Tigers, 44 to 26. The contested marks the way of the Tigers, 8 to 2. And the clearances the way of the Brisbane Lions, 23 to 21. And 9 centre bounce clearances to 6 the way of the Tigers. Inside 50s, 33 apiece. So it sort of poses the question, Acker and Matty Primus, how much of a loss is Dion Prestia going to be? We know that's not a strength of Richmond's game, their centre clearance. So guys like Lockie Neal will be rubbing their hands together and thinking, well, here's a chance to really expose the Tigers in this area of the game.
Well, Matty, they've got the ruck advantage, though.
Yes, they have. And I wrote down some notes. I reckon Richmond are as good as anybody at covering good players. Now, you always want your best players out there, but they've just been terrific. Look, this year they haven't had Martin, they haven't had Prestia for big stints of the game. They find ways and other players have bobbed up. So it'd be interesting to see what they do, because I thought Dev Robinson had done a pretty good job tagging Dion. You know, he's had 12 touches, not great efficiency, but what Dion's had is 6 clearances, 4 of them have been centre bounces, and he's had 5 inside 50. So he's been strong in a game where Richmond have taken it to Brisbane. So will they throw more of Bolton in there? It gives them that X factor and the speed and the breakaway, or will Edwards play in there?
Short will play in there.
Short will play more in there. Cotchin's got to step up a little bit more. So it'll be interesting to see how they feel that. And the other bigger question is, for me, Brisbane's second half. they're aware of it. They've been asked about it and everyone's talking about it. Richmond, no doubt, would have been aware of it at half-time. This team fall away in second half. So let's keep putting the pressure on them, and they can't go this hectic style of pace, where Brisbane would be thrilled to bits with their style of play. So a really intriguing second half coming up.
I wouldn't have thought that this is a game where all that stuff, the last month, forget about it. There's no form guide for this. There's no tomorrow.
Yeah.
There's no other way to play this game. It's played. I just ran into Brian Taylor, BT, on the way in, and I said, how good's this game? He goes, finally they're scoring again, and I'm loving it. So we're all seeing, I could hear the guys out there from the AFL and the Champion Data boys. They're like, how good's this? This is an unbelievable game. So everyone in the stadium, us in the commentary box, but even next door, they don't really care about the game, some of those stats guys, they're excited. So it is a ripper. So if it continues, this should go down to the wire. I think Brisbane are not, they're not going to shy away, and they're not going to stop coming.
Who does it suit? If both coaches keep rolling the dice, if both teams keep taking it on, Matt, Jason, who do you think it's going to suit across 4 quarters?
It suits Richmond because that's the style of footy they play. They create a lot of intercepts. They love playing fast and quick and putting you under pressure, where Brisbane tonight have been terrific at that, but that's not normally the way they play. They go in patches, but that's not normally how they sustain their footy over 4 quarters. So I think it suits Richmond, but look, this Prestige is going to be a big out for them, and you know, as Aka said, they've come for, hey, form is out the window to an extent. This is our last hurrah. We lose, we're out. Let's keep charging along and let's keep taking the gum. Rather die knowing what you've done rather than second-guessing yourself in an hour's time.
I would have thought that Brisbane will so much more enjoying this type of game compared to the last game they played.
Their forwards are, Aka.
Forwards would be absolutely, they would be
loving
salivating.
It. Yep.
They've got a chance, one-on-one. It's coming in quick. It's everything you ever wanted as a forward, particularly your speedy, dangerous forwards. McCarthy as well, who hasn't really hit the scoreboard the way I think he can in this second half. And the other one's Zach Bailey. He's one of my favourites because he's so speedy. But what I've noticed, Q, is that Brisbane have changed their centre square more often in this game than they did probably the last 6 weeks. They have mixed it up. There's different types in there, different speed, different skills sets. So it's quite enjoyable to watch.
And you expect the key forwards to kind of dominate, but it's been the small forwards given the pace of the game. That great setup from Charlie Cameron that resulted in the goal. There's been Maurice Rioli Jr. with rundown tackles. Just barely a moment to get a word in between goals.
Richmond have gone the big guns. Bolton, Cochin, Martin to start their centre bounce.
And McCluggage, along with Dev Robertson and Neil underneath McStay. Is this the first time we've seen Dusty at a centre bounce?
Yeah.
This game? What a way to start the second half with the 3-time Norm Smith medalist in the coalface.
So McStay to resume his battle against Nankervis, and Nankervis wins down the tap. Martin can't take it. McCluggage over the footy. A chance for Sonsi. Lost it, and Neil emerges with it for the Lions. Back to centre half back to Coleman, who kicks along. Cameron sported away from Vlosten, and now Hipwood trying to get a hand pass away as he's tackled by Broad. Dev Robinson, hand pass missed Charlie Cameron. He links up with Mitch Robinson. High kick inside the 50, looking towards McCarthy. He spoils it down in the end. Vlosten under enormous pressure. Hipwood tries to knock it to McCarthy, and McCluggage just inside 50. And that's where the umpire will say, righto, I'll ball it up, 45 out from the Lions' goal.
They'll go in deep too, so they're getting more pace to that forward line.
Ball up, Nankervis. Well, got a tap, then McStay clutched it to his chest. The ruckman tangle, play on it, spews out to Neil. Hand pass ineffective, still on the 50-metre arc. Coleman applies a tackle for Brisbane to lock up Baker. And we'll see it tossed in the air again. Ball thrown up. Nankervis taps down looking for McIntosh. Couldn't gather. McStay hassled by McIntosh. Ball still on the deck. Edwards with a hand pass out. Got it to Nankervis, and the Tigers will clear from half back. Hand passes to Pickett. Pickett's kick on the head of Martin at half forward. Stolen up. Scored away by Gardner of Brisbane. Roved by Berry. Hand pass to the wing for Starcevic. Kick to half forward. Marked by McStay. 55 out. Kick is smothered in board though by Vlosten. Picked up by Dan Rioli at D50 for the Tigers. His clearing kick to the wing. Marked on the chest of Pickett.
Lynch Andrews, 1-on-1 ahead of the ball.
Yeah, Dusty's calling it. Go long.
Pickett looks towards Tom Lynch, sends it towards he and Harris Andrews. Andrews reaches over, gets a fist to it, and spoils it out of play. So Dustin Martin just competed in the centre bounce and then pushed forward. Darcy Gardner with him for company.
That's the Dusty rule. Do whatever you want, wherever you start. Just get forward and kick a goal.
Shea Bolton is up around the footy, so it'll be interesting to see his endurance with Starcevic for company at the moment. Thrown back in. Nankervis against McStay. McStay knocks it down and then got it to the advantage of Dev Robinson. He's tackled by Big Nank. Ball spills clear. Unable to pick it up was Pickett. McCluggage has a go for the Lions. Space opens up in front of him. Hand pass inboard to Bailey, to Neal. Through traffic, needs support. Hand pass out wide to McCarthy. Great sidestep. Got around Danriolan. Kicks inside 50. Danaher back with the flight. Can't take the mark. As Broad reaches over and spoils it out of play. Had Robbie Tarrant in front. A two tangle. Argument that Joe Danaher thought he got a push. Umpire didn't agree. A throw in the left forward pocket for the Lions. Richmond by 6 points.
That's where their spare is, Q.
Yeah, even on the quick release, Richmond had 4 on 2. Yeah. So that's why McCarthy had to go wide to the pocket for Danaher there. Boundary throw in Danaher and Nankervis. Rode by Zorko, got it to his boot. Kick won't have the journey. Pitches in the goal mouth. Floston there. Won it and immediately gang tackled by McCarthy and Coleman. And Cameron, ball up.
Excited down there, the crowd. This will go. This will be loud if we can get a roll on here, the line.
This is where both teams have been scoring, either out of the stoppage or a hack kick out and they score off the intercept.
Ball up top of the goal mouth for Brisbane. Nankervis first hand, taps boundary side. McIntosh does the roving. His kick, a grubber towards defensive 50. Rich there for Brisbane. Taps it to the advantage of Payne under pressure. Shoveled it to Robinson. That's Mitch with the kick from 60. Hold on.
Free kick to Rich. Steady Rich.
Okay, well, watch out. Watch out.
Could have a shot here.
Have a shot or top of the square? What will he do?
Oh, look, remember when Bam Bam came out of the West and said, this kid, he's got a rocket of a left boot.
Yep.
And the Gabba fans, they know it.
Yeah.
Man on the mark's 50 out and Dan reaches it. Right half forward will have to launch 55. He's not far from the boundary as well.
Right near the Richmond faithful over there.
This to level the scores early in the third term. Rich rifles that left boot. It's high. It's right to the goal line and punched through for a point by Tarrant leaping there with Danaher. Richmond by 5 at 9-5, 59 to 8-6, 54.
Tigers quickly back into play. Nick Flostone into short. He looks up to the wing. Martin and Gardner. Gardner with a shove. Takes the mark. Looks inboard to the corridor. Quickly moves it to McCluggage by foot. He can come into the centre square of the Gabba and Zorko takes the mark. Short passes the offer for the Brisbane Lions at the moment. Into the centre square for McStay. Just to the right of the two centre circles. And now to Rich. Now looks to go long with that lethal left boot. And how's that for a kick? Spotted Link McCarthy all on his own in the right forward pocket. And he hugs the mark to his chest.
That almost went further than the kick for goal. And it went about 3 feet off the ground. What a kick from Danny Rich. Out the back. McCarthy. Outrageous. Good vision. And they're coming through the middle with a couple of shorts. They're still breaking it up, Brisbane, but then got out the back as they do Richmond. They give you a chance.
Yep.
Just the 5 disposals for Link McCarthy. He's out to the right. He'll kick from about 40 metres out. He doesn't need a lot of the footy to have an impact. Slow in his approach to put Brisbane back in front. McCarthy straight through the middle. The Gabba erupts. Hang on to your hats. The shootout's continuing. Brisbane by a point. 9-6-60 to the Tigers, 9-5-59. 5 minutes gone. Third term on ABC Sports. Zane Bojack on the boundary.
Yeah, guys, Jared Berry came out with his hamstring strapped after half-time, and he's had it cut now by the bandages, that is, by the doctor, and he's jumped onto the exercise bike. I don't know whether he's struggling, but I'll wait and see how he's going, but he's coming back onto the bench. Hopefully he's going to be okay to come back on.
Well, he was subbed out in the game against the D's, Jared Berry, so I think he's managing something, that's for sure.
Yeah, he wouldn't miss this one. But then again, I did say at half-time, Nick McCartney's going to kick a couple this quarter. He's too good not to.
Yeah, they needed a Brizzy 6-1 inside 50s to start the third quarter.
One of the best inside 50 deliveries we've seen of the year from Dan Rich. That was sublime football. Centre bounce, Brisbane in front by a point. Nankervis first hand, but roving is Neal for Brisbane. Got it to his boot. Deep entry for the Lions. Danaher flies in a pack first hand, couldn't mark. Floston Roves tackled, got a hand pass clear just. Hacked off the ground by Baker of Richmond, but straight back to Neal. Marks it for Brisbane, 55 out. Deep kick towards the goal mouth. Danaher too early on Tarrant, free kick. Crowd's oohing and ahhing because Jackson Pryor's had a shot and hit the post, but Robbie Tarrant was absolutely sat on by Joe Danaher before the Sherrin arrived. Free kick for the Tigers defender at fullback.
Brisbane with 5-2 clearances in the opening stages of this third quarter. Now, Bolter was trying to veer around. It was Tarrant, in fact. Is the kick coming back? No, it's not. So it dribbles inside 50 for the Lions. Hipwood tries to knock it to a teammate's advantage. Dusty working in the defensive half. Hand pass too slick in the end. And now a challenge as Hipwood's over the top, trying to lock it inside the Brisbane forward 50.
You'd be happy with that, wouldn't you?
Bit of their own medicine back there.
Yeah.
Richmond defenders.
Thrown up the Lions deep in attack. Nankervis reaches up, wins down the tap. Hipwood onto it. 50 out, kicks the space in the right forward pocket. It pitches on its point, bounces out in front of Cumberland, who's first back to it. Couldn't take it cleanly. Bailey gathers, dribbles it around the boundary line. Archie with a shove, and the non-officiant umpire eventually pays the free kick.
Yeah.
McCarthy fires on goal. Surely that's going to be 50.
No, they can't hear it down there.
It's a push.
The umpire knows it.
And McCarthy couldn't hear the whistle. It's going to be Baker's free kick, and now it'll be Baker's 50.
It's 50.
Are they giving him 50? Yep. So from the left back pocket.
Where's that sound meter? How does this rank in terms of sound noise?
It's always been a really good venue for good noise, Clinchy, and it's humming tonight, that's for sure. Baker marched to half back, chips it wide where Tarrant takes the grab for the Tigers. Forward of half back, but yet to get to the wing, Robbie Tarrant. With his right boot, a long kick towards half forward, leading out Lynch. One clunk mark despite Andrews being on his hammer. Beautiful grab from Tom Lynch, and it was his second half, among other things, that saw the Tigers come from that 42-point deficit and win 4 or 5 weeks ago at the G. 60 out. Lynch kicks Richmond to full forward. McStay first to it to spoil for Brisbane. He tapped it down, though, to the front of the pack. Snapping McIntosh for the Tigers. He's kicked a goal. Richmond's back in front. Camden McIntosh roved the tap of Ross and snaps truly from 30 metres out. Tigers back out by 5 at 10-5, 65 to 9-6, 60.
Oh, you love that when you kick it off the boot. It's so bad, it swings left, then goes back right through the goals. That's how you know it's not a bad way to get a goal. Great goal. But in the end, McStay probably could have taken that mark. And in the end, the boot it went forward, handball over, and a good goal from McIntosh.
Zane Bojack.
Oh, Jack Riewoldt just getting fingers put back. Oh, I feel sorry for him. He was wincing.
Dislocated digits.
He did indeed.
Ouch.
Yeah, they hurt. They hurt for just months and months. They'll hurt till winter next year.
That hurts as much as that goal. It's their first inside 50.
I was about to say, yeah, Brisbane with 7 inside 50s to start the quarter. The Tigers were there first. They're able to kick a goal. Here's Neil. Another clearance of him for the Brisbane Lions. Kicks to McCluggage. From the top of the centre square, leads into the middle of the ground and takes the mark. Hand pass to Mitch Robinson, trying to get around Dan Rioli on the mark. Hand pass out wide to Neil. 55 from home. Side sets Shea Bolton, kicks inside 50. McStay. Not sure if it was exactly 15, but the umpire has paid the mark. And Dan McStay thrown into the ruck. All of a sudden, a chance to kick a goal for the Lions and put them back in front.
Lockie Neal, he's ripping them apart here. I don't know how many touches he had, but he's had 3 centre bounce clearances and getting the ball down Brisbane's end of the ground.
He's up to 28 already.
Oh, if they had Brownlow votes tonight, he'd be getting them. But I tell you, that is nearly made a meal of that, Brisbane.
22 goals, 11 for Dan McStay. Directly in front, just inside 50, goes bang! And the Lions are able to capitalise on their dominance to start this third term. Brisbane back in front by a point. Dan McStay with his first of the match. 10-6, 66 to the Tigers, 10-5, 65. 21 minutes gone, third term.
And Lockie Neal has had 11 more possessions than the next most prolific ball winner on the ground. He's had 28. McStay's next with 17, and then Sonsie leads the way with 15 for Richmond. But you're right, Matt, the numbers, it's been an unbelievable performance from Lockie Neal so far.
It has been. Richmond don't normally care because they don't overpossess the ball, so they don't get worried about numbers, but he's doing some damage here with his centre bounce clearances here. Be interested to see if Richmond do anything about it.
5 centre bounce clearances, 5 inside 50s as well for Neal. as Brisbane go in front by a point, and the Lions chant starts at the Gabba. Wobbly bounce up, lets it go. It favoured Nankervis, pushed off it by Danaher. He lost the ball under pressure. Dev Robertson pushed off it. Picked up by Martin of Richmond, hand pass to Cochin, kick inside 50. Lynch! It took a split second for the old firm to combine in the middle, and Tom Lynch on the lead marks 40 out straight in front.
And I just had the binoculars on Neil, the centre bounce, and short was all he was worried about was where Neil was. He didn't worry about winning the ball, which is completely un-Richmond-like. So the message has come out, let's quell his influence for the next 5 or 10 minutes.
He's certainly standing over there near short, but that is a ripping kick out in front. Lynch did have nothing.
It was
on Harris Andrews. He was right up
He's beaten him all night, Harris Andrews, but Lynch has won important one-on-ones the last two, hasn't he?
Yeah, definitely.
This to put the Tigers back in front in this amazing seesawing contest. Lynch straight in front, man on the mark, 40 out. Lynch with his right boot strikes as purely as he'd like. I tell you what, the change of lead here, it's almost like the tide goes in, the tide goes out. Richmond lead, Brisbane lead.
What's that, 2 inside 50s, I think, for this quarter, Richmond, and they kicked 2 goals. That'd be disappointing. No, it can't last.
You're right. 2 inside 50s for 2 goals. Richmond, 11-5-71. Brisbane, 10-6-66. Zane?
Yeah, Jared Berry's going to come back onto the field, so he must have been able to solve that issue. They've done a lot of massaging of those hamstrings, but he's about to come on for Dane Zorko.
You're right. Brisbane, you've got to understand that can't last. Richmond need lots of inside 50s. They've just got to keep playing this method here, and that scoring will dry up, and they'll keep giving themselves great opportunities the other end. But Richmond, geez, they're hanging on well.
Oh, they're right. It's a great game.
Matt Primus and Jason Ackermanis with you, locking in with 7 disposals in this third term. High bounce in which Danaher went early, gave away the free kick, and Miller will get Richmond's way in the middle of the Gabba.
You've got to look at the ball, Joey.
Yep.
You cannot look at the man and jump on top of him.
It has allowed Brisbane to push numbers back, waiting a while for the footy to be returned to him. Short to Noah Bolter, who heads out to the Stanley Street side, and Tarrant takes the mark. Tigers by 5 points. Looks long inside the 50. Sends it towards Jack, who came charging out. Revolt couldn't take the mark, and off hands it goes out of play in the left forward pocket. Just their third inside 50 through the opening 14 minutes. They kicked 2 goals, as is Brisbane through their 8 inside 50s.
Prestia out with a hammy. McInerney out with concussion. Both subs are in. Boundary throw in. Richmond's attacking 50. Went to the foot of the pack. Towed off the deck by Berry. Clearing kick by Coleman of Brisbane. Out towards the wing. Hipwood, half a chance for Brisbane. Hassled off it. Dropped it under the pressure of Gibcus. Neil arrives once again to win the ball tellingly for Brisbane. Kicked too hard for McCluggage. Went through his fingers. Picked up by short of the Tigers. Rush kick towards half forward. Pitches beyond Payne and also Revolt to the pocket. Revolt first to gather. Hand pass infield. No one there except for Danaher of Brisbane. He's at full back and kicks it to Pryor.
What a kick.
Takes the mark just forward of the pocket. And will run on to left half back. Pryor's kick for Brisbane. Misses McCluggage by a postcode. Picked up by Baker near the boundary for the Tigers. Hand pass to Ross. Tackled by Pryor. Slung over the boundary line. Throw it in.
Well, the umpire nearly paid on the ball there too. Good pressure, but again, finally the Lions defence is able to repel a couple of forward inside 50s.
Tigers by 5 points. Over 10 lead changes so far in this match. It's never got out more than 12 points. Miller wins down the tap. Comes away of the Tigers, but there's no room to move as Edwards is tackled. Tries to sock it off the deck. It ricochets towards half forward. Short sockers it inside 50. Every millimetre works. Martin trying to run onto it. Gardner right there with him, making sure he has no room to move and shoves him and the ball out of play in the right forward pocket.
You know, the score worm that you see, it's like a cardiogram. It's just like a heartbeat.
Yep.
Yes. One peak at the top, another peak down the bottom, and it's been like that throughout. Such has been the seesawing nature of the lead in this pulsating contest. 16 minutes third term. Tigers in front by 5 points. Boundary throw in with Richmond in a tap. Ruckman spike it back towards the line and Dev Robertson can't keep it in.
It's been great to see Richmond. They've slowed the game down a little bit the last couple of minutes just to get territory and take some energy out of Brisbane's the crowd and also their game.
I think you'd be happy with your heart reading if it was like that, let me tell you. It's very nice.
Strong pulse, Saka?
Yeah, the doctor would be wrapped. He'd be like, off you go.
Half forward for Richmond, throw in whistle in the contest against Miller. Going to, no, it's away from the rucks. It's Wilmot at the side of the contest, the first game they're getting a free kick.
Hand pass around the back to Danaher. His kick is smothered. It spills to Cumberland. He kicks off the outside of the boot, looking for Morris Rioli Jr. Gathers against the right behind post. Got around Coleman. Superb sidestep. There's no stopping Morris. And Brisbane miss an opportunity to prevent the Tigers score, and Richmond all of a sudden back out by 11 points. 12-5-77 to the Lions 10-6-66. Some people call him Morris, but you can't stop the fast feet.
Outrageous. What a break. And before we go down to the boundary, the Brisbane defenders all went over to the first game, and Wilmot just said, mate, just slow it down. You don't have to give it to Joey. Just slow it down. We'll get it out of here. You don't have to do that.
Zane?
I tell you what, you said before, Q, that I'm surrounded by yellow and black. They went absolutely troppo when Rioli just kicked that goal. What an absolute ripper.
Kadeen Coleman is one of the most agile and swift-moving players in the AFL.
Had him cold.
And Morris made him look like a fool there.
Yep.
Jeez, he's agile and quick.
Tigers by 11 points at 12-5-77 to 10-6-66. Centre bounce. Dev Robertson crashes through for Brisbane, got a hand pass to McStay. High clearing ball for the Lions towards half forward. Baker fists it away from Archie. Getting to the drop is Dan Rioli for Richmond. Hand pass not great. Tapped by Brisbane's Mitch Robinson to Pryor from 50. Kick to the goal mouth. Didn't get to the full forward in Hipwood, leaving his man Bolter, was it? And it smashed through for a point. Well, Gibcus had a chance to mark. Fired up with Bolter in support. Rush behind. 10 the difference at 77 to 67.
Gibcus brings the Tigers back into play, laces out Dustin Martin, who leads to half-back, trying to get more involved in this game, puts it out in front of Lynch. He dropped the mark, now has Harris Andrews to deal with. He toe pokes it into the pocket, and it trickles out of play eventually, spinning on its side. Andrews wants insufficient intent. The umpire says throw it in.
Good decision.
I failed to mention it's Morris Rioli Jr.'s birthday today, his 20th birthday. Where else would you want to be but on the Gabba in front of a sold-out crowd?
And he's the one giving gifts to us with that type of footy.
That's right. Thrown back into play, Miller and McStay. Miller knocks it to the front. Kadeen Coleman gathers, bangs it towards half-back. Lynch is underneath the high ball. He eventually takes the mark. Like a fielder down at fine leg. Held it long enough inboard to Baker.
60 out at right half forward for Richmond. Tigers having kicked 3 goals to 2 in this term. Baker just sets it on the head of the pack at full forward. Revolt, big fly, got a hand, couldn't mark. Roving, though, is Miller. Hand pass to Martin, gave it back to Miller. Hand pass intercepted by Brisbane's Robertson. Kicked off the deck by the Brisbane defence. Stolen by Short, 40 out. Rush, kick to the goal mouth. And off hands over the boundary line for a throw-in next to the behind post.
Oh, Gardner got cleaned up. Friendly fire, too. It was one of his teammates just came through, and Dusty Martin just missed that big collision, and he got absolutely flummoxed. He was on his back straight away.
Approaching time on third term. Richmond by 10 points and in attack. Throw in. Miller got the first hand. Not an effective tap. Roved by Berry of Brisbane will kick the Lions out of trouble. Long kick to the southern wing. Hipwood's got 3 to beat. It goes beyond the pack. Floston first to recover. Won the ball. Slid over the boundary line. And that's okay according to the ump. Boundary throw in to southern wing. On the outer side, Richmond 12-5-77 to Brisbane's 10-7-67. You're hearing finals footy through ABC Sport on Grandstand AFL.
Thrown back into play. Miller in front position. McStay tries to drop it down to Berry. Dev Robinson's there as well. Gathering it as Ross for the Tigers. Hand pass to Shea Bolton. Kicks around the boundary line. It bounces in front of Morris Rioli Jr. This time, Coleman gets him and makes sure he knows about it as well as he tackles him out of play.
He wasn't missing that tackle. But Berry didn't look that bad. He's running it. I don't know hamstring's that bad.
Done a great job here, Richmond, just to slow down the game, as I mentioned before, and get control back their way. Now the inside 50's 9-7 Brisbane's favour.
Both sides have used their substitution. Oscar McInerney out in the first 2 minutes, and Dion Prestia as Starcevic is tackled. To try and drop it onto his booty. Didn't in the eyes of the umpire, and the free kick will go the way of the Tigers, and Trent Cotchin has it left half forward. Has kicked a goal already. Kicks to Cumberland. Just can't complete the mark. Lynch front and centre to Rioli. Hand pass to Short. That's Morris Rioli. He links up with Nankervis. Standing start. Left forward pocket. He doesn't quite have the journey. Unusual as Pryor takes the mark. Against the behind line, goes short to Matheson in the left back pocket for the Lions.
Got to go quick here, get it out of back 50.
Goes back to Pryor, Matt, who's going to hold it up at D50. left half back for Brisbane. Jackson Pryor kicks across the face of goal. The Brisbane is defending for Jack Payne.
They're out here.
Takes the grab, and there's a long kick from Payne to the wing, looking for Berry. Late arriving spoil from Pickett, brings it to ground level, roving down Curviscape. Back to Pickett, great tackle, Coleman. Oh, he's been stung by the Morris goal. He's made a great tackle there. Brisbane play onto advantage, kick the half forward, looking for Neil, stolen by Floston. Richmond's ball at left half back. Hand pass to Ross. Ross kicks to the wing, and the great Sticky Dukes mark taken by Revolt, leading up to halfway. Gets to his feet, Revolt. Kicks the Tigers to half forward. And there's Morris Jr. marking 60 from goal for Richmond. Kicks in field. Marked by Ross, who holds it up for a moment. 60 out. Spearing ball to the pocket. And Alina Lynch. Sticky Dukes above his head. Takes the mark, 30 out.
There's nothing he could have done about that, Harris Andrews. That play on rule really helped him. All he had to do was just shuffle a little bit forward and get a couple of quick steps, and that kick was just too good.
Velocity spoil there. Brizzy were out there, and he just worked his backside off to get a hand in, and then able to win the ball to start the counter-attack here. And a great kick by Rewalt to Lynch.
So close at either end.
Yep.
Is the elastic band starting to break? We have not had a lead of more than 2 goals in the game. If Lynch kicks this, it's a 16-point lead. Close to three-quarter time, slide angle, 40 out, he's nailed it. 3 for Tiger Tom. And the Tigers, 13 goals, 583. Lead the locals, 10-7, 67. 23 minutes third term, Zane Bojack on the boundary.
Oh, what a great kick there by Tommy Lynch. Is that the hammer blow? Boys, Brandon Starcevich, he was on the ground for a long time, and he actually couldn't get to that contest, and he was almost like a witch's hat at one stage. He just tried to get his breath back down. He must have been down for at least 2 or 3 minutes, I reckon, before he finally got up. I'm surprised he didn't come off.
Matt Primus, Jason Ackermanis.
Well, just terrific. I love the way they settled. So Neil was on fire. They've gone to Neil. It's been a couple of guys just go to him and pay him attention. He's had one possession since they've gone to him and paid him a bit more respect. And then they've dominated with ball in hand, and their inside 50s are now going through the roof, and they're scoring at will. Just a real mature performance here by Richmond the last 10 or 12 minutes.
Game of momentum too. Brisbane on top, now Richmond on top.
And the second halves now, this is when the doubts start to keep in Brizzy's mind.
Out to 16 points, biggest lead in the match. Nankervis wins down the tap for the Tigers. Neil tries to get on the end of it. Nank links up with Cochin, just jammed her his boot, but Wilmot takes the mark. The debutant for the Brisbane Lions, 35 metres out from his defensive goal. He's already kicked a goal in the match. Goes short. Mark taken by Zorko. Works it straight through the middle of the Gabba as Dan Rich marks. At the back edge of the centre square. Can go back to Zorko. Short option's the way to get through Richmond's defence. He goes for McStay, couldn't take the mark, and Morris Rioli Jr.'s onto it. That's a problem. He gathers, takes a bounce, kicks for Lynch, it's over his head. Harris Andrews gets a fist to it, then races back after it in the left back pocket. It stays in play. He gathers, kicks towards Kadeen Coleman. He marks it left half back. Tigers by 16.
Brizzy got to get handball receives off these.
Sorry, mate, 50 metres.
They've got to get handball receives. They're going back to kick mark, which they weren't doing in the first half. They've got to play a little bit quicker.
Definitely. Kitty get to 50. That's the shortest 50 in Australia.
Number 38 with the 38th parallel infringement. Coleman walked to the wing. Kicks Brisbane into attack. Fisted away by Tarrant. Ball still in the attacking zone for Brisbane. Pickett had it tackled by Berry. Lost it, got it back. Hand pass stolen though by Dev Robertson of Brisbane. Hand pass to the pocket for Cameron. He tries to sizzle. He tries to take. Cameron kicks a much-needed goal for Brisbane. Running along the boundary, past the behind post, along the goal line, and a banana to finish. 10 the diff. Charlie's got 2. Richmond 13-5, 83. Brisbane 11-7, 73.
The brothers are having a night and a half.
West Virginia.
It's from everywhere.
If you don't have speed, this is not the game for you, is it?
No, it isn't. And both forward 50s, their smalls, have made some of their direct opponents pay, haven't they, Clinchy, with the attack and the speed and the harassment on them. And great response. Brizzy needed that because, as you mentioned, Q, that the bam was about to snap. It felt like that, didn't it? But that's a great answer back by Brizzy.
Sort of feels like both coaches have sort of encouraged their small forwards, take the game on, you're probably not going to be caught. And Morris Rioli Jr. at one end, Charlie Cameron at the other. Jesus, exciting to watch. It's hard to keep on top of it all.
Oh, Shady's got to be a loser.
Bounce in the middle. Nankervis tries to take it out of the ruck. Kicks out towards the wing. McIntosh done underneath it illegally by Berry.
That is not a free kick.
Soft. Yeah, soft.
That is just protecting your ball space area.
Not a lot in it. Camden McIntosh takes it on the Vulture Street wing. Bangs it long towards Lynch in a wrestle. Over the top, Payne fists it towards the boundary line. And it rolls out in front of Gardner and Morris Rioli Jr. Boundary throw in the right forward pocket for the Tigers. They lead by 10 points. 27 minutes gone, third term.
He's Matt Clinch. I'm Quentin Hull, Matt Primus, Jason Ackermanis, your analysts. Zane Bojack on the boundary. ABC Sport at a pulsating Gabba to start the finals. Boundary throwing. Clean possession. Nankervis onto his left boot. Just hooked it. Just hooked it, Big Nank, for a point.
Oh, it's a coach killer.
13-6, 84 to 11-7, 73. Tigers by 11. As Nankervis' left foot snap just missed to the near side.
Decided enough of this. No full-time rucks. I'm going to try and take advantage. Almost did there as Rich goes short to the pocket for the kick in. And the mark's taken by Zorko. Called to play on. Hugs the boundary line with a kick which finds Harris Andrews.
He's allowed the ball in Zorko's hands. He just hardly misses a beat.
Short to Rich once more. Still inside the defensive 50. 27 minutes gone, third term, but there's still longer than you'd think to get to three-quarter time.
Almost 4 minutes of playing time, Clinchy.
And Rich, who likes to be dangerous with his left foot, kicks up towards half-back. Up was McCarthy, dragged down, no whistle. Noah Bolter inside 50. McCluggage getting back. Takes the mark in front of Morris Rioli Jr. He's still 40 metres out from his defensive goal, though, so still the same challenge.
McCluggage kicks out towards the southern wing. Pickett intercepts. McCarthy was the target. It wasn't a great kick. Pickett's got it for the Tigers. Chips it over the man on the mark. Vlosten ran hard from defence to present. Takes a mark hard on the boundary at left half forward, 60 out. Kicks infield to an unmarked Baker. First time we're starting to see a few players unmarked, Matt and Jace. This pace is starting to tell.
Yeah, they're getting a few numbers back, Brisbane, to try and protect Lynch and Rewalt.
Baker deep to full forward. Rewalt to the front of the pack, through his fingers. Ground level, Berry has it for Brisbane. Tackled low and high. Ump says no free kick, ball up. It was Rioli and Rewalt in the double clamp on Jared Berry. He was unlucky not to get a free kick.
Oh, that was a free kick.
With Jack going high.
We've had a stinking couple of minutes, the umpires.
Ball up, Martin trying to crash through. Gardner makes the tackle. Neutral, will do it again, 20 metres from the Tigers' goal.
Dangerous spot, 20 metres right out directly in front here. Got to be on guard. Brisbane's defenders and on-ballers, no simple free kicks.
Tigers with 4 goals to 3. Nankervis down to Martin, almost jams it onto his boot, got it towards the goal mouth. Edwards tries to knock it down to Lynch and it goes out of play up against the right behind post. 29 and a half minutes gone, third term. Tigers by 11 points. They have it inside their forward 50. Edwards onto the ground for Prestia. Calamarchi in for Oscar McInerney. Nankervis tries to knock it to the front. McCluggage emerges with it for the Brisbane Lions. Straight through the middle. Kicks wide of Bailey. Baker trying to get back. Couldn't get a hand onto it. And Bailey gathers. He leads options. Almost run down by Broad. Fends off the tackle. How past to Charlie Cameron. He taps it to his own advantage. Was he held? Good work by Vlosten. Got it to Gibcus. He's under pressure. Tackled by Charlie Cameron. Dan Robinson gathers. Snaps in the right forward pocket. And he finishes. Once more, the pressure of Charlie was just too much for Richmond to handle. And the margin has cut back to 5 points. Half an hour gone, third term.
5 on 2, boys.
Was that a Brisbane goal or a Richmond? That was a Richmond goal kicked by Brisbane.
Received pressure.
And the way they just tapped it forward.
Yep. Unbelievable. They were 5-2 on there. You had Zach Bailey running inside 450. No targets. Probably ran a little bit longer than he probably should have as far as the rules, but that doesn't matter. Then over to Charlie. Charlie tapped it forward. And then the slip. Who was that slipped over from Richmond? Talk about
Broad or Vlosten.
Broad, one of those two. And that allowed Charlie to get back and make a great tackle. Coughs it up. And what a goal.
It's not where you want to be, though, is it? Chasing Charlie Cameron inside the forward pocket. You know you're in trouble. And Brisbane made them pay.
Centre bounce. McStay and Nankervis. Nankervis the tap. Straight down to Ross. Hands it back to Nank. Right foot kick from the Richmond. Ruttman puts the Tigers into attack. Martin spoiled away by Gardner. Roved, though, quickly by Edwards. Got a hand pass clear. And
free kick.
The free kick.
I think he dumped him after.
It's going the way of Sonsi. who got a kick away, and coming in from the side, Mitch Robinson's given away a free kick by leaping into Sonsi and knocking him over after the ball had gone.
That's coach killer, Aka, as you
No, we'll make him earn it, but yes. He's only half a second away from being the best hit of the night.
Just, you can't jump though. Don't jump. Modern game, you can't leave the ground.
Yes, but he looks a bit dazed, the boy.
Well, he's okay to take his kick, Tyler Sonsi. Only made his debut in round 18 this year.
Been impressive tonight, Q.
Big moment. Late in the third term, no angle to speak of. Right foot from 45 metres. Another Tigers goal! 11 points the difference. Tyler Sonsi joins the goal kickers list in this ballistic final shootout at the Gabba. Richmond 14 goals, 690 to Brisbane 12-7. 79 Zane Bojack on the boundary.
Oh, what a goal. Your third goal in just your sixth game of football. That's extraordinary there with Tyler Sonsi. I can tell you that when Mitch Robertson got given that free kick against, that the Brisbane Lions bench, they put their heads down. They know how tight this contest is. They just can't give away discipline like that. That was a poor decision. The other thing I want to know is, I can't wait to see the magazine shows this week, boys. Surely Zach Bailey ran 30 metres before that last goal.
He did. He nearly ran the whole way to the square, but oh well.
That was Sonsi's first touch this quarter. I don't know what he's had for the game. I reckon he's had a pretty good game, but he's been quiet in this quarter, but a valuable kick then.
It's a big price to pay after the Brisbane Lions had mustered 2 goals at the other end. Nankervis gets the clearance. Sonsi with a little tap on, but only as far as Mitch Robinson of the Lions. Straight down the middle from halfback. Here's Zach Bailey once more, trying to link up with McCarthy. Bailey out to Danaher on 50. Joe goes bang! And puts it through. He's no ordinary Joe from outside 50. And all of a sudden the Stars are starting to get involved. Danaher with his first goal of the match. It's back to a 5-point Tigers lead. 14-6-90 to the Brisbane Lions, 13-7-85. He had the blinkers on once he was within striking distance.
Every time Zach Bailey gets near the ball, he makes something happen. He made that last goal happen out of nothing, ran 50,000 metres, but then on that one, just the creativity and the second effort. That is two quality efforts from Zach Bailey.
Yes, and Danaher, that's what he's got to do if he's in the ruck. You mentioned earlier, Q. Yep, compete at the centre bounce, but then use your athleticism. And he got out, jumped to high in the ball, competed, and then had a shot from 50. That's what Joe's got to do. That's what he has over Nankervis.
Game 150 for Joe Danaher, and his first goal of the night. So Brisbane's kicked 3 of the last 4 goals after Richmond had kicked 3 in a row. We're back to a 5-point ball game. Clean possession, Nankervis at ruck time. Hand pass went through Cochin, went to ground gate. Ross got it, go back to Cochin. He's tackled. Went to ground, Ross mopped up, hand it back to Nank. Hand pass beyond the centre square to McIntosh, tackled by Berry. Rumble to half forward for Richmond, but McCluggage picks up for the Lions. Hand pass to Zorko, rush left foot kick back to Nankervis, who's having a huge game. He marks in the middle of the ground. Kicks Richmond high to full forward. Payne fists it away from Revolt. Spillage, though, to Bolton of the Tigers, 50 out. He mishits the ball on his boot and kicks it out of bounds on the full. Free kick to Brisbane in the left back pocket.
Well, they give it to him, the Brisbane players.
So they should. I like it.
That is what it's about. Now, Danny Rich, we've only got 20 seconds left in the quarter, so he'll go long.
And he does towards the members' wing. McStay flies, got a hand, couldn't mark. Roving Bailey for Brisbane. Hand pass to Neal. He's held up a moment on the wing. Hand pass conservative to McStay. Now the kick down the line. Looking for Pryor. Spoiled away by the defence. And Gibcus sees it over the boundary line for a throw-in. There's 4 seconds left in the third term. It was level at quarter time. Richmond led by 6 points at half time. And Richmond is going to turn for home with a 5-point lead. 2 teams enter, 1 team leaves. Half an hour to go and there's still not even a kick in it.
Bring it on.
3-quarter time at the Gabba in an elimination final which has set a stunning tone for this September.
What a game.
Tigers, 14 goals, 690. Lions, 13 goals, 785. Level at quarter time. Richmond by a goal at half time and Richmond by 5 points at 3-quarter time. Tom Lynch has 3 goals for the Tigers. Shea Bolton has 2. Singles to Martin, Revolt, Morris Rioli, McIntosh, Cochin, Dan Rioli. Sonsey, and Ross and Cumberland. For Brisbane, Hipwood has 3 goals. Cameron has 2 goals. Singles to Archie, McStay, Bailey, McCluggage, McCarthy, Danaher, Robertson and debutant Wilmot. 3-quarter time, a quarter left in Brisbane or Richmond's season. And after 3 quarters of footy, we're probably still none the wiser as to which it will be. Hope you can stay with us on Grandstand AFL. Richmond 14-6-90, Brisbane 13-7-85. Don't go anywhere. Final turn coming up shortly on Grandstand AFL.
ABC Sport now has its very own newsletter, and we'd be pumped to have you on board.
The ABC of Sport will provide a wrap of all the best stuff that's happening in sport every week.
Simply go to abc.net.au/connect
and get ready for a sport hit in your inbox every Friday.
Get on board with the ABC of Sport newsletter
for content that makes you think
or allows you not to.
The 2022 AFL Finals.
Grandstand AFL.
On ABC Radio and ABC Sport Digital.
60 out. Lynch kicks Richmond to full forward. McStay first to it to spoil for Brisbane. He tapped it down though to the front of the pack. Snapping McIntosh for the Tigers. He's kicked a goal. Richmond's back in front.
Now pass around the back to Danaher. His kick is smothered. It spills to Cumberland. He kicks off the outside of the boot looking for Morris Rioli Jr. Gathers against the right behind post. Got around Coleman. Superb sidestep. There's no stopping Morris.
Ball still in the attacking zone for Brisbane. Pickett had it tackled by Berry. Lost it, got it back. Hand pass stolen though by Dev Robertson at Brisbane. Hand pass to the pocket for Cameron. He tries to sizzle. He tries to take. Cameron kicks a much-needed goal for Brisbane.
Sonsey with a little tap on, but only as far as Mitch Robertson of the Lions. Straight down the middle from halfback. Here's Zach Bailey once more, trying to link up with McCarthy. Bailey out to Danaher on 50. Joe goes bang! And puts it through.
The 2022 AFL Finals.
On ABC Radio and ABC Sport Digital.
3-quarter time. Richmond lead Brisbane by 5 points. I'm Quentin Hull calling the action with Matt Clinch, Zane Bojak's on the boundary, Matt Primus and Jason Ackermanis to talk to you in just a moment after I give the latest from the National Rugby League. About 10 minutes to go there. Parramatta 22 leading Melbourne 4. Looks like the Eels are going to get the victory here, there. But here, gentlemen, what a 3 quarters of footy we've had. Do both coaches continue to just roll the dice with this attacking brand?
Yep, that's all they can do, because the pressure between the arcs is what's helping both defences hold up at times, but when they get through, that's when the scoring gates open up. So what a quarter that was. It was Brisbane on top, a couple of goals, looked like they were going to break Richmond a little bit, then Richmond were able to slow the game down, tag Neil out of it. They get back in front, kick a few goals, then Brisbane answer late with a couple of goals, and that's the way it's been the whole game. It's terrific. Hopefully it's going to continue like that in the last quarter, and both teams are going to, I'll tell you what, the last 10 minutes both teams are going to be out on their legs. But this has been played at a frenetic pace.
That'd be gas, but to the credit to both coaches and both teams, this is an outstanding display of football. It's a shame there's going to be a winner and a loser, but it's going to go down to the wire. It could even go into extra time. You just never know. This is going to be a big tester, but Brisbane, they're at home. That's the big thing. That is a very powerful extra person to have on your team.
It is a powerful one, and I reckon they felt that at the start of the third quarter, and then towards the end there. It's going to be really interesting to see. Hopefully they try and play a little bit quicker. I reckon they slowed down too much, Brizzy, which played into Richmond's hands, and that's when they dominated territory. Hopefully you've got to take some risks, because their forwards are winning enough battles there to kick them as winning score.
It's one of those games where not even really worried about the numbers, just because the football's so scintillating. But Lachie Neale has had 30 possessions to 3-quarter time, still 7 more than the next man on the ground. Stand up, Ruckman Union. Toby Nankervis leading the way for Richmond with 23 possessions.
And look who's second for Brisbane. That's McStay, who's been in the ruck there also. So, yeah, but look, Nank's been huge. And what you should do when you're playing a non-ruck against a non-ruckman, you've got to dominate them. in the stoppages, in the clinches, and he's marked the ball, he's grabbed the ball out of the ruck, he's put it on a platter at times, he's dominated around the stoppages there. So he's doing his role magnificently and could be a key component in this last quarter.
Yeah. So Lachie Neale's had 12 clearances, 5 centre bounce clearances, and then Toby Nankervis has decided, righto, the easiest way to sort that out is I'll just take it out of the ruck.
Get it away from you. Yep.
And he's had 8 clearances and 5 centre bounce clearances himself, Big Nank.
He has. He has been true, but Richmond, what they were able to do for the last 20 minutes was quell Neale's influence. His first 5 or 6 was out of this world. They've quelled him. Can they do that for the whole last quarter? Because that has been proven difficult to do for anybody this year.
I'll give you a chance to switch. You both tipped Richmond beforehand. What do you reckon, Matt, Jace?
Staying the Tigers.
Oh, I'll stay the Tigers, but Nankervis, he is going to be a monumental influence on this game, as he already is, but he will be in this last quarter. Not just where he puts it, not just taking it out of the ruck, but what he does around the ground, because his opponents just kicked a couple of goals. McStay's looked dangerous, and Joey's starting to rack up the kicks.
Hardly anything in any of the stats. +3 to Richmond for inside 50, +6 to Brisbane for tackles, +3 to Brisbane for clearances, +12 to Richmond for marks. Inside 50s, as I mentioned, +3 to Richmond, 49 to 46. It's just been a scintillating tale to this point. Final terms underway. 1 quarter left in one of these teams' season. McStay and Nankervis in the ruck. Neither with a telling tap. Neale underneath, though, for Brisbane. Hand pass defensive side of the pack to Archie. High kick for Brisbane to half forward. It pitches, bounces deviously. Cameron's rolled it out the back and puts Brisbane in front in the opening 30 seconds of the final term with a snap from 40 metres out.
Wow.
I have to share this. We are sitting very close to the Channel 7 commentary box.
Richo.
Luke Hodge is next to us. He's laughing. Everyone's getting excited with this football. How good is it, Hodgie? This is fantastic stuff. Brisbane in front by a point.
Richo shaking his head. He shook his head when they kicked the last goal late in that quarter, Brisbane. I can understand you. Geez, he's a passionate man, as we all are. There's a few Brisbane guys in these 3 boxes here, but what a goal.
And who got the hand of the ball? Lachie Neale. Lachie Neale gave him the centre bounce clearance.
3 goals for Charlie Cameron. 14-7 to 14-6. Brisbane by a point.
So our stats computer say the Lions have been in front 7 times and Richmond have been in front 7 times. I think that's accurate.
And the scores have been level outside of the start for 3 times as well.
So Nat takes his turn. He knocks it as far as he can out of the ruck, but Neale's onto it. Half pass to Archie. Mown down. Great tackle as McIntosh got him, and the Tigers will take it back in the middle of the ground. Brisbane by a point. They got it inside 50 and scored in the opening 30 seconds. McIntosh goes as long as he can, looking for Lynch or Cumberland. Cumberland spoils it down. Front and centre, Cochin. Tackle by Matheson. Short soccers it out. It volleys in the air in the end, and Bolton flies. Can't take the mark. Gathered by Neale for the Lions. Hand pass to Coleman. Bangs it up to the wing. Running onto it was Dan Rioli. He looks inside 50, slipping over Cumberland. It cleared him in the end. Edwards tries to knock it on to Lynch. He's tackled. And he's locked up just 15 metres out from his attacking goal.
Oh, Cumberland, what a time to slip over. It was uncontested mark inside forward 50.
Stoppage at the top of the goal mouth. The Tigers are attacking. Nankervis tackled off it. Revolt. Cumberland tackled off it. Play on. Neale for Brisbane. Hand pass to Coleman, whose kick is out on the full. Neale has kicked it out on the full, and Marlon Pickett is closest in what's best referred to in 2022 as Jamie Elliott territory.
Kicked one like this at the Adelaide Oval, didn't he?
Yep.
Where he told the fans about it, and he'll get to do the same here.
40 metres out. Marlon Pickett. Hard on the boundary. He's going to be pushing off the advertising board to try and return Richmond to the lead. He doesn't go for goal. Centering ball straight to the hands of Matheson of Brisbane. That didn't work. So Matheson marks forward of full-back for Brisbane.
Not on the same page there. Pickett and the forwards.
Surveys the options. Matheson, he's taken a long time. Sends it up to the Stanley Street end where Charlie Cameron rises and takes the mark. Time to stand up if you're a September star. And Cameron has it at left half-back. Looks long down the Stanley Street wing. Link McCarthy sets himself. It clears him and Noah Bolter. Socket off the ground by Bailey to his own advantage. Gibcus the other way. Bailey through the head back. Umpire says it was high. And Zach Bailey in the left forward pocket. He's just inside 50.
That is outstandingly high, but Zach Bailey, he always makes something happen. I've been saying it all night. See what he does here. He can get the journey here, boys. I think he's having a shot.
That wouldn't have looked out of place in the NRL, just chipping into his own advantage and chasing after it. And now has he got the energy to try and finish it?
And the coat hanging to go with it, Clenchy.
I was going to leave that bit out, but we'll drop it in for effect. Zach Bailey. A goal in the second term from outside 50, veers out to the right, sets sail for home. It's offline to the right, and the pack is crashed.
Well, that was a comedy of errors.
On the goal line, and it's through for a minor score. Brisbane by 2 points. 4 minutes gone, final term.
Four blokes fell over each other then as Vlosten comes out.
He just wanders to the pocket and drives Richmond long to the southern wing. Andrews spoils away from Lynch. Ball on the ground, won by Martin of the Tigers. Defensive hand pass to Broad. From right half back, kicks to the wing, but straight to Gardner of Brisbane. Got to the drop and takes the grab on halfway for the Lions. And Darcy Gardner taking a precious moment to assess his options. Called to play on now. The defender drives his right boot into it to half forward. McCarthy leaps. Spoiled away by Vlosten, who's claiming a mark now and is paid. He fisted it and then grabbed it, and the ump says, yep, that's good enough for Vlosten to be paid the mark. From half-back, kicks to the wing, marked by Martin. Dustin Martin still defensive side of the southern wing for Richmond. Plays on with his right boot, driving ball to attacking 50. Andrews nudges Lynch away from the drop and takes a fine defender's one-on-one mark.
That's a bit of confidence. You need that in this last quarter against Lynch because you don't want him getting hot.
Coleman leads into the corridor. Are they brave enough? With the game on the line, still lots of time to play. Andrews kicks towards the Stanley Street wing. Up goes Link McCarthy. Vlosten knocks it to the front and Neil's right there with him. And it goes out of play. Just short of right half forward for the Tigers. They trail by 2 points.
Looking dangerous, McCarthy. He's starting to jump at everything. They're going to give it everything here, both teams.
Lachie Neale up to 34 disposals and 13 clearances. He proves the most likely avenue for the Lions out of the middle of the ground. McStay knocks it down. Matheson can't get it. Little toe poke from Martin towards Shea Bolton. He's shoved off it. McCluggage picks it up for Brisbane. Back into the centre square. Short to McCarthy. He looks further. Cameron's leading inside the forward 50. He goes to Stanley Street wing and spots Zorko, who marks.
Zorko taking a moment. McIntosh standing the mark. Zorko kicks infield to McCarthy. Marks uncontested. 60 out. Will play on quickly. Right foot kick deep to full forward. Bailey leaps, couldn't mark. Rode by Pickett of Richmond. Under pressure, concedes. He was. That's okay. He was in the goal mouth. Crowd doesn't like, but that's good knowledge of the rules and good composure by Pickett to concede it for a point. 3 the diff. Zane on the boundary.
Yeah, Trent Cotchin's been given some pain relief as the crowd doesn't like that rush behind there by Marlon Pickett. He's struggling with a groin injury. Lots of massaging being done down here. He's got some pain relief. Hopefully he'll be back out there shortly.
Bolter to Short, to Broad, to Pickett. Bolter kept running. He marks on the Vulture Street wing.
Got the extra here down the wing, Richmond.
Chips it over the top to Ross. Gardner comes at him. Kicks, hugging the boundary. Jack Revolt lunging forward, takes the mark. Millimetres inside the boundary.
Well, if you're a Brisbane fan, you'd want the opposition to be having shots from here, low percentage, although Jack could kick it. Don't get me wrong, but that last one from Marlon Pickett, straight to the top of the square, no one was there.
One of 6 Tigers over the age of 30. The 33-year-old. Can he have one more moment from deep out to the left? This would take his absolute best. He's kicked 1 goal so far tonight. Jack Revolt starts his approach. Veers out to the right. He fires on goal. It's coming. It's coming. It's there. What a finish from the iconic Tiger.
Wow.
Jack Revolt with his second. The 4 Tiger to reach 300k and 700 goals, and there's one of his best at the Gabba with it all on the line. And the Tigers are back in front by 3 points. 15-6-96 to the Lions, 14-9-93. Righto, Charlie Cameron, now your turn.
Outrageous goal, but it might have been touched on the line. I think they're going to review it.
Are they?
They are.
Oh, watch out. Eagle eye, Acker. Oh, goal ump's just having a look. No, it's fine.
Here it is.
They review them all, Jason. Yeah, it was touched about a metre beyond the line.
Yep.
Harris Andrews got a finger, but not before the ball was through. The Revolt second. Tigers back in front by 3 points. What a rollicking start to September this is at the Gabatoir.
Oh, good luck following this one.
Centre bounce. McStay up against Nankervis. McStay got the palm down. Rode by Neil. Clearance Brisbane. Deep kick from Lockie Neal towards full forward. Hipwood 1-on-1 with Sonsty. Free kick. Advantage paid.
Yeah.
Danaher goals. A dribbler from the goal mouth. Brisbane back in front.
Free kick for Eric. Play on advantage. There he is again, Joey.
Danaher's second. 99 plays 96. Lions back in the lead, 9 minutes played, final term.
Richmond's Achilles heel, the centre bounce. Lockie Neal again, and what I loved about that one, the deep penetration. 20 metres out from the front.
Seventh centre bounce clearance, Matt. Sorry to...
No, amazing, mate. Amazing.
That was one-on-one, and take your pick. It was just beautiful for Eric. Got the free kick anyway. He had the front position, but great goal.
Zane Bojak on the boundary.
Can you guys remember that shootout between North Melbourne and Essendon back in the early 2000s? They called that the game up in heaven. This has got to be better.
That was the one the AFL used as the example as how they wanted the game to be played. The Lions by 3 points. Nankervis and McStay. Nank wings down the tap to Cochin, who sockers it towards half forward. Edwards dragged out of it by Rich. Morris Rioli Jr. over the top of the footy. He wrestles with Wilmot. McCluggage picks it up for the Lions. Kicks it in the middle of the ground. Wide of Neal. Pickett gets back first. Sidesteps Mitch Robinson. Hand pass to Bolter. Taken high by Charlie Cameron.
He ducked into
who apologises immediately. And Noah Bolter is slow to rise. There's not an inch to be taken or given.
Kicks quickly to half forward along the ground. Ross controls the ball, tackled by Pryor. Hand pass to Pickett, 60 out. Kick to the pocket. Revolt's there again. Takes the mark. Similar spot. In fact, a hint of a kind of angle to his last goal. 5 in from the boundary at left half forward, 50 out.
What about the hands on that? They're just stuck, didn't they?
Yeah, I think Payne had him cold too, but just might have just misread that one. But that's all right. Now can Jack do it again? I tell you, there's any time you want to be a superstar of the game, be in your 30s and kick a couple of clutch goals.
Well, last time he used the stand rule very well, Jason. He moved infield to just help the angle.
Yes.
Revolt starts his approach on the boundary. Man on the marks, 45 out. Revolt trots to 50. Kicks from 49. He has done it again! Jack Revolt puts the Tigers back in front!
What a game.
Outrageous.
3 goals for Jack Revolt. You thought the first one was a fluke, eh?
Yep.
I'll show you.
Yeah, that is the mark of a absolute goal-kicking career machine. That is a beauty.
Official crowd posted at 35,013.
Wow.
Richmond 16,602. Brisbane 15,999. Not once but twice Jack Revolt has showed us why he is one of the luminary scoring forwards in the game's history.
Just clutch, go back, clutch, 2 goals there. And a centre bounce clearance. Brisbane got 1 goal, Richmond get 1 goal. Territory's going to be so important this last 20 minutes.
It comes down to moments, doesn't it, in September? Who can take theirs and who can't? The Tigers back in front by 3 points, and Jack Revolt with a couple of stone-cold finishes. Back in the middle of the ground. Miller's into the ruck up against McStay. Miller wins down the tap, does the roving. Hand pass out in front of Pickett. Runs to the edge of the centre square. Hand pass to Shea Bolton. Grease Lightning outside of the boot. It bounces offline to the right. Lynch was shepherding with Andrews, and Tom Lynch had a hold. So the score won't count. Tigers by 3.
102 to 99. Still 12 and a half minutes of playing time left in this game. Andrews from the left back pocket kicks Brisbane high towards left half back and a pack. Danaher a hand, couldn't mark, ball to ground level. A fumble from Rioli, a fumble from Cochin. Kicked clear by Brisbane's Andrews, but not clear enough. Straight to Vlosten, who marks it for Richmond forward of the wing. 2 good kicks from goal. Vlosten, high kick to the pocket, puts the Tigers back into attack. Payne got a knuckle to the contest, rode by Coleman of Brisbane. Hand pass to the goal mouth for Pryor. Pryor gets some space to kick towards half back. Set a task of McStay, who just nudged Miller away from the ball. Then McStay taps it, hoping for some help from McCarthy. Arriving was Gibcus for Richmond to see it out of play. Boundary throw in, still in the Tigers attacking half between wing and left half forward for Richmond on the members' side. Richmond leading by 3 points, 13 and a half final term on Grandstand AFL.
Toss back in, Miller in front of McStay, knocks it to the front, looking for Cochin, ricochets back to Miller, Matheson there with him, Pryor knocked it onto McCluggage, little topo to McCarthy, turns on his right hand side, bangs it long towards Mitch Robinson, Baker underneath, great mark, superb composure, despite Robinson charging at him. Looks into the corridor. He misses Tarrant, who races back after him. Berry hits it with pace, knocks it into the left forward pocket, and it goes out for a boundary throw in. Every little moment matters, and the Lions lock it inside 50.
And he missed that target. That is a killer. But Berry, good work.
It was your old coach Lee Matthews, wasn't it? First to 100 wins. This might be the exception this game.
100 wins, yeah. Well,
102-99. Richmond in front, having 2 goals apiece in this term. Boundary throw in, Brisbane in attack in the pocket. McCluggage, no extraction. Comes to Matheson, though. High kick from 40, won't go to the goal line. It's in the goal mouth. Fisted to the boundary by Baker of Richmond. And it rolls out of play for a boundary throw in. I think Lions fans have been through a bit in the last couple of final series. Have had their hearts broken by Greater Western Sydney in 2019. Cats beat them in the prelim in 2020. Doggies broke their hearts here last year.
Oh, they're due for a close.
And the Tigers lead them by 3 points late at the Gabatoir in this one. Boundary throw in. Miller for Richmond. Taps it back out of play. Gains about 5 metres for his team. Throw it in once more.
Tell me how that's keeping it in play. That is not keeping it in play. That's the one rule they need to get right, the AFL. They think they're drinking their own bathwater. How great's our game? That is a rule they need to fix.
Jason Ackermanis for you, ladies and gentlemen. The ball to be thrown back into play. Tigers by 3 points. Just 15 minutes gone in this final term. Miller in front. Wins down the tap against McStay. Onto it, Pickett for the Tigers. Turns on his left-hand side, turns it over. Oh, Wilmot dropped the mark. Now Curvis tries to soccer it on. Got it to the advantage of Cumberland. Looks inside 50. Lynch trying to race back. He's underneath it. He's got it. Stasovic couldn't close space. And the debutant with a horror moment.
Oh, dear.
He's had a couple of them, hasn't he, tonight? And as you said, Clinchy, those key moments, drop marks, missed kicks, simple things. These two teams are going to make you pay when that happens.
And for Richmond fans, it probably couldn't be in better hands, maybe other than Jack in this final term. Directly in front, 45 metres out. Tom Lynch with 3 goals for the match. Missed out on All-Australian selection despite missing a handful of games. But he's shown in his ability to stand up big when the moment matters its most. Tigers by 3 points. Tom Lynch directly in front, 50 metres out, got underneath it and misses to the right. It's a 4-point advantage. And the Lions fans at the Gabba take a deep breath. 16 minutes gone, final term.
Coleman with a kick in, conservative and short to the pocket.
He's got to get out of here, Brisbane. Take the opportunity.
McCluggage takes the mark. Heel kick to left half back, and flying spoil made by Sonsie of the Tigers. 50-50 ball on the deck, won by Brisbane. Mitch Robinson tapped to Danaher, gave it on to Pryor, kick down the southern wing, out of play.
That's good.
But the Lions get it to left half forward, not far away from Zane Bojak.
Yeah, Dane Zorko went down the race, but has just come back quickly. Shea Bolton was attended by the trainers, but he's about to come back on. He looks okay, just looks a little bit dazed down here, Shea.
Tigers lead by 4 points, 17 minutes played. Final term. Elimination final footy on ABC Sport. Boundary throw in. Bailey for Brisbane wins the clearance. Hand pass to Danaher. Short pass. It bounced in front of the leading Hipwood, who's tackled over the line by Sonsie, out of play. Throw in 40 metres around from the Lions goal. Score check. 16-7, 103. Plays 15-9, 99. Richmond by 4 points, approaching 18 minutes final term.
16 lead changes in this epic match. A thrown back in. Danaher and Nankervis. It spills down to McIntosh. Knocked it towards half back, but Hipwood's onto it for the Lions. Sends it long into the pocket. Tarrant punches it down. McIntosh underneath it. Couldn't take it cleanly. Matheson could. He was knocked high. It spills out to Dev Robinson, and he runs out of room in the left forward pocket for the Brisbane Lions.
How did the umpire miss that? Matheson absolutely coat-angered.
Tigers by 4 points. Are you going to fit a 30-second news summary here, Q?
Good luck.
Good luck to you. Thrown back in. Brisbane Lions deep in attack. Can they find the go-ahead goal here? In front position, Nankervis. McStay tries to use his body. It spills down to Broad. He kicks around his body. Tigers have numbers. McIntosh marks it right half back.
Too easy, too easy.
Position of the ball and possession of the lead for Richmond at the moment. Still got about 9 minutes of playing time left. McIntosh called to play on at D50, right half back. Kicks Richmond high, long to the wing. Lynch in front of Andrews. Andrews made the spoil, road by Payne. Brisbane gave back to Andrews by hand. Hand pass to Neil. Neil's kick is good. Marked by Archie on the wing. Hand pass to McCluggage at half forward, 60 out. Near the boundary, McCluggage left foot kick. Marked by McCarthy. Sliding to his knees to grab it inside 50. And now Link has a set shot to try and put Brisbane in front again. 40 metres out, 10 metres in from the boundary at left half forward.
Harris Andrews, terrific. Once again, Lynch has had a good night kicking goals, but he's won some big one-on-ones against him, and on that occasion there repelled that attack.
Yeah, hasn't had his colours lowered, but again, just the toing and froing. Here we go again. Link McCartney, can he kick one with his little left to righters?
Starts his run up from 55 out. Needs to kick straight to put Brisbane in front. Has missed it to the left-hand side. Just. Goal ump had a real good look at that one.
I thought he was going to call it.
103 plays 100. 19 and a half final term. Tigers by 3 points.
You think back to that game at the MCG in round 20, there were little moments where the Brisbane Lions through Mitch Robinson, Charlie Cameron couldn't take them. Dan Rioli plays in to the right back pocket, drives it long up the wing. Harris Andrews with a dominant fist sees it out of play for a boundary throw in.
Bang! Straight over the boundary. That is not even trying to keep it in play there.
Geez, you're hard.
Oh, these defenders. Take a mark, man.
Dustin Martin goes to the bench for a breather. Ball thrown back into play. Danaher doing the ruck work against Nankervis. Tap down to McCluggage. There's nowhere to go, and the umpire will ball it up once more. This is Richmond by 3 points.
Armrest.
Jack Revolt's kicked 2 big last quarter goals of his 3 goals for the match. Squeezing a kick forward is Zorko inside 50. No mark claimed. Hipwood got it down to ground level. Baker's hand pass. Miss Rioli. He goes back and gathers it. Dan Rioli, left back pocket. Hand pass to Baker. Needs support. Sidesteps Matheson. Dribbles a kick to short. Cleverly off the outside of his boot. Out to Jack Ross, who marks it left half back. Vulture Street side. Tigers by 3 points.
And chips it over the man on the mark to Baker, who kept on running. Takes the grab on halfway on the members' wing for the Tigers. 7 minutes of playing time left. Richmond lead by 3 points. Baker kicks from the wing to half forward. Miller too strong for Gardner. Great one-on-one mark. 55 out. And then he's lucky to hit the boot with his ball with the kick. Grab it along the ground. Starcevic picks up for Brisbane. Clears it from defensive 50 towards the wing. Fisted off the pack. Baker to road for Richmond. Hand pass over the head of Rice. It bounces out of play. Well, poor old Ben Miller had a great moment there. Followed up by Mayer. And we'll see a ball in. Boundary throw in between wing and left half forward for the Tigers. 3 points the difference. Richmond in front. Nankervis to do battle with Danaher. Nankervis, clean possession again. Hand pass defensive side of the pack for Richmond. Taken by Pickett. Has time to wheel onto his right boot on halfway. High kick from Pickett into attack for the Tigers. Big pack, double-fisted spoil by Coleman. Roving the volley is Cumberland of Richmond. He's tackled straight away near the boundary line. And the umpire says no prior, and a ball up with the Tigers. In attack, 45 from goal and leading by 3 points.
After Kadeen Tolman was sidestepped by Morris Rioli Jr., he hasn't missed a tackle since. Danaher wins down the tap to Neil. Another clearance. Hand pass to Gardner. A fumble. He slips as he tries to get it to his boot and rolls out of play. Just 50 metres out from the Tigers' goal.
Don't want to over-possess the ball here, Brizzy. Just get it out when they can.
Richmond by 3 points. 16-7, 103. The Lions 15-10, 100. Thrown back in. Miller in front, can take it out of the ruck against Danaher. Pass missed Nankervis. I don't know, Matty, whether big men should be combining like that. It didn't work, unfortunately.
Probably not, no.
It's been a shootout throughout, but it's almost to the point where if Richmond kick the next one, there's 6 minutes to go. 3 points is the difference.
Anything can happen from here. That's the beauty about our sport.
Boundary throw in 55 metres from Richmond's goal at left half forward. McStay tapped it, but stolen by Pickett. 45 out. Tried the snap, didn't hit the right part of the footy. Goes high to the opposite pocket. Lynch has it punched away by Andrews. Follows up though, does Lynch to win the football. Hand pass under pressure's turned over. Too many numbers for the Lions there. Archie picks up at left half back. Down to McCarthy, run down. Brilliant tackle by the retiring Edwards.
Wow.
Oh, it's a final, boys. Change pace.
How How about that for a man that might be playing his last 15 minutes of football? Shane Edwards with a heroic rundown to keep the ball in the Tigers' attacking zone. He earns the free kick, 60 out, doesn't go for goal. Short passes marked by Baker. Man on the mark is 50 out. 5 minutes of playing time left. Richmond lead by 3 points. Baker hard on the boundary at right half forward. Booms, a right foot drop, run out of bounds on the full. Free kick to Brisbane in the left back pocket. Zane Bojack on the boundary.
Dusty's back out there. Who better to ice this game for the Tigers if he can do it?
What was that?
Don't pump him up. That was a terrible kick.
Baker. Wow.
As if he needs any more pumping up, Dusty.
Under 5 minutes to go, Coleman switches play out to McCluggage. He gathers in the right back pocket, looks up further afield. He doesn't have a lot, so goes short to Berry. Danaher now makes space. Vulture Street side. Danaher and Tarrant, the longest target. Berry in no urgency to move it. He's got Sorko in the middle of the ground. He spots him, rolls the dice. Shea Bolton runs in, can't get there. Zorko takes the mark, plays on. Hand pass away to Starcevic. Links up with Coleman. Straight down the middle, inside 50. Almost the mark. Charging out Charlie Cameron. Broad right there with him, not giving him an inch. Cameron keeps it alive. Got it to Bailey. Left forward pocket. Centres the kick. McCarthy and Danaher. McCarthy in the back. But a push.
Push in the back.
And Tarrant's going to get the free kick.
Listen to the reaction of the Gabba faithful when they find out.
Ruined the game.
Link McCarthy took the mark, but Robbie Tarrant gets the free kick for the shove.
And the Gather faithful just working out which vote was the telling one from the ump. Kick to half-back, Floston marks. Kicks it to the wing and Lynch takes the grab. McCarthy was 20 metres out directly in front, but an infringement meant that he wasn't going to have the shot. And the Tigers stay in the lead. And Lynch has the ball on halfway for Richmond. Kicks to a pack at half forward. Rioli pushes Berry out of the way. And the mark is paid to Rioli. Plays on. Kicks to the corridor. But in the way, Pryor. The target was Edwards. Pryor takes the mark forward to full back. And passes to Rich. Runs to defensive 50. Richmond leading by 3 points as Rich booms a high ball.
Oh, come on, umpire.
And what's happened there? He runs too far.
Oh, my God.
Rich has been penalised for travelling. And Shane Edwards is going to get the free kick. 60 out at right half forward for Richmond.
Can you make any sillier errors, umpires? He's run all of 20 metres.
3 minutes left in the game. Richmond lead by 3 points as Edwards kicks conservatively infield to Floston.
Composure's going to win this game here. Which team, which individual players have better composure?
Floston very short, marked by Short, who has a long boot on him. Man on the mark is 55 out. Jaden Short gives it everything he's got to the goal line. Tigers mark! Taken by Lynch.
Wow. This isn't a gimme, Q.
He's between the goal post and the point post, so will be put on a tough angle in the right forward pocket. Tom Lynch has kicked 3 goals already. This to make it beyond a goal with 2 minutes and change left in the game. Hard in the pocket, right foot banana. Lynch puts the Tigers 9 points.
That's a point.
Hold on.
That's a point.
The goal umpire and the field umpire are now having a chat. Umpire's call is a goal. We're going to the arc for clarification. Talk about ruining the moment.
It just hit the post, plus it's on the outside of the post.
Now we're looking at Snicko.
Tommy Lynch is going back to stand on the mark here. It looks like.
Is that right on top of the goalpost? That has hit the...
Umpire's call is a goal.
The ball crosses the line over the top of the goalpost. Decision on the scoreboard.
So it's a point. So they have to call a point.
So the arc has overturned the goal umpire's decision. It's a point.
Could you get any more drama?
2 minutes and 2 seconds remain. Richmond lead by 4 points at 104 to 100.
Down the middle.
Link McCarthy at one end, Tom Lynch at the other. Rich just bangs it as long as he can, straight in the middle of the ground. Danaher punches it down. Nankervis punches it forward. Trying to get after it is Neil. He can't get a disposal. Sliding in is Pickett. Ball spills clear. Matheson to Coleman, almost run down by Martin. Squeeze the kick into the middle of the ground. Bounces off McStay. A lot of players in the middle of the ground. Neil's kick is smothered. Knocking it forward, Zorko. They're gaining ground. Starcevic smothered by Morris Rioli Jr. And he's down, Starcevic. Ball spills the way of Hipwood. Hand pass to Coleman. Sidesteps. Kicks inside 50. Bailey! Hard against the boundary in the left forward pocket. Zach Bailey has it.
Oh, boy.
Minute and a half, minute 20.
Oh, he's done it before against the Pies last year, was it?
He's not wasting any time. Zach Bailey veers out to the right to put Brisbane in front. It won't have the journey. Nankervis is there. He knocks it on the goal line. It's put through. Wouldn't you believe it? It's Joe Danaher. It's Joe Danaher who emerges on the goal line and puts Brisbane in front. And the Gabba erupts. A minute to go. 29 minutes gone, final term. And Joe Danaher with his third.
3 Tigers at the drop. None of them could spoil it over the line, and Joe ghosting out the back has pinched the lead.
Threw it onto the boot. Joe was actually getting slung. The boys could have easily marked it from Richmond. Goes down. Joe, that's the best crumb you've ever had.
Exactly 1 minute left.
Oh, dear, oh, dear.
The Gabba fans know heartbreak in the last couple of final series. A late goal from Danaher. They lead by 2 points.
Watch Shea Bolton here, try and get his speed out the front door of the centre bounce.
He's got Zorko on him. That's not going to be easy.
60 seconds left in the elimination final. Centre bounce favoured Nankervis, not recalled. He got it down to Bolton. Bolton has it pinched by Matheson of Brisbane. Hand pass to half forward. McCarthy running after it. Cochin's got him. McCarthy's tackled. Floston makes the tackle. Ball up 50 metres from Brisbane's goal. 2 points the lead to the Lions. 45 seconds left. From the stoppage, ball ricochets back to the middle of the ground. Bolton, tackled by Neil. Says, play on. Now Bailey has it for Brisbane. Kicks it towards half forward. Congestion of players and locked up for a bounce at the edge of the centre square. 29 seconds to go. Brisbane lead by 2 points.
It all comes down to this. Nankervis wins down the tap, lunging onto it. Bailey. It spills clear. A chance still from the Tigers. Danaher slides in. McStay kicks inside 50. Broad gets back. He gathers. They need to roll the dice. Right back pocket. Looks to switch to McIntosh. 13 seconds to go. Morris Rioli's long on the Vulture Street wing. He knows he needs to come inboard. Switches it inboard. Mark taken by Bolter. They're running out of time. Out to Dan Rioli at right half back. The siren's going to sound. There's no heartbreak this time. Brisbane prevail by 2 points.
Going nuts. Sing it, Lions fans. Brisbane survive. Richmond eliminated from the 2022 Premiership race after one of the most gripping cutthroat finals Australian football has seen. The Lions win by 2 points. 16 goals, 10, 106 to 16 goals, 8, 104. And to think among all of the moments throughout a ripping contest, Joe Danaher in his 150th game couldn't get near the drop of a bomb into the goal square, but 3 Richmond players couldn't mark it nor rush it through. And Joe got his boot to it to give the Lions the lead in the last moments. And Brisbane wins a final in September at the Gabba for just the second time under Chris Fagan.
Is that the golden slipper? There's going to be a lot to discuss. The overturned goal at the other end, we're going to need a bit of time.
Oh, what a game. I've got a headache.
The scores were level at quarter time. Richmond led by 6 points at half time. The Tigers led by 5 points at three-quarter time. And in the end, Brisbane win it by 2 points. I lost count of the lead changes, Clincy.
I think it was 17. We might have to count them. Fingers and toes.
Forgive us if we need some accounting work to verify, but that just gives you an indication of what the game was like. And we need to take a moment here for Shane Edwards. Both sets of players have gone to the top of the Richmond race, and now after 303 games of football, one of the Richmond greats is shouldered from the ground by Trent Cotchin and Jack Revolt. We just wonder what those guys are up to next year as well. But we know that's the end for Shane Edwards, who was subbed into the game tonight. When you have a great era, there's always a lot of tears of joy and heartbreak when the great names hang up their boots. Congratulations to Shane Edwards for his career, and for both teams taking the moment to recognise it after what was one of the most frenetic games of football we've seen, not only this season, but we've seen of modern times, Matt Primus and Jason Ackermanis.
Yeah, wasn't it what? Oh, it had everything. It had blokes kicking amazing goals, breaking tackles, goals, kicking just clutch goals like Revolt in the last quarter. You had Joey Danaher picking up what would be just a coach-killing snap while he was getting dragged down. You had the midfield battle knocking down, unbelievable. You had Nev Curvis on fire, pretty much running the whole show in there if he could. And then you've had the midfield battles and just the most breathtaking football you've ever seen, Matty Promise.
It was, mate, the best game I've seen this year, bar none, you know, whether live or on TV. Just the ebbs and flows, and both teams just didn't give an inch, and the pressure on it. It was an outstanding game, man. Well deserved of a final. Hopefully something to see for the next couple of days of the finals and that, but that's a fair standard to set.
So it's to Melbourne to play the Demons or to Sydney to play the Swans for Brisbane, depending on the team which is beaten in the qualifying final. So that's the part of the finals draw. Whoever is beaten in the qualifying final out of Melbourne or Sydney, that's the next opponent for Brisbane.
What about, and you two guys, Q and Acker, you Brisbane people, what this will do for the club, because they're under the pump. They've been under siege all year about, okay, yeah, it's good enough to finish top four, which they didn't achieve, and their form and their coach has been a bit cranky, and some of their players haven't been in great form. This is Richmond, as we said at the pre-game, this is every team in the 8 didn't want to play Richmond because of the style of footy, and they've come out and knocked them off and got that monkey. Yes, they've got a hard road to go to keep going, but they've got that monkey off the back. They've won a close game, a close final at home, when they've been challenged all night. I reckon it's an outstanding win for the club.
That finals record that was getting mentioned, 1-5 under Chris Fagan, and probably the person you felt the most happiest for when the siren sounded for everything he's had to answer, as you've been in that position, Matty, where you have to front up to the media and answer the same questions time and time again. Well, they showed today they have learnt some lessons of those ghosts of the past, as Q touched on. The close finishes against GWS and the Western Bulldogs. Today they were able to pinch it right at the death.
They were, and his energy, when the siren sounded, he ran out in the ground. He looked like a 21-year-old running out in the ground. His excitement, because he would have felt the pressure. And Q, as we've spoken about, they had some key guys, Danaher and Cameron included, that won some crucial one-on-ones in the game. Not a high possession game for Cameron, but important, some of the one-on-ones he won, which he hadn't been doing that in the finals games that they've been losing.
How about Jack Revolt's 2 goals in the final quarter? Put in the shade by the
Almost get overshadowed.
Unbelievable
It's going to be one moment, though, isn't it? It's going to be the Tom Lynch goal that was overturned because it went over the top of the goalpost.
Yeah. And then there was the opportunity for Lincoln McCarthy to probably have a shot on goal, which was overturned because there was a free kick. That Danaher, I think, gave away
the free kick. But the Lynch one was paid a goal by the goal umpire, and the Arcas overturned it.
Yeah. Because the ball went over the top
post
of the goal post.
And a long way over the top, so they've had to draw the imaginary line, and the umpire in the room there has had to go, that's gone over the line of the goal. That's a massive.
It's a massive call for the goal umpire, who surely has the best view of that, and he called a goal.
You know, Barassi would always say, just make the poles so long, you can never make this error. Like, he's like, why don't you just make bigger poles?
You're one for the exploding football argument. When it gets to full time, ball blows up, so you don't know whether so you can't kick it after the siren and the ump. But of course, the game doesn't finish until the umpire blows his siren. It's not on the whistle.
Correct, yes. But Brisbane, to their credit, lost their number one and only ruckman. So they had to battle away when you know that it's not the end of the world losing a ruckman, but the job that the other two had to do, except for it was you.
A season is never a be-all and end-all on one game. No. But at a very rudimentary level, Matt, you summed it up. We spent the second half of the season at the Gabba looking at Brisbane thinking, well, it all means nothing unless they do something in September.
Yep.
And now they've got past week one.
They've got past week one, and their confidence and the euphoria and the belief that they're going to take to hit the road now, which they're going to have to do, is huge.
Well, I'd like to actually talk to... Are we getting down to the rooms? Because
stick around. We've got post-match coming up. I'll just give the text message, Anchor. The number, if you want to get in touch, 0437 774 774. Fags is talking to the crowd here at the Gabba. Let's take it.
They're still deafening, Fags. They absolutely love that game. Tell us how proud of you of that effort tonight.
Oh, incredibly proud. When you think that we lost Oscar in the first couple of minutes, it didn't look good, but Dan McStay went into the ruck and helped out with Joey Danaher. We just showed a spirit tonight that you can't believe. Unbelievable win.
Absolutely incredible one. Is that one of the best games you've ever seen us play?
Oh, it's our greatest performance. It's one of the great finals, I think, that the AFL's ever had, and for our boys to persevere and get the job done, absolutely brilliant.
Thank you so much, Coach Chris Fagan.
So Jaycee Fielding's the on-field MC having a chat to Chris Fagan. That's what footy is like in this part of the world. It doesn't happen at too many other venues where you get the on-field MC getting the coach to address the fans before the Lions leave the Gabba for the last time in 2022. Their next trip is either Melbourne to play the Demons or Sydney to play the Swans. As Dane Zorko leads the Lions down the race off the back of a 2-point victory, 16 goals 10, 106 to Richmond, 16 goals 8, 104.
I want to pose a question to Zane as well as to whether they played the Richmond song as the siren sounded. It was going nuts here. I'm keen to get Zane's thoughts on that.
Yeah, they certainly did. There's no doubt about it. They had the Richmond song lined up. They didn't think the Lions were going to get home as they all roll in now. Dane Zorko, what a proud skipper he is. He's had a huge 2 weeks, and now he's a winning skipper in a final here and he's very happy too. He's smiling at me. He liked that. Jared Berry, we know what a warrior he's been. They're all walking in here. Keller, Chi, Eric Hipwood, some great goals from him tonight. The beast, Reith Matheson, he's ready to go off tonight. Watch out, Brisbane nightclubs, I can tell you. But they're all coming in. Dusty Wilmot, what a great start for him in his career. What a way to start, as they pour all the sports drink on him as well. He's going to get very, very messy. Sticky. I can see here. Yeah, blue doesn't go well with the maroon of the Brisbane Lions jersey, but they're all getting set here, boys. What a win it is. They went down by 1 point last year to the Bulldogs. This time they get up by just 2 points. They're getting into a huddle. The Brisbane Lions, Harris Andrews, had his hands outstretched. They're just waiting now. I'll tell you who was the most happiest when I walked down the race heading into the dressing room. Noah Ransworth, Cam Rayner, Jared Lyons. They couldn't be part of tonight. They were ecstatic. Here we go, boys. sung with a lot of gusto. Will it be the Swans or the Demons? I'll play next week. I'll have someone for you very shortly.
Good on you, Zane. Bojack in the rooms. You can hear the emotion as the Gabba slowly empties of the 35,013 fans officially that turned up to see a game that will be talked about as long as football is played.
Well, we've had finals where it's gone to extra time, Port Adelaide and West Coast, but really we had the moments like we had tonight, the highest scoring event. There's so many key moments to talk about.
Back down to Zane.
A man who kicked 3 goals, according to my stats. Absolute ripper too. Were you inspired, Charlie, by the goal that you saw Maurice Rioli kick? Because you took on straight after.
That was unbelievable. I think it was in that pocket. Was that the third quarter?
Yeah.
He's a special little player. He come on pretty well. I guess last few, 6 or 7 weeks he's been playing. So, special player that's going to grow and grow.
Well, you're a special player too. Look, everyone talked about the 1-5 record coming into this match. How good is it to get over the line in type 1?
Against odds with Oscar going down ruck, so that was pretty special. I had to structure everything up in terms of our forward line, but it was pretty special. I guess. I think it took last minute, so to win the game, and that's what finals footy is about. And speechless.
Oh, I've got to say, that's one of the best finals I've ever seen. It was a shootout down the corridor. What was it like for you playing it?
Unbelievable, mate. Again, I guess the odds were against us all week and everyone was doubting us. So to put up that performance with a few injuries going down, but special, mate, special.
All right, we'll go up to the panel. We've got Matt Clinch, Quentin Hull. We've also got Jacobson Ackermanis and Matthew Primus. Fire away, boys.
A million things we could ask you about, Charlie. Quentin Hull here.
Yeah.
I'm well, Charlie. Where were you when Tom Lynch was kicking for goal from the pocket? What did you think?
Well, I haven't been playing the game in terms of the rules and stuff. So I was talking to the umpire. I was like, if it goes over the post, is that a goal or not? But then he's like, if it goes over the post, looks like it's going to hit the post. So I was a bit nervous, but
Rocker in 2002. Acker, Rocker in 2002.
Yes, mate.
Lynch in 2022.
Yeah,
20 years on. A big call for the Lions repeats itself.
Oh, that is special. Hey, Charlie, Jason Ackermanis here, mate. Obviously, 2 weeks ago, brother, obviously it was a big loss. To come out and play the game plan you played, is that more of the opposition, the way they play, because they do give you a chance, or was it you guys saying, no, we're going to change it up here?
Well, I think everyone written us off all week or for the last 2 weeks, I think. So we had a point to prove and, I guess, earn a bit of respect even from some of our old Lions players who were saying it was embarrassing. I think I saw a comment there. So to come and put up that performance with Oscar going down, like I said, was pretty special. And, I mean, I guess that's what you play finals for, I guess, these moments. And, mate, unbelievable. Even, I think it was 35,000 tonight. It was pretty special at the Gabba to see the boys get over the line like that. It was pretty special.
Hey, Charlie, Matthew Price, well done on the game tonight, mate. I was really impressed I thought you guys tried to move the ball quicker off half-back, and you forwards, get some handball receives and play a little bit quicker rather than kick mark, and I reckon that played into your forwards' hand. You had more one-on-ones.
The way Richmond, I guess, played, they play a high-intensity, I guess, game, and I think we try to take the sting out of it.
Yep.
But I think we tried to build it up, and then I guess once we got it past, I think halfway, just get it in, get into our forward. And I think we play as forwards, we're predictable the way we move it, but we're just unpredictable in terms of, I guess, the way we play, the way we react, and it's just unpredictable in footy. And the big boys, credit to them. I think when he had one forward and 5 smalls at one point, and when Joey was off or Eric was off and Macca was in the ruck, so we just had to had a scrappy game, and
What's it mean to win a close one in September, Charlie?
Yeah, mate. We've been on the end of a couple. I think it was GWS game a couple of years ago, 2019. The one lost, and then it was 2 points last year. To do that, it's pretty special against a quality side that was up and about coming into finals. So I think their 6 weeks was pretty good. Or last 4 weeks, sorry. And we had a point proven, I guess.
Charlie,
that was a statement.
It's Matt Clinch here. What did you get more satisfaction out of? You kicked the 3 goals, but you had a couple of deft touches tonight that just set up your teammates, which resulted in other goals, which I guess when you're a small forward, sometimes you're out of the game a lot, but you're involved a lot tonight.
Well, I had ball on me tonight. I guess a taller defender. I think it's basically the same as Grimes. I just try to move. I think my forwards coach said, just keep moving, mate. There's nothing that can go with you. It's just like moving. And I was able to move tonight and change it up, get up higher, get deep, and then obviously, I guess, take those moments where I was able to just, I guess, put myself in a position where I could score or put others in position to score as well. So I think it's moments. I guess you got to take those moments in footy finals, I guess.
And I think you'll see the still photo, which will show 5 Richmond players in the defensive goal square and 1 Brisbane line and Joe Danaher.
Yeah.
How thrilled were you for your fellow co-forward that he was just able to get a slipper to it, and that was enough?
Oh, no rat, smothered. When Zach Perry kicked the ball, I'm like, smothered. And then, when we went through, we were calling in 7th just to get numbers back behind the ball, and mate, it's pretty special, I guess. How good is that, eh? How good's footy?
It is good. Now you've got to play the loser of Melbourne or Sydney, and I'm sure you know that.
Side. We've got to recover now, and I guess enjoy the next few days. I guess it was elimination final. We had odds against us and stood out. It's pretty special. It's hard to come down from that, but obviously we know we're going to verse quality side next week, whether it's Melbourne or Sydney. So. We're excited.
And I know the club as a whole, Charlie, have had the questions about the finals record.
Yeah.
I mean, can you see your coach out there at the moment, Had?
Yeah, we spoke about it. But I think we just have to worry about, I guess, the process of tonight. I mean, everyone in the media spoke about our record, and we just have to worry about our process here and trying to, I guess, prove a point, and I thought we did, and I guess against quality side.
Hey, just Charlie, Lockie Neal's game, 39 disposals and 15 clearances. He had 7 centre bounce clearances. It was sort of him versus Toby Nankervis when you lost Big O.
Yeah, well, mate, a special player, remarkable. I think they ended up sending Motlop to him at the end there, but I mean, what a player he is, and he's
Pickett, you mean?
Sorry. Who did I say? Motlop. Oh, my bad. Pickett. Sorry about that.
The other
let's say Marlon Pickett. He sent to him. So, I think the moments that he had, he stood up against the odds in terms of when they were kicking goals, and credit to him, and special player.
You've played in the grand final, Charlie, and it wasn't a great day. Obviously, you're on the losing side back then. But, when you think of the big games that you've played in, I know you're only a couple of minutes off and the adrenaline's pumping, but you're a guy that's no big moments. Where's that one going to sit?
Oh, it's up there. I mean, in terms of individual performance, the prelim against Geelong was probably my best, but in terms of team, it has to be up there. I guess it took, I think it was like 1 minute to go, so it was a grind, and we just stuck it out as a team, and it's pretty special. That has to be probably the best game that I've played in.
He's kicked a couple of bags of 5Q, so he's done pretty well in finals. But when it's inside the forward 50 like that, Charlie, and you're one-on-one, do you just think, I'm going to beat whoever I'm against?
100%. I'm just going to back myself in, whether it's on the ground or just moving. I'm always going to back myself in. I think the way I play is just moving. I think that no one can go with me in terms of my speed. It's just more about, I guess, doing the work early and creating separation. Brody was a quality player tonight, and I knew it was going to be a tough matchup, but just had to fight through it and play my role for the team.
And you've been generous with your time, Charlie. Just a quick one. So who leads the refocus now? Because here we are. The Gabbers are washed with kick to kick at the moment. 35,000 fans have just seen a 2-point win. Obviously, it's massive for the club, but there's another job next week and next week and next week if you really get to where you want to be. So who leads the refocus?
I think, as a group, we'll on Monday, come back Monday, talk about the game. Review the game, things we did well and things we didn't do well, but at the moment, just got to soak it in, I guess. There's only, I think, 8 teams in the league at the moment in finals, so you're going to make the most of it and, I guess, enjoy these moments. 7 now, but you got to enjoy these moments because it doesn't really come around often. I mean, I've played in one grand final, and that was in my, I think 6 years ago, so you enjoy finals and enjoy the moments slightly.
Some game. Thanks for your time, Charlie.
Thank you. Hope you have a great weekend, fellas, and enjoy.
Charlie, great to hear from you, Charlie.
Thank you, and everyone else out there for the football entertainment.
I don't think our weekend's going to be as good as Charlie's after tonight. I mean, that's something to savour, isn't it?
Yep. Talk about a freewheeling mind. You can just you can sense it, can't you?
Yep. That's the most I've heard him talk. Every time I catch up with him, he's just very subdued. He was up and about for that interview, like for the game as you'd expect. That's just such a great performance. I'm happy because the universe, it does even out, boys. You know, you lose a couple close ones, you win a couple.
I only ask this question because, just to your mind, Matt or Jace, among the freneticism of the last 10 minutes, because we've got to talk about, the big moments and outside of the umpire's call, which recalled the Tom Lynch goal. I mean, did you pick up anything is it even worth going into that type of analysis after seeing a game like that? I mean,
No.
the answer is yes once you get to the tape. But at the moment, can you pick up anything?
No, I can't. I just pick up it was two teams just played a great style of footy. There was, a couple of key moments in it, but in the end, it came down to a drop of the ball in the goal square that Joey was able to get a foot to. And, both teams had some quick kicks that fire on chest that resulted in goals. There's some clutch goals. It was just a terrific time. Two teams just going toe-to-toe for 2 hours.
So a couple of the key moments. The Edwards chase down tackle on Link McCarthy. The Joe Danaher unrealistic mark attempt, which would have resulted in a shot on goal. The Dan Rich ran too far. The Tom Lynch goal review, which was over the post. The Danaher goal in the goal square, where you'll see there's 5 Richmond players in the goal square and 1 Brisbane Lions player in Joe Danaher.
A 33-year-old full forward kicking 2 goals from the boundary at left half forward from 45 metres out, Jack Revolt.
Unbelievable.
I mean, and that's just the final term.
Yeah.
That's just the final term.
So if you're Damien Hardwick, Matty, what can you possibly say to the Richmond players, having felt like when we see the minutes in front, they would feel like they were in front, probably more so than Brisbane were?
Yeah, you could tell by Dimmer's, and he does carry his heart on his sleeve, Dimmer, but you could tell he obviously disappointed. But I reckon once he calms down, which who knows when that'll be for Dimmer, might be come Monday. Yes, they could have won, but in the end they gave Brisbane enough opportunities to win too. It was that kind of game. It wasn't a game that they dominated and Brisbane pinched it. Both teams deserved to win, and no team deserved to lose, but they're always going to be one.
Back to Zane in the Brisbane rooms.
I'm down here with a man who was on the bench, and look, it was only about 4 or 5 minutes into the contest, and you had to take the bib off, and you were straight in there, Kalachi. What about that? That was a surprise when Oscar went down early.
Yeah, it's a weird one, but it's hard to see your teammates and your brothers get knocked out like that. So, it was tough to watch, but obviously with Medi sub, you've got to be ready to go straight away. So, it was tough, but I'm just happy we got the win, mate, to be honest.
Given the concussion issues that you've had, how did you feel going into the game?
No, I was fine. I had a little bit of a run in the VFL on the weekend, obviously a couple of weeks off. But it was good to be back out there, and obviously in a final the pressure's on. It's a different type of game, but I felt like I ran it out all right, and we got the dub.
You get out there and you're involved in the first scoring involvement for Brisbane as well, so you did really make an impact when you got out in that forward 50.
Yeah, I obviously had to play in the forward line. I haven't played there in a while, but took my opportunity and got one through the goals, which is nice.
All right, well, we'll go up to the panel. We've got Matthew Primus, Jason Ackermanis, Matt Clinch and Quentin Hull up there. Cal?
Cal, Quentin Hull here. I mean, we have to start with the kick that everyone's going to be talking about. Where were you when Tom Lynch kicked for goal? What did you think?
I was on the bench. You talking about that one in the last quarter there?
Yeah, the one that was overturned by the arc.
Mate, I was... to be honest, it was out of my control. I was just sitting there that nervous. I think I was next to Mitch Robbo, and it was... to be honest, I can't remember much, to be honest. I just remember celebrating with the boys, and it's just an awesome feeling, and we go on for next week.
Jason Ackermanis here, Cal. I just got to ask, 2 weeks you get belted by Melbourne. Not terrible in the sense the midfield was well beaten. Things are looking, down and out. You cop it from everywhere. You get past players. You've got everyone in town saying, no, this is not the way. Brisbane are cactus. They've got no hope. How does the club turn it around? What happened internally to say, okay, no, this is not us. This is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to play.
Yeah, to be honest, we all had inner belief. We always just focus on, each week what we can control. We know that there's, people who are going to be running us down and whatever and all that, but finals is a completely different game, and it's who turns up to play, and Richmond fought so hard today. It was just an absolute battle. But we came out on top, and we go on to next week. So it's just that belief that we have as a group, and we'll definitely take that into next week.
I'm intrigued in the build-up, Cal, because there was a fair bit of stuff going on. Your captain came in for some criticism, the team came in for some criticism, and you lost 2 players to suspension. So is there one moment that you can think of in the build-up to the game where all of that drama was settled, or who ensured that the focus stayed on what was ahead and not what was going on around the club?
Oh, to be honest, I think it's just the way that the coaches and Fags, made us believe and helped us really keep our composure coming into this game because, we can't control what everyone's saying about us outside these walls, but we know that there's blokes who are going to step up when they come in and play their role, and, blokes like Dev Robertson and Darcy Wilmot who debuted today, those blokes just stood up all day, and even Dan McStay in the ruck, everyone just played their role, but it starts with Fags and the coaches really having belief in us and, making sure we keep our cool coming into this game.
So, Callum, it's Matt Clinchy. How much of a boost does that give you? How much does that sort of make you believe that you're in the top 4 for 18 rounds, you're in the top 2 for 9 rounds, and this is where you had to get to start the journey again?
Oh, mate, it's... I don't know what to say. I think it's just, that gives us so much belief going into next week. Richmond are a quality side. You know how good they play in finals, and to clench a win like that really gets the boys up and about, and obviously get some troops back next week, hopefully, and, we're good to go.
Arch, Matty, promise you a bit different to Burping Gary 5 days ago, mate. Playing VFL.
Good to see you.
Hey, mate, team aspect fantastic, but I thought your backs were outstanding. And Harris Andrews, Lynchy kicked some nice goals when the ball flowed through there and had a couple of good wins, but gee, a lot of his one-on-ones that he won or halved was amazing. Did you get a sense of how well he was playing throughout the night?
Yeah, oh, definitely. When the big Chiefs on, when he's spalling at about 35 metres, so he was awesome for us. But our whole back line just stood up tonight, and they gel really well together. And like I said, it was awesome for Darcy Wilmot to get that experience in the finals. Debut is no bigger game, so the boys really stood up tonight, and real team effort though.
How's Oscar McInerney, Cal? He had the tissue stuffed up the nose and he'll have to pass the concussion test, but the upside is he won't play on a Thursday night next week.
It's a big nose.
Yeah, unfortunately, it wasn't a great hit. I was actually right there when it happened, and he's in good spirits now though, so the boys and the medical team will get around him tonight, and hopefully he recovers well over the next few days.
Did he break his nose?
I'm not too sure, but it's very swollen. So, I'll have to see in a few days.
That was a big hit.
And just a word or two on your skipper, because Dane Zorko claimed so many headlines in so many different ways in the lead-in to this week. So, just in your words, the way that he's led the team throughout the last couple of years, and the week and a half or so that he has had, and the way that he's been able to try and put himself and the team ahead of things that were going on around him.
I think with Zorks, we just back him in every week, and he's such a great leader of this footy club. And this week, obviously, there was a lot of outside talk about Zorks, and we just stuck behind him, and we knew he was going to come out and perform today. So he's a great leader of our footy club, and when boys are going through tough times like that, the best thing about the Lions is that everyone just sticks together. So Were
you nervous in those last 2 minutes, Cal? Obviously, you've been on the wrong side of a couple of close finishes. Were you starting to get a bit antsy?
Yeah, I was on the bench, so I couldn't do anything. I was just sitting there hoping the boys would get done. But in that last 2 minutes, to be honest, I was feeling pretty positive. I thought us boys had been there many times, and we got the job done. So I'm really proud of the boys, but holds us in good stead as well, knowing that we could come up to that next week.
Well done tonight, Callum. We appreciate your time.
Awesome. Thanks, fellas.
Well done, Cal.
Callum Archie from the Brisbane Lions rooms. If you've just tuned in and you missed the footy, start admonishing yourself. You've missed one of the best games that we've seen of recent times.
Don't worry, we'll be talking about it all weekend.
Oh, what a game. Brisbane winning by 2 points, 16-10, 106 to 16-8, 104. Joe Danaher kicking the ball off the ground in the square when there were Tigers all around him. The last goal of the game after just before that, Tom Lynch had a banana snap from the right forward pocket that was deemed by the ARC to have gone over the top of the post and hence a point, despite the goal umpire being there and ruling a goal.
Huge call. Huge.
Michael Gleeson from The Age says there's a couple of moments that sums up Joe Danaher's career. Gives away a free kick for a push, gets a toe poke on the goal square. It's the highs and lows of the roller coaster ride.
We need to take a moment on Richmond. Matt, Jace, we saw Shane Edwards carried off the ground, so his wonderful career is done. Still questions about what Jack Riewoldt and Trent Cotchin do next year. Both of those guys were there to carry Shane Edwards off the ground.
Dustin Martin.
Yes. So that's the open door to the fact that now that's the full stop on Richmond's 2022.
Yep.
So what are your thoughts?
Yeah, well,
the most dominant team of the last decade. Yep. And missed the finals last year, beaten in a knockout final, having not been in the 8 for the majority of the season. So what's off the top of your head?
Just replenishing the list. I mean, you got these superstars who are going to retire. Every team goes through it. Thankfully, with the way that it's set up now, not so much in our era, Matty, but you can go back quickly and you can replenish your stocks with experienced players. You don't have to go back to the draft. You've got free agency. So all those things is going to be what they keep finding players, but they keep needing to find those younger, talented, next generation kind of guys that they're going to need, because you've got to replace these guys anyway. Cotchin.
Yep.
Obviously, Edwards is gone.
It's a destination club, so players want to go there, whether that's experience at the end or the mid-table ones, and they've got a great recruiting staff. The head recruiter, Blair Hartley, is fantastic at what he does. So they're going to be thereabouts. Their style of footy, how they conduct themselves, how they get along with each other, I think is really important. They're going to drop a little bit because, eventually Cotchin, Riewoldt, whatever, Dustin Martin, there's been a lot of talk about what he's going to do and the year he's had, and then, what happened last night with all that kind of stuff. They just want to get out of Melbourne and all that kind of stuff. So it is going to be an interesting 6 months or off season for them.
Nothing can replace grand finals in folklore, but Acker, 0-2 grand final, where were you for Rocker's kick at goal? Because now we've got Lynch 20 years on after Rocker's kick in the grand final that you guys squeaked home in against the Magpies.
I was actually standing on, so if we're going to the right, as I'm pointing down to the western end here at the Gab, I was standing right up on the 50, and so the ball was kicked on that far side. The thing that's interesting about was the lips of Lethal, because they were sitting in a box right behind that shot, and in the call, I didn't see it go through or not. I couldn't tell because I wasn't on the angle. And Lee Matthews, in the box, they all went, "Ooh!" I thought that was a goal. So,
and to think of if you think of the two biggest clubs, and no disrespect, but you couldn't get a much bigger than Collingwood and then Richmond as far as those calls in finals.
Well, that was a grand final deciding call. That one was obviously a final deciding call, but yeah, it was something amazing. Even Chris Johnson, who was down there, he said that. I think what fooled Lee was that it went over the post and started to swing in, so it looked like, because of the angle he was on. He said, I just went and grabbed the ball. I thought it was a point. So there you go.
The reaction of Tom Lynch didn't suggest like he'd been robbed.
That's the thing that's coming through. And I kept behind Tom. He walked to the top of the goal square. He wasn't celebrating with his opponents. It was like, I'm not sure where this is going to go. And normally I reckon the kicker knows.
Yeah, the thing for Richmond, though, games decided by under a goal this season. 0 wins, 1 draw. 5 losses. You compare that with a team like Collingwood, who have been on the right side of all their close finishes, and yet a team that has the maturity. I think they had 6 players over the age of 30. You sort of expect Richmond, with their recent premiership success, that they'll be able to master the close finishes, but maybe that's not always the case, Matty.
I reckon some of their games this year, they've shot themselves in the foot. The North Melbourne game, the Fremantle, they were playing on from goal squares and things that were just driving their coaching staff crazy, and then they sorted that out, and tonight was a bounce of the ball down to her, the call on the goal. That was a bit of luck, and that's a bit of where the Pies have got on a roll. Normally, if you have a lot of luck's gone their way and good play, but you lose 3 or 4 of them, and all of a sudden Collingwood are battling to get in the 8. But now look at the form and the confidence that's coming through that group. So tonight was more just luck, bad luck about it, rather than missed opportunity.
I think it's the power of youth. Like when you're young and you want to win, older guys, they've been there, done that, close games, but the young players just hanging out for a winner, just that extra energy they have. I just feel like that's what hurts you when you get a great team that is starting to get to that age group where you've got those guys over 30. It happens to all great teams. It happens to us, happens to many. So, it's just one of those things that the power of youth.
And Joe Danaher had kicked 1 goal in 2 finals last year, so there was a lot of pressure on a number of Brisbane players who had failed to step up to the big stage of finals. It felt like tonight there were a few ghosts that were sort of cleared from the closet that allowed them to just get over the line.
No doubt in my mind, Clinch, that aspect. Not big possession games, some of these guys, but they won some key moments where some of the finals have done the last couple of years with you guys here. They'd gone missing for those key moments.
And a couple of the guys that have gone missing have contributed. 3 goals for Hipwood, 3 goals for Cameron, 3 goals for Danaher. There you go. There's the 3 guys that some have been saying, well, where are they when the big games come?
When it's not nice ball and it's flowing and you get goals out the back and easy Joe the Gooses, you got to earn your goals in finals, and tonight they earned their goals.
So the $64,000 question is, Oscar McInerney getting injured, did that change the structure of their forward line, and did that actually work with Dan McStay being more around the ball and Joe Danaher having to have a run in the ruck every now and again?
I don't think structurally it was a big deal. I think what it does, both McStay and Joey, they're up around the ball. They don't have to, they're not going. They're not stuck in the forward line going, oh, can the kids come in better? You know, you're thinking about it all the time. They were just like, it's coming in. I'm up and about. They're getting around the ball. It actually suited those two guys. And as bad as it is that they lost Oscar, I actually think it helped those two guys in particular, and they played better games because of it.
Yeah, I agree with you.
No doubt.
Yep.
No doubt. And that's all you need sometimes. Get up around the ball, get some body, and all of a sudden you're in the game. You forget about all the troubles, and you kick your goals, and you get your marks. It's great.
It was a fascinating game for as much as Brisbane dominated in the middle of the ground, and Richmond were able to stay in front.
Yeah, that's what Richmond do. As Q mentioned, how long they've been good for. They get dominated in key statistics that normally, when teams do that, you lose. But their style of play can bypass getting racked at stoppages or getting whacked at contested ball, which normally that's what wins your finals at least. But they find a way to be able to get around it by their style of play, and they still win inside 50s, yet alone they lose those areas. And that's why they're such a difficult team to play against, but so good to watch.
Where does Lockie Neal's performance tonight sit among your recent memory of September performances? He's had 39 disposals, which is 13 more than anyone else on the ground. 39 disposals, 21 contested possessions, 15 clearances, 7 centre bounce clearances, and 6 inside 50s.
It's huge because that's Brisbane's style of football, and he carried them. He didn't have many helpers in that regard. He carried them with his clearance and contested work. If they don't have that, there's 15 inside 50s gone from Brisbane and they don't win the game. He just got that much ball and then churned it forward, got territory, gave their forward some great opportunities. And then after we called it, 5 minutes into the third quarter, he had some heat put onto him by Richmond, which they don't normally do, and he's still able to generate lots of clearances, find the ball, be able to get some dirty ball handballs out and release some other guys. It is an enormous game in the final.
Well, the only thing he did do was kick a goal. He did everything else. He set it up.
Yep,
he set up the forward foray, the forward thrust. Outstanding game.
He might miss votes because he didn't.
I was going to say, he's probably regretting that finals don't count in the Brown line.
So I'll just quickly give some numbers. If you have tuned in late, Brisbane 16-10, 106. Richmond 16-8, 104. The Tigers 2022 is done. They are out, eliminated, and Brisbane will play the loser of the qualifying final between Melbourne and Sydney. So outside of Neal's 39, McCluggage had 26 possessions, Bailey 24, McStay 23, Zorko 21. That's the top group for Brisbane. When was the last time, if ever, Matthew Primus, a ruckman had the most possessions in a game, let alone a final? Toby Nankervis had the most possessions for Richmond. 26 disposals, 18 contested, 9 clearances, 5 centre bounce clearances. He laid 3 tackles as well, the big fella, 5 inside 50s.
The big question, when was the last time Nank had over 10? Probably 15, let alone 20.
Nankervis 26, Pickett 23, Ross 23, Floston 21 and Short 20.
Well, the key to that was once Dion Presti was out of the game. He really had to try and insert himself in the middle of the ground, didn't he?
Yeah, he did, and also against non-ruckman. He had to assert himself, and he certainly did that and gave his team a great opportunity.
Overall possessions, Brisbane had 16 more. Contested-wise, +5 to Brisbane. The clearances, +6 to Brisbane. At the centre bounce, Richmond won it by 7.
Yep.
So it was because of the influence of Nankervis. Tackles, Brizzy +11. Inside 50s, Richmond +4. I mean, yeah, damn lies and statistics, but it's hard to go away from the myriad of storylines, but even, the story of the top 2 possession winners. So you've got one man underneath the ruck leading his possession count, and the other bloke and the opposite team in the ruck leading their count. It
is crazy, but it also apart from take Nank out, that's how Richmond play. You can go through their last 5 or 6 years. They'll have maybe Prestia, but they'll have a lot of guys that'll 20 down to 18 touches or 16, 15 touches. They don't overdo the ball. They don't muck around with it. It's just surge footy, get it forward. But the Nank certainly took another leap tonight.
And they didn't die wondering. Tyler Sonsi looks a really handy player.
Looked very good.
Suggestions that they're trying to chase Tim Taranto if he's around in free agency.
Yep.
Dustin Martin, he tried to go into the middle of the ground. He tried to have an impact there, but probably in the end he just couldn't quite.
Looked like a guy who hadn't played for 8 weeks, whatever he's been out, didn't he?
Yeah,
as good as he is.
Underdone. That's all right. That happens. But, to their credit, you take your hat off. That's some year they've had. They've lost a bunch of close games. They made the 8. They put on a great show today. Brisbane got the chocolates, but, it was a toss of a coin. It just really was. It was like that all game. We just saw it. In the end, it was such a show. There's a loser.
It's going to be hard not to give Jack Revolt another 1-year contract after kicking 2 big last quarter goals, isn't it?
It was. Will, you try and work out 3-2-1.
We don't have to do votes.
Oh, that's all good.
There we go. The ABC footballer.
We can do it anyway.
We did, though, but anyhow.
We did.
Well, who'd you give them to?
Well, it was always going to be who won, who got 3, because Brizzy won, Neil got 3, Nank 2, and then we tossed up. There were so many even contributors after that, but Harris Andrews, if we were going to give votes, would have got 1.
Yeah, it'd be interesting how they voted the best of fairest because there's so many vote getters. But a big job, not easy, very good game. Could have been 6 blokes in there.
I'm going to just bring this up one more time because it's going to be what the talking point is for Richmond fans, and there's a hell of a lot of them. How in the hell can the TV overturn a decision that the goal umpires made?
I just saw that was a great suggestion. See that suggestion that was on
the text.
That was brilliant.
About the laser going
The laser.
Up. We had an SMS saying...
You put a laser beam straight up, you could see when it's going to hit it, and you could put them up, particularly at night. That is a great idea. If you don't want to make posts 1,000 metres high, just put the beam up. You would see it, and it would trigger every time it goes up.
It was an unnamed text, but thank you.
That's a great idea.
I haven't seen... Have you seen the footage yet? I didn't.
No, haven't had it.
Yeah.
Clinchy, you've been sort of having a look.
No, I've had a bit of a look. There's there's different camera angles and stuff like that. I just wonder whether the AFL might come out and clarify tomorrow. They'll probably come out and say the right decision was made.
I no doubt they will.
So
it's a big lot of bets on games like that they want to get it right. So I don't think they're going to say, we got it wrong.
Well, yeah, it's
the nature.
It's of little solace to Richmond fans.
Is that what the system's designed for, though? Like, is the system designed to try and take those calls away from the goal umpires who supposedly have the best view?
Yeah, and it's the betting. It's all about the betting. There's a lot of money that's waged on this game, and they need to get it so tight that there's none of that.
They're there to stop the howler, isn't it?
And that's my point.
And that it's conclusive evidence to change either a point or a goal. Conclusive evidence. Anyhow.
We've only got a couple of minutes before we'll wrap things up. Quentin Hull, Matt Clinch, Matt Primus and Jason Ackermanis wrapping up Brisbane's 2-point victory over Richmond. A quick look to the rest of the weekend. Tomorrow night, who you got? Swans or D? Salem in, Bowie out for Melbourne. No changes for Sydney.
Yeah, I'm zipping 1 so far, but I'm going the D's.
Swans got them at the MCG during that little blip period that the D's had.
And they played them very well with their ball movement, but I'm going the D's.
Closer it gets to the game, the more you like Sydney, don't you?
Duncan, Cameron, Stanley in for the Cats. O'Connor, Radigalia, Sedler, Parfitt dropped. For Geelong, who play Collingwood, Taylor Adams in. McRae dropped. Cats v Pies.
Cats.
McRae dropped the McRae. How did that work? That's tough.
Yeah, the Cats for me.
Geelong.
Cats.
Amos, Lobb and Logan for the Dockers. We had the news about Nat Fyfe, among others. Meek, Banfield, omitted. Dogs have got Keith Johannesson and Toby McLean in. No Libba with a hammy. Bruce omitted. And Taylor Duray out for personal reasons. They're the changes for the Dogs. That's...
Fyfe out, Libba out. They both lose a key player.
So, Dockers Dogs?
Yes, Dockers.
Dogs won't mind a week off and going to the West.
Oh, they
it was a good formula a few years ago.
Yeah, they always play that.
Not sure we'll see 32 goals in that game.
Yeah.
No.
Thank you, gentlemen.
No problem.
Great night.
What a game of football. Welcome to September, ladies and gentlemen. Brisbane, 16-10, 106. Richmond, 16-8, 100 and for a controversial finish. Lions live on.
50, Hipwood underneath it. Bailey runs